on clearing inventory and reducing debt ratios, striving to transition from a heavily asset-based enterprise to a light asset one. During this decade, I would also establish a tech company to pivot towards the high-tech sector. Jiang Wanyue inquired, why? Zhou Yuqin smiled. I believe the prosperity of the real estate industry is fleeting, whereas the technology sector has the potential to be evergreen. Of course, this is merely my personal opinion. Who can truly predict the future? Wu Jinhua observed Jiang Wanyue, who appeared deep in thought, then turned his appreciative gaze towards Zhou Yuqin. Foreseeing defeat before victory, evidently, you have matured significantly in recent years. Jiang Wanyue snapped back to attention, remarking, hearing your insights is worth a decade of study. Senior Zhou, I shall convey your thoughts to my father upon returning home. Zhou Yuqin waved his hand. Easier said than done. I am merely engaging in theoretical discussions. Wu Jinhua added. Yuqin, you mentioned wanting to establish a financial investment firm and a technology company. I am eager to hear about the future direction of these two enterprises. Jiang Wanyue's eyes sparkled, and she immediately perked up her ears. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. Teacher, I feel as though I have returned to school, undergoing your scrutiny. Laughter erupted from Wu Jinhua, but it soon triggered a painful cough. Jiang Wanyue hurriedly handed him a cup of water. Wu Yong'an expressed his discontent, saying, Grandfather, the doctor advised you to rest well for the next week and to avoid any significant emotional upheaval. Zhou Yuqin recognized that Wu Yong'an's words were directed at him, and he felt a twinge of embarrassment, saying, Teacher, we have plenty of time. Let us discuss this another day. Wu Jinhua shot Wu Yong'an a glare, stating, Do not heed him. We have come this far in our conversation. If you do not clarify, I will be anxious to death. Zhou Yuqin said, The primary focus of my future investment company will be on internet applications. Wu Jinhua's eyes gleamed. Games should fall under the category of internet applications, correct? Zhou Yuqin nodded. Indeed. With the rapid development of communication technology, within no more than 3 years, the 4G communication era will arrive, making smartphones the primary medium of this age, spawning a plethora of application software that will fundamentally alter lifestyles. My investment will be directed towards these software companies. Wu Jinhua's demeanor grew serious. And what will your technology company focus on? Zhou Yuqin organized his thoughts. Technology transforms the world. Xia country fell behind because we missed the first 2 industrial revolutions. Fortunately, we managed to catch the tail end of the 3rd industrial revolution, positioning ourselves in the 2nd tier of the technological realm. Jiang Wanyue curiously asked, Who comprises the 1st tier? Zhou Yuqin replied, The lighthouse nation stands unparalleled at the forefront of the 3rd industrial revolution, serving as a teacher for all nations in terms of technology. Presently, existing internet companies are essentially imitating the major networks of the lighthouse nation. Wu Jinhua urged, Please continue. Zhou Yuqin elaborated, In this revolution, while Xia country seems to be advancing rapidly, it is actually built upon the technological foundations laid by the lighthouse nation. For instance, domestic smartphones rely entirely on foreign operating systems. Should they be shut down, these devices would become mere bricks. Moreover, in chip research and manufacturing, we are significantly lagging behind. I predict that the 4th industrial revolution will arrive shortly, and if we fail to address these shortcomings, we will fall behind once again. The 4th industrial revolution? Wu Jinhua was taken aback. How do you define it? Chapter 186. Jiang Wanyue's admiration. Zhou Yuqin responded, I believe the 4th industrial revolution is characterized by big data, immense computing power, artificial intelligence, clean energy, and biotechnology. Based on this, the main focus of my technology company will be on chips and cloud computing. Wu Jinhua pondered for a moment. Yuqin, are you aiming to fill the technological gap in our nation? Zhou Yuqin smiled. By next year at the latest. I plan to invest 100 billion to establish Kunping Technology Company to develop GPUs, aiming to capture half of the Xia market within 3 years. The revelation left the 3 individuals in the room stunned. Wu Jinhua questioned, Can your gaming company generate such substantial revenue? Zhou Yuqin replied, The gaming company might yield a little over 10 billion at most. Recently, I spent nearly 20 billion purchasing a factory to develop smartphone batteries. Significant advancements have been made, and within a mere 2 months, I shall commence mass production of the world's most capacious battery and the swiftest charging device. This endeavor alone promises to yield profits in the billions annually. Wu Jinhua remarked, At such a young age, you stand to earn hundreds of millions. Why do you exert yourself so diligently? Zhou Yuqin replied, Teacher, you once said that money is merely a means, not an end. When one is governed by wealth, they become a master of finance. When one is subjugated by it, they transform into its slave. We must strive to be masters, not slaves. Wu Jinhua chuckled. You seem to remember that quite well. Zhou Yuqin continued. Such timeless wisdom is unforgettable. For me, earning a few hundred million is not a formidable challenge. If the sole purpose of establishing a business were for monetary gain, it would lack any sense of challenge. My aspiration is to engage in technological research and development, wholeheartedly assisting our nation in bridging the gaps in domestic technology, ensuring that both my name and that of Kuanping Group etch a brilliant chapter in the annals of our nation's technological history. At this juncture, Zhou Yuqin paused, somewhat embarrassed, and added, I fear I may be sounding a bit pretentious. Wu Jinhua's eyes sparkled with pride as he responded. The greatest issue facing our country is the scarcity of idealistic entrepreneurs. Most see only wealth. Yuqin, I hope you never forget the words you have spoken today. Zhou Yuqin nodded earnestly. Rest assured, teacher, I intend to remain idealistic to the end. Laughter erupted in the hospital room. Jiang Wanyue's gaze towards Zhou Yuqin had transformed entirely from before. During their school years, Wu Jinhua frequently praised Zhou Yuqin. Though Jiang Wanyue, an equally accomplished student, kept her thoughts to herself, she felt a sense of rivalry. Upon meeting Zhou Yuqin and hearing his insights and ambitions, she realized just how far she fell short in comparison. At that moment, a knock echoed from outside. Zhou Yuqin rose and said, Teacher, you seem quite busy. I shall take my leave. Jiang Wanyue stood as well, stating, Teacher, I too must depart. Wu Jinhua nodded and instructed, Wanyue, please share my contact information with Yuqin. Jiang Wanyue replied, Of course. As they exited, they encountered a group of leaders from government departments, among whom stood Zhou Yuqin's newly promoted future father-in-law, Shen Qinggang. What brings you here? Shen Qinggang paused, surprised. The others turned their attention to Zhou Yuqin. He explained, Professor Wu is my university mentor and has taken great care of me. Shen Qinggang acknowledged this with a nod and led the group inside. As they descended the elevator, Zhou Yuqin received Jiang Wanyue's and Wu Jinhua's phone numbers. He shared his contact information with Jiang Wanyue and sent a text to Wu Jinhua, notifying him of his number. Upon exiting the elevator, Jiang Wanyue inquired, Do you know why the government officials came to visit our teacher? Zhou Yuqin shook his head, Not really. She replied, Because our teacher's son, Governor Wu, is coming to Yunhai City to oversee government operations. Zhou Yuqin responded casually, I see. Jiang Wanyue observed Zhou Yuqin's expression, noting his apparent indifference to the news. Aren't you interested in meeting Governor Wu? Zhou Yuqin replied, It would be great to make his acquaintance. But if it doesn't happen, it's of no consequence. If there's ever a need to approach Governor Wu, I believe my teacher would certainly assist, provided it's ethical and within the bounds of regulation. Jiang Wanyue nodded, That's true. Brother Zhou, it's nearly noon. Would you allow me to treat you to lunch? Zhou Yuqin responded, Let us save that for another day. Today marks the launch of our company's third game, and I must attend to it. Jiang Wanyue, intrigued, asked, What is the name of your gaming company that earns over 10 billion? Zhou Yuqin replied, Yueqin Gaming Company. Jiang Wanyue felt the name was somewhat familiar, as if she had heard it before. Upon reaching her car, Zhou Yuqin asked, Jiang Shimi, are you driving? Would you like a ride? Jiang Wanyue snapped back to reality, saying, No need. My car is just a short distance ahead. Then I'll take my leave. Let us keep in touch, Zhou Yuqin said, climbing into his vehicle and starting the engine. Watching the car slowly depart, Jiang Wanyue suddenly recalled that her favorite mobile game, Fruit Hero, was indeed produced by Yueqin Gaming Company. Zhou Yuqin, an intriguing man. A playful smile graced Jiang Wanyue's lips. Upon returning to the company, Jiang Wanyue walked straight into her father Jiang Ming's office. Jiang Ming, around 50 years of age, possessed an impressive demeanor, gentle eyes, and an elegant temperament, resembling a university professor more than a businessman. Wanyue, how is Professor Wu's health? He is doing well, Dad. Today, I encountered an exceptionally intriguing person. He is my senior, Zhou Yuqin. Jiang Wanyue recounted Zhou Yuqin's views on the real estate industry in the hospital room. After listening, Jiang Ming's expression grew serious as he pondered for a long moment, saying, Your senior is remarkable. While we merely observe the current boom in the real estate market, he perceives the lurking dangers within. 10 years from now, if the housing market becomes saturated and one cannot extricate themselves in time, anyone could face dire consequences. Jiang Wanyue agreed. I also find Senior Chen's perspective quite insightful. Jiang Ming inquired, Wanyue, can we consider offering him a position at our company? Jiang Wanyue laughed, Dad. He has amassed his wealth in just a few months and plans to invest 100 billion to establish a technology firm next year. Someone of his caliber would never lower himself to join our company. Jiang Ming exclaimed, He made billions in just a few months? Are you serious? Chapter 187. Zhou Qing's subtle intentions. Jiang Wanyue asserted, I find it hard to believe as well, but it's the truth. He even boldly stated in front of my teacher that accumulating tens or hundreds of billions is merely a matter of ease for him. If his sole motivation were profit, it would lack challenge. Senior Zhou aims to establish a high-tech company to assist our nation in bridging gaps in domestic technology. leaving a brilliant mark on the history of national technological development. I was left speechless. Jiang Ming sighed. This man is either a genius or a madman. By the way, how old is he? Jiang Wanyue replied, about my age. Jiang Ming raised an eyebrow. Does he have a girlfriend? Jiang Wanyue instantly recognized her father's inclination to meddle in her romantic affairs and sighed. Dad, you are a billionaire. Must you be so nosy? Jiang Ming retorted. I'm nearly driven mad by your mother concerning your choice of partners. Your senior has ambition and capability. He seems quite promising. Jiang Wanyue confidently remarked. To be honest, I think quite highly of Senior Zhou. However, he appears indifferent towards me. I invited him to lunch, and he dismissed it without a second thought, as if I were a menace. Upon hearing his daughter's words, Jiang Ming sensed an opportunity and perked up. Your senior, Zhou Yuchen, is it? I will look into his background. Jiang Wanyue quickly protested. No, I can handle it myself. I must get to work now. With that, she turned and exited Jiang Ming's office. Immediately, Jiang Ming picked up his phone and made a call. Within half an hour, an email appeared in Jiang Ming's inbox. Jiang Ming opened the email, which contained a brief introduction to Zhou Yuchen's background. Upon discovering that he had a girlfriend and a daughter, Jiang Ming's heart sank. His daughter had finally shown interest in a man, only to find out he was a family man. To his surprise, he learned that this young man had even served time in prison. Remarkably, he had borrowed money at exorbitant interest rates to engage in crude oil futures trading, successfully amassing over $1 billion. He had acquired a gaming company, and with the development of 2 mobile casual games that became global sensations, he struck it rich. Participating in the Ruiqing Jade auction, he unearthed a top-tier jadeite, which he sold for over $2 billion, and subsequently purchased a mobile battery manufacturing plant. In a mere 3 months, transitioning from a state of utter destitution to a net worth exceeding $30 billion. Zhou Yuchen's journey was nothing short of legendary, so extraordinary that even cinema would hesitate to portray it. Jiang Ming suddenly felt an urge to meet this remarkable young man. Brother, I've started my summer vacation. I'll be home tomorrow. Zhou Yuchen, who was finalizing the game at Yuechen Gaming Company, received a call from his sister, Zhou Qing. He inquired, aren't you planning to spend a few days in Yanhai? Zhou Qing replied, what would I do there? Work, Zhou Yuchen said. Aren't you majoring in computer science? How well have you grasped game programming? Would you like to intern at the company for a few days? Zhou Qing retorted, I'm a genius. Creating a small game is a piece of cake for me. I'll first go home and spend some time with our parents. Once I get bored, I'll return to your company to experience it. Zhou Yuchen chuckled, suit yourself. My third game, Casual Match 3, is launching tonight at 8. This game is different from the previous 2 casual games, and I'll need to stay at the company late. Call your sister-in-law and tell her to stay over at my place tonight. Zhou Qing asked, brother, are you and sister-in-law taking Xiaoya along with you back home tomorrow? Our parents have mentioned it several times. Zhou Yuchen replied, of course, I want to go back. The key is your sister-in-law. Therefore, I entrust you with a challenging task. Persuade your sister-in-law to come home tomorrow. Zhou Qing readily agreed. No problem. Brother, if I accomplish this task, will there be a reward? Zhou Yuchen, in a generous spirit, said, indeed. I will transfer 50,000 yuan to your card, buy whatever you desire. Zhou Qing exclaimed joyfully. That's wonderful. Brother, I adore you. For this 50,000, await my good news. After hanging up, Zhou Yuchen smiled faintly. He had longed to return home, but had been too busy managing the factory and apprehending drug traffickers to find the time. Now, with the drug dealers captured, Casual Match 3 set to launch, and the mobile battery research on track, he finally had the opportunity to visit. In the afternoon, Shun Jingyun requested leave from her supervisor to pick up her child from kindergarten. Upon returning home, a knock echoed from the door. Shun Jingyun presumed it was Shun Shiyin and opened the door, only to find Zhou Qing standing there, a suitcase in hand. Zhou Qing, have you finished your holiday? Yes. I'm heading back tomorrow. Come in quickly. As Zhou Qing entered the house, Shun Jingyun closed the door and called out, Xiaoya, guess who has arrived? Xiaoya peeked from the bedroom, spotted Zhou Qing, and exclaimed Annie. Before rushing over, Zhou Qing lifted Xiaoya into her arms and planted a kiss on her little face, asking, did you miss your auntie? Xiaoya nodded vigorously, replying, I did. Auntie, did you miss me? Zhou Qing said, is that even a question? Your auntie has missed our little Xiaoya so much, it's driving me mad. Shun Jingyun smiled as she watched the 2 beauties bond affectionately, then remarked, Zhou Qing, why did you come home so late for your holiday? Zhou Qing explained, our school held a national robotics competition, and I was responsible for the software design. Shun Jingyun gave her a thumbs up, saying, a scholar is indeed impressive. Zhou Qing sighed. Unfortunately, we only secured second place. The first prize was taken by Yendu University. Jingyun, please don't mention this to my brother. Shun Jingyun was taken aback. You placed second. Why shouldn't it be mentioned? Zhou Qing pouted, in his eyes. Anything other than first place is unacceptable. Shun Jingyun laughed. That's true. Jingyun, do you have any plans tomorrow? Shin Jingyun shook her head. Nothing in particular. Are you suggesting a shopping trip? Zhou Qing cleared her throat. I'm here to officially invite you and Xiaoya to Zhenjiang for a couple of days on behalf of my parents. What? Shin Jingyun's face visibly tensed. Your parents invited me to visit? Zhou Qing, you're not pulling my leg, are you? Zhou Qing assured her. How could I? My parents have been looking forward to your visit for a long time. They've even mentioned it to my brother countless times. It's just that he has been so busy that it got delayed. If you don't believe me, I can call my mom and let her confirm. In reality, after confirming that Zhou Yuqin was available, Zhou Qing had called her mother, Su Xiaowan, to extend the invitation to Shin Jingyun in their names. Naturally, Su Xiaowan was thrilled and readily agreed. Zhou Qing then took advantage of the situation to request a favor, and Su Xiaowan promised to increase her living allowance by 10,000 yuan for the next semester. Chapter 188. Game launch. There's no need for that. Shin Jingyun was determined to prevent Zhou Qing from making the call and quickly inquired, Does your brother know about this? Zhou Qing replied, I asked him, and he said he would be free tomorrow. Jingyun, what do you think? If you feel it's too soon, it's perfectly all right. There's always another time. Shin Jingyun scolded her playfully. Your parents personally invited you. If I don't go, wouldn't that be rather rude? Zhou Qing, tonight we shall dine at the mall. And afterwards, you'll help me pick out some gifts for your parents. Zhou Qing snapped her fingers in excitement. That sounds perfect. I'll handle the gifts. I'll inform my mom and notify my brother. Shin Jingyun pulled out her phone, saying, I'll talk to your brother. Soon, the call connected. Darling, are you free to talk right now? Upon hearing Shin Jingyun refer to Zhou Yuqin as darling, Zhou Qing beamed with delight, realizing that her moment of endearment was drawing near. As she carried Xiaoya into the bedroom, she shared the news with Su Xiaowan. Su Xiaowan responded with enthusiasm. That is fantastic. I'll head out early tomorrow to buy groceries. Mom, please don't rush to hang up. Zhou Qing turned to Xiaoya. Sweetheart, do you remember Grandma? Would you like to say a few words to her? Xiaoya nodded, and, speaking into the phone, said sweetly, Guess who I am? Su Xiaowan's heart melted at the sound, and she replied, Of course, it's our most adorable Xiaoya. Xiaoya giggled, You got it right. Grandma, I want to ride the cable car tomorrow. Su Xiaowan assured her, All right, after lunch tomorrow, Grandma will take you. Xiaoya's eyes sparkled with joy as she chimed, Thank you. Grandma, love you. Su Xiaowan responded, I love you too. That afternoon, Shen Shiyan temporarily took on the role of driver and bodyguard for the trio of beauties, Shin Jingyun, Zhou Qing, and Xiaoya. The four enjoyed a meal at the mall before entering a frenzied shopping spree, with Shen Shiyan naturally becoming a proud porter. Zhou Qing harbored a rather unfavorable impression of Shen Shiyan, deeming him excessively frivolous and lacking in gravitas. Fortunately, Shen Shiyan had taken the time to groom his hair and attire. Otherwise, Zhou Qing would have certainly regarded him as an oddity. At precisely 8 o'clock in the evening, the game developed by Yuechen Game Company, titled Casual Elimination, officially launched on both PC and mobile platforms. According to Zhou Yuqin's vision, Casual Elimination would be available for free download, with revenue generated through advertisements and in-game purchases. The two major mobile carriers would charge a platform usage fee of $2 million and a 15% cut of the total profits, a concession made due to the prior success of Fruit Hero and Explosive Birds. Other games had long adopted this free download model, typically charging a 20% fee, which was rather exorbitant. The PC version was slightly more economical, with domestic gaming platforms taking a 10% intermediary fee and international platforms charging 12%. Within the confines of Yuechen Game Company, Zhou Yuqin gathered the company's leaders, all eyes fixated on the large screen. The screen was divided into two sections, one displaying the download statistics for the PC version and the other for the mobile version. Upon its release, the download figures for Casual Elimination skyrocketed like a rocket. In the minds of players, the games released by Yuechen Game Company were synonymous with quality. The previous two games had already validated their prowess. Now, with a free downloadable game available, they were certainly not going to miss out. After 54 minutes, the mobile download count surpassed 10 million globally, while the PC downloads exceeded 20 million. The office erupted in jubilant cheers and applause. Zheng Tong emphatically swung his arm and proclaimed, We have succeeded. Lao Zhao, immediately announce our achievements to the outside world. Understood. Zhao Liang, who succeeded Zheng Tong as the publicity head, responded before departing promptly. Zhou Yuqin inquired, There have been no operational issues with the game, have there? Hua Haiyang replied, Everything is functioning normally. Zhou Yuqin nodded, dousing the excitement with a dose of cold reality, stating, While we have shattered the record for the fastest 10 million downloads, it is not yet time for celebration. The reasons for our success are twofold, the esteemed reputation of Yuechen Game Company and the fact that we offer free downloads. Now that the download numbers are secure, the most crucial metric moving forward is player feedback. Player reviews directly influence the active user count. which in turn affects the number of players willing to purchase in-game items. This is our most critical indicator. Upon hearing this, Hua Haiyang immediately tapped a few keys and accessed the largest domestic gaming forum. Noticing 2 posts about casual elimination among the top 10 threads, he projected them onto the big screen. Opening the first post revealed an astonishing thread with over 10,000 replies, all centered around evaluations and discussions of casual elimination. One player, after a mere 30 minutes of gameplay, declared it to be incredibly enjoyable, expressing a desire to pry open the creative minds at Yuechen Game Company to discover how such an engaging idea came to fruition. Another user, a girl, enthusiastically stated her fondness for the game, while another noted that even her idol, Yang Lei, had pinned a post about casual elimination on her microblog. Unlike in the past, this world had never seen a game of this genre. Casual elimination was indeed trailblazing. The overwhelming majority of players expressed their approval of the game, though a minority criticized it for lacking excitement. Zhou Yuqin paid little heed to these dissenting opinions, fully aware that a perfect game could never exist. Even the immensely popular Honor of Kings had its share of players disinterested in it. Noticing Yang Lei's unsolicited promotion of casual elimination, Zhou Yuqin promptly called her to express his gratitude. Yang Lei replied, "No need to mention it. This is my way of repaying you." Zhou Yuqin inquired, "Have you truly played this game?" Yang Lei affirmed, "Of course. I only comment after playing. To be honest, this game is quite impressive and well-suited for us girls." Zhou Yuqin chuckled, "If even a superstar like you enjoys this game, I believe the players will too." By the time the clock struck 11, the total downloads had surged past 80 million, thanks in part to Yang Lei's endorsement. Observing this trend, Zhou Tong promptly prepared a press release announcing the impending milestone of 100 million downloads. With just 5 minutes until midnight, casual elimination successfully surpassed the 100 million download mark, sending shockwaves through the gaming industry. Achieving such a feat in less than 4 hours shattered numerous records. When Zhou Yuqin returned home at 3 in the morning, following the game's remarkable success, he sent someone out for skewers and beer to celebrate with his colleagues. The revenue from in-game purchases would only be known 24 hours later, regardless of the final earnings. The achievement of over 100 million downloads already established casual elimination as a resounding success. "How did your game perform?" Shen Jingyun emerged from the bedroom, donning her favorite pink pajamas. Zhou Yuqin's keen eyesight, far superior to that of an average person, allowed him to discern details even in the pitch darkness. Shen Jingyun's alluring figure nearly caused him to lose his composure. "The results are quite good. Total downloads have reached 101 million, he replied, wrapping his arms around her slender waist and whispering in her ear. Shen Jingyun gasped, 100 million in just one night? That's astonishing. Zhou Yuqin explained. "We offer a free download with in-game purchases. We still don't know how many of those players will spend money on the game." Shen Jingyun remarked, "That alone is impressive." Zhou Yuqin teased, "Darling, you weren't waiting up for me, were you?" Sensing a shift in Zhou Yuqin's demeanor, a blush crept onto Shen Jingyun's cheeks. She stepped back from his embrace, saying, "I certainly didn't have the leisure to wait for you. Hurry and freshen up, it's time for bed." Zhou Yuqin leaned in and kissed her radiant face, chuckling, "You should rest too. Otherwise, how will you face your future in-laws tomorrow with dark circles under your eyes?" "Shut up," Shen Jingyun playfully swatted him before retreating to the bedroom. After completing his nightly routine, Zhou Yuqin sat cross-legged on the bed, practicing his Tai Chi visualization technique. The following morning at 9, Zhou Yuqin drove his Maybach, accompanied by Shen Jingyun, Zhou Qing, and Xiao Yiya, straight to Luoxian. The atmosphere was lively as the three women sang and danced during the journey. Over an hour later, Zhou Yuqin's vehicle entered the underground parking lot of Gueha Community, where Zhou Qingjian and Su Xiaowan had been waiting by the parking space. Upon sighting Zhou Yuqin's car approaching, Zhou Qingjian waved from a distance. Once the vehicle was parked, Shen Jingyun was the first to alight, greeting with a warm smile and an introduction. "Uncle, Auntie, greetings, I am Shen Jingyun." Su Xiaowan gazed at Shen Jingyun's ethereal beauty, momentarily taken aback. Having previously seen her photographs, which had already left a profound impression, she now realized that Shen Jingyun was even more striking in person. Zhou Qingjian nudged Su Xiaowan and remarked, "Are you dazed? She is speaking to you." Coming to her senses, Su Xiaowan seized Shen Jingyun's hand and exclaimed, "Heavens! You are truly a celestial being descended to earth. What kind deeds must Xiaochen have done in his past life to win your favor?" Hearing Su Xiaowan's unabashed praise, a blush crept onto Shen Jingyun's cheeks as she replied, "Auntie, please, no more flattery. I am becoming quite bashful." Su Xiaowan chuckled, "I am merely stating the truth." Zhou Yuqin interjected with dissatisfaction, "Mom, there is no need to praise one while belittling another. I believe I am quite commendable myself." Su Xiaowan smirked. "Those who have an inflated sense of self-worth are often lacking." "I concur," Zhou Qing added, carrying little Yaya as she emerged from the car. "Hello, Grandpa and Grandma." Little Yaya sweetly greeted Zhou Qingjian and Su Xiaowan. Today, Shun Jingyun had styled her hair into 6 adorable braids, enhancing the charm of the already delightful child. "Ha ha. Our little princess has arrived. Come here, let Grandpa hold you." Zhou Qingjian extended his arms, cradling Yaya. Su Xiaowan said, "Old Zhou, let me hold little Yaya. You help Xiaochen with the items." Zhou Qingjian raised an eyebrow. "That won't do. I haven't had enough of holding her yet." Su Xiaowan retorted, "Then are you suggesting that Jingyun fetch the items?" "That is certainly out of the question." Zhou Qingjian displayed a resigned expression, reluctantly handing Yaya over to Su Xiaowan, who then beamed with joy. "Darling, Grandma has missed you dearly. Come, let us return home with your mother." "Okay," Yaya replied, wrapping her arms around Su Xiaowan's neck. "Grandma, do not forget to take me on the cable car." Su Xiaowan laughed. "I won't forget." Observing the elderly couple's affection for Yaya, Shun Jingyun could not help but smile. As everyone ascended the stairs, Zhou Qing mentioned the gifts Shun Jingyun had brought. In addition to tobacco, alcohol, and health products, she had gifted Su Xiaowan a golden bracelet and Zhou Qingjian a valuable tea set. Su Xiaowan grasped Shun Jingyun's hand, saying, "Jingyun, your presence is the greatest gift to us. Why bring so many items?" Just as Shun Jingyun was about to respond, Zhou Yuchen interjected, "Mom, please do not be so modest. Jingyun is your future daughter-in-law. It's only fitting that she brings something on her first visit. Is that so?" Seeing Shun Jingyun blush shyly without protest, Su Xiaowan's face lit up with delight. "Wonderful. We must accept the gifts from our daughter-in-law." Zhou Qingjian's face broke into a broad smile. "Jingyun, should this rascal ever wrong you, you must tell me, and I shall ensure he pays the price." Shun Jingyun quickly reassured, "Uncle, Yuchen has always treated both me and little Yaya with great kindness. He is truly exceptional. Many times, I feel unworthy of him." "Unworthy of him?" Su Xiaowan scoffed. "Jingyun, do not elevate him unduly. Though this is our first meeting, I can surmise that many suitors must pursue you. For you to choose this rascal among so many outstanding young men speaks volumes of his fortune." Chapter 190. The inheritance of the daughter-in-law. With Shun Jingyun's unparalleled beauty and family background, securing a suitor from a prominent family would be effortless. Yet, she chose their son, which indicates that Shun Jingyun is not a woman enamored with power and wealth, and it reflects the open-mindedness of the Shin family, who prioritize their daughter's happiness above all else. Zhou Yuchen rose, stating, "I believe the kitchen suits me better." Su Xiaowan replied, "The meat and vegetables are prepared for you. Go ahead and cook while Jingyun and I enjoy a good chat." Zhou Yuchen, bemused, said, "You are truly my dear mother. I thank you." Su Xiaowan waved her hand. "Those capable should take on more responsibilities." Amused by Zhou Yuchen's comical expression, Shun Jingyun could not stifle her laughter. In the ensuing conversation, Su Xiaowan quickly discerned that Shun Jingyun was an exceptionally intelligent and graceful young woman, possessing a gentle demeanor and eloquent speech, devoid of any airs of a spoiled aristocrat, which endeared her further to Su Xiaowan. Zhou Qingjian, while playing with little Yaya and a Rubik's Cube, listened attentively to their conversation. Previously concerned about the disparity between the Zhou and Shin families and the potential hardships his son might face in marriage, he now felt reassured. Having spent a lifetime in government service, though not holding high office, Zhou Qingjian had developed keen insight, easily perceiving the character of individuals through their words and actions. A girl like Shin Jingyun would have been considered a true lady of high society in ancient times. His superior was correct. To win the affection of such a girl was indeed a blessing his son had earned over several lifetimes. Zhou Qingjian suggested that Zhou Qing accompany little Yaya for a while he slipped into the kitchen and quietly told Zhou Yuchen, "You have good taste. Jingyun is truly a rare gem in today's society. Do not let her slip away." Zhou Yuchen replied, "Dad, rest assured. We moved in together half a month ago. Once my business succeeds, I will propose to Jingyun." Zhou Qingjian cautioned, "I must emphasize, you cannot become a son-in-law by marriage. Your future children with Jingyun must bear the Zhou surname." Zhou Yuchen nodded, "That is a certainty. My future father-in-law has no intention of having a son-in-law by marriage. He has a son." Zhou Qingjian responded, "That is good to hear." At noon, everyone gathered around the table for a meal. Zhou Yuchen's culinary skills were undoubtedly impressive, providing a feast that was both delightful in color and flavor. The 8 dishes and a soup left little remaining. After the meal, little Yaya insisted on riding the cable car. Zhou Yuchen replied, "Dear, we will go later." "Why?" little Yaya queried. "The sun outside is too harsh. It will tan our little princess's fair skin," he explained. Startled, Yaya quickly agreed, "Then we shall wait a while." Zhou Qing asked, "Yaya, can you draw?" Little Yaya shook her head, "No." Zhou Qing smiled. "Annie has brushes and a drawing board. Come, Annie will teach you to draw a little white rabbit." Little Yaya's eyes sparkled. "All right, I want to draw a little white rabbit." Zhou Qing led little Ye to her bedroom, while Zhou Qingjian remarked, I did not expect this girl to be quite adept at entertaining children. Shen Jingyan noted, Zhou Qing is an exceptionally clever girl. My parents have only met her once. Yet they praised her highly. Su Xiaowan added, this girl is quite wild and stubborn, much like Xiaoqin. Once they set their sights on someone or something, nothing can deter them. If Xiaoqin had not been so fixated on that, Zhou Qingjian, realizing his wife's distraction, quickly interrupted. Let us not bring up Su Xiaoyao in front of Shen Jingyan. Su Xiaowan also realized her gaffe and awkwardly remarked, look at my mouth. I truly speak without thinking. Spouting nonsense. Shen Jingyan replied, Aunt, I am aware of the matters concerning Yuqin and Su Xiaoya. My parents are also informed. There's nothing to shy away from. If there's blame, it lies solely with Yuqin for his misguided affections. I cannot alter the past, but I can assure you he will not be misled a second time. Su Xiaowan was profoundly touched and grasped Shen Jingyan's hand, saying, good child, with your words, I am at ease. By the way, I have a gift for you. With that, Su Xiaowan rose and went to her bedroom, returning with a small square wooden box. Zhou Yuqin asked in surprise, Mom, this can't be an antique, can it? Indeed, it was an antique. Su Xiaowan opened the box to reveal a jade bracelet. Judging by its quality, it was of ice type, worth no less than 300,000 in current market value. Zhou Yuqin said, Mom, please do not say this was passed down to you from Grandma for her daughter-in-law. Su Xiaowan proudly replied, you are correct. This was indeed given to me by your grandmother before she left us. Your aunts are unaware. Zhou Yuqin frowned. Does the old man not know? Su Xiaowan affirmed. He must know. Zhou Yuqin cautioned. This bracelet is worth over 300,000. If the old man informs your uncles, given their character, they will certainly come to demand it from you. Su Xiaowan reassured. Your grandmother anticipated this issue long ago and quietly had it notarized. Among her 3 daughters-in-law, she uniquely bestowed this symbol of the Zhou family daughter-in-law upon me, which is the greatest honor. Zhou Yuqin remarked, you tirelessly cared for Grandma for 5 years, while my aunts hardly showed their faces all year. Who is good and who is not is evident. Although Grandma is elderly, she is not senile. Her foresight to notarize this to avoid future troubles is truly remarkable. Zhou Qingjian inquired, Xiaoqin, do you still remember Grandma? Zhou Yuqin nodded, of course. I will never forget her appearance. Zhou Qingjian hesitated. Next Saturday is your grandfather's birthday. Zhou Yuqin smiled. I currently manage 2 companies and am exceedingly busy. Even today, I carved out time to return, so please do not press me. Zhou Qingjian's expression dimmed slightly, and he pursed his lips. Very well. Shen Jingyun, perceptive and astute, sensed that there was an issue at hand, leading Zhou Yuqin to harbor intense dissatisfaction towards his grandfather, to the extent of skipping his birthday. Zhou Qingjian showed no anger, merely sorrow, indicating that the old man likely committed some grievous offense against Zhou Yuqin. Otherwise, Zhou Qingjian would not exhibit such an attitude. Su Xiaowan shot a stern glance at Zhou Qingjian and turned to Shen Jingyun, saying, Jingyun, this jade bracelet may not be of significant monetary value, but it represents a legacy of the Zhou family daughter-in-law. If you are willing to be with Xiaoqin, please accept it. Shen Jingyun did not decline and unhesitatingly accepted the box, saying, thank you, Aunt. This gesture unmistakably signified Shen Jingyun's willingness to become a Zhou family daughter-in-law, bringing tears of joy to Su Xiaowan's eyes, who repeatedly exclaimed, good, good, good. Zhou Qingjian was also greatly comforted. Shen Jingyun glanced at Zhou Yuqin, who was also looking at her. They exchanged smiles filled with tenderness. Chapter 191. The history of the Zhou family at 3 in the afternoon. Zhou Yuqin and Zhou Qingjian each drove a car towards the Tianyang mountain on the outskirts. Perhaps due to the sweltering heat, there were not many visitors. Finally, accompanied by Zhou Qingjian and Su Xiaowan, Xiao Ye boarded the long-desired cable car. Zhou Qing remarked, Sister Jingyun, want you take a ride on the cable car? Shen Jingyun shook her head. I have a slight fear of heights. Zhou Qing pointed to a nearby cold drink shop. Then let us go there for a refreshing drink and take a break. Shen Jingyun replied, Zhou Qing, you should enjoy yourself. Don't worry about me. Zhou Qing laughed. I have ridden this cable car countless times. It's rather uninteresting. Let us go? Shen Jingyun glanced at Zhou Yuqin, who was still on the phone in the car. Should we tell your brother? Zhou Qing said, no need. It seems he is discussing some scientific experiments on the phone and may take a while. Once he finishes, he will naturally find us. Shen Jingyun nodded and accompanied Zhou Qing to the cold drink shop. They each ordered a drink and settled at a window-side table. Reflecting on Zhou Yuqin's refusal to celebrate his grandfather's birthday, Shen Jingyun could not help but inquire, Zhou Qing, does your brother have some misunderstanding with your grandfather? As soon as the question slipped out, Zhou Qing's expression darkened. Sister Jingyun, it's not my father asking you to celebrate that old man's birthday, is it? That old man. Hearing this term, Shen Jingyun immediately grasped Zhou Qing's sentiment and quickly replied, It was just that uncle mentioned next Saturday is the old man's birthday. But your brother cut him off. I was merely curious and wanted to ask. Zhou Qing said, my father is foolish. Not only my brother. But I also would not go. Shen Jingyan queried, why not? Zhou Qing scoffed, 5 years ago, that old man removed my brother's name from the Zhou family genealogy. So naturally, my brother cannot celebrate his birthday. I stand with my brother, so I won't go either. Shen Jingyan's heart stirred, 5 years ago? When your brother was imprisoned. Zhou Qing clarified, more accurately, it was during the sentencing. Even the law enforcement officers and the presiding judge knew my brother was wrongfully accused. But unfortunately, due to lack of evidence, they could only convict him. I was present that day, after the judge's ruling. Do you know what that old man did? He stood up and, in front of everyone, declared that the Zhou family has no descendants like my brother, and he erased my brother's name from the genealogy. Sister Jingyun, do you know? During the time from when my brother was arrested to his sentencing, even my grandfather from northeast China and my 2 uncles came to support him, both financially and emotionally. Yet, from the Zhou family, only my little aunt came. No one else showed up. That trial was the first time they appeared, but it dealt a heavy blow to my brother, pushing him into an abyss. At this point, Zhou Qing's eyes reddened as she continued. My brother has always been a strong person. Even after being convicted, he did not shed a single tear. However, the deepest wounds are not inflicted by enemies, but by one's own flesh and blood. After that old man's announcement, it was the first time I saw my brother cry, his eyes filled with desolation, despair, and disbelief. From that day forth, my grandfather's family and the Zhou family were irrevocably severed. They lived as strangers for the rest of their lives. My mother fell ill and spent a week in the hospital. My father languished for a long time, losing 30 pounds in a month. During that time, if not for my uncles and little aunt tirelessly helping, I don't know how we would have made it through. Sister Jingyun, tell me, what purpose does such a relative serve? After hearing Zhou Qing's account, Shen Jingyun's heart was tumultuous, unable to find peace for a long while. 5 years ago, Zhou Yuqin was merely 20 years old, having transitioned from a promising student at Yunhai University to a prisoner serving a year. Before he could even be incarcerated, he faced betrayal from those closest to him. Shen Jingyun could hardly fathom the desolation Zhou Yuqin must have felt at that time. If it were she in his place, she would likely have succumbed to utter despair. Taking a deep breath to steady her emotions, Shen Jingyun inquired, I cannot comprehend one thing. Why did they choose to act in such a manner? Zhou Qing shrugged and replied, even now, we remain perplexed, and we prefer to stay that way. Apart from my aunt's family, neither my mother, my brother, nor I will have any ties with the Zhou family from now on. My father has no choice. After all, he is the old man's son and must fulfill his filial duties. Every month, he deposits 1,000 yuan into the old man's bank account and visits during holidays. With a wry smile, she added, Sister Jingyun, do you believe that if they were to learn my brother has emerged as a wealthy magnate, they might consider reinstating his name in the family genealogy? At that moment, Zhou Yuqin's voice reached their ears. What nonsense about genealogy. Let whoever wishes to introduce so. I have no interest. As he approached with a glass of watermelon juice, Zhou Yuqin sat down and chastised Zhou Qing. Why discuss such trivial matters with Sister Jingyun? Shen Jingyun interjected. I initiated the conversation. It has nothing to do with Zhou Qing. Zhou Qing responded. Regardless, Sister Jingyun would eventually learn the truth. Whether told early or late, it amounts to the same. Zhou Yuqin declared, in the future, do not mention that old man to Dad, nor ridicule the Zhou family in his presence. Treat them as strangers. Otherwise, it will place Dad in an uncomfortable position. Zhou Qing nodded, I understand. Brother, what if the Zhou family seeks you out in the future? Zhou Yuqin replied, it depends on the individual. If it's my aunt and uncle, I will certainly assist them financially and physically. As for the others, out of respect for Dad, I will refrain from conflict and politely ask them to leave. Zhou Qing gave a thumbs up, quite rational. Zhou Yuqin sighed. One cannot fulfill everyone's desires, but one can strive to be at peace with oneself. My dear, I apologize for any discomfort caused. Shen Jingyun remarked, I do not find it amusing. I merely feel a pang of sympathy. How did you manage to endure during that time? Zhou Yuqin, possessing all the emotions and memories of his former self, reflected deeply on those experiences, saying, shortly after entering, that scoundrel Luo Hao sent someone after me. My primary concern was survival. I had no time for self-pity. Now, I focus solely on those I love and who love me. Others are beyond my consideration. Zhou Qing added, I heard that old man is in poor health. Brother, if he passes, will you attend? Zhou Yuqin lifted his eyelids. Are you persistent in this topic? Zhou Qing stuck out her tongue and quickly fell silent. Chapter 192. Terrifying returns. Little Yaya rode the cable car back and forth 6 times before reluctantly disembarking. In the evening, the family dined at a charming farmhouse, savoring several authentic country dishes. Zhou Yuqin asked, Mom, haven't you begun your summer vacation? Why not spend some time in Yunhai? Shen Jingyan chimed in. Indeed, auntie. Since you have no pressing matters at home, I will accompany you for a delightful exploration in Yunhai. Su Xiaowan shook her head. No, I do not wish to be a burden. Zhou Yuchen chuckled. Mom, do you feel it would be inconvenient to stay with us? Not to worry. I will purchase another apartment in Lijiang Garden. It will be under Zhou Qing's name, a gift from me as her brother. Su Xiaowan exclaimed. Are you insane? Properties in Lijiang Garden cost a fortune. Even if you are wealthy, such extravagance is unwarranted. Zhou Yuchen countered. How do you know that the future property prices in Yunhai won't soar even higher? Moreover, it is for Zhou Qing, as long as she agrees. Your opinion is not paramount. Without a moment's hesitation, Zhou Qing declared, I agree. Brother, when you buy the house, I want to be involved in choosing the best one. Su Xiaowan widened her eyes. You are incredibly presumptuous. Zhou Qing retorted confidently. Why should I be polite when my brother is buying me a house? It would be splendid to accompany it with a car. Zhou Yuchen asked, when did you learn to drive? Zhou Qing giggled. Brother, if you buy me a car, I will start learning tomorrow. Zhou Yuchen replied. Then go ahead and learn. Zhou Qing gleefully shouted. Long live my brother. Su Xiaowan remarked. You two are truly getting ahead of yourselves. Zhou Yuchen stated. Mom, Zhou Qing will certainly remain in Yunhai after graduation. I worry about her living alone in a rented place. Being in the same community will allow me to look after her if anything arises. Su Xiaowan questioned. Is it really necessary to purchase such an extravagant property? Zhou Yuchen responded. As a billionaire, it would be laughable to buy my sister a dilapidated apartment worth only 200,000 to 300,000. Zhou Qing, do you wish to inhabit a 300 square meter abode alone? Aren't you afraid of ghosts at night? Their laughter erupted, with Su Xiaowan, Zhou Qingjian, Shen Jingyun, and even Zhou Qing herself unable to contain their amusement. Little Yaya, who was diligently eating, noticed the laughter and joined in with a beaming smile. After their meal, Zhou Yuchen took Shen Jingyun and little Yaya back to Yunhai. On the way, a call from Zheng Tong came through. Noticing the time was 8:15 in the evening, Zhou Yuchen surmised that the results for Leisurely Match had been released. Hello, old Zheng, how did it go? Zhou, the game Leisurely Match has succeeded, achieving total sales of 8.22 million summer yuan, with the company's earnings reaching nearly 7 million on the first day. As the number of downloads increases, profits will continue to rise. What are the reviews like? The feedback is overwhelmingly positive. The largest gaming review site in Europe awarded Leisurely Match a remarkable score of 97, and the domestic reception is even more favorable. Zhou, your foresight in adopting a free-to-download and in-app purchase model has proven invaluable. Leisurely Match is set to become our company's first consistently profitable project. Do not celebrate too soon. The success of Leisurely Match will inevitably prompt other gaming companies to imitate us. The greatest challenge with such puzzle games is their ease of replication. Merely changing the branding suffices. What can we do then? As long as they differentiate their product from ours, it is not considered infringement. Our sole responsibility is to provide excellent service and maximize our first-mover advantage. Furthermore, we cannot cease development. 2,000 levels are insufficient. We must exceed 4,000. Understood. Old Zheng, Monday is approaching. Gather the RD team for a meeting. I want to develop 3 new games. Understood, Zhou. After hanging up, Zhou Yuchen let out a long sigh of relief. Despite appearing confident in front of others, he had been anxious about the profitability of Leisurely Match. After all, times and circumstances differ. The prior success of Leisurely Match did not guarantee success in this world. Following the game's launch yesterday, Zhou Yuchen silently set a benchmark in his mind. 2 million. As long as there is a net profit of 2 million, Zhou Yuchen would consider Leisure Elimination a success. To his astonishment, the players proved remarkably supportive, with net profits soaring to nearly 7 million, far exceeding Zhou Yuchen's expectations. It is essential to note that this is merely the beginning. Once the download count peaks, surpassing 10 million in a single day should not pose a significant challenge. Zhou Yuchen believes that the exceptional performance of Leisure Elimination likely stems from its pioneering status in the elimination game genre, which has provided players with a refreshing experience. However, once the novelty wears off, various elimination games are bound to proliferate like mushrooms after rain, marking the greatest challenge for Leisure Elimination. Nevertheless, Zhou Yuchen remains confident. Since the previous iteration of Leisure Elimination triumphed amidst competition, as the progenitor of elimination games, it should not falter in this world either. Sharing a vehicle, Shen Jingyun naturally overheard Zhou Yuchen and Zheng Tong's conversation. Darling, a daily profit of 7 million must be quite impressive, right? It surpasses my expectations significantly. Yet, I noticed you seemed less than pleased while speaking with General Zhang. I was merely putting on an act. As a leader, one must maintain a composed facade. I had to exert considerable effort to suppress my overwhelming joy and instead address potential challenges and issues ahead. The objective is simple, to project an image of foresight and control to my subordinates. Shen Jingyun couldn't help but chuckle. You truly are something. Zhou Yuqin replied, tomorrow. You should ask Uncle Shun. He is even more adept at feigning composure than I. When faced with a tricky situation, despite having no solutions, he must still present an air of confidence. Imagine if Uncle Shun, the chief of police, were to lose his composure. How could the thousands of officers below him maintain their confidence in their work? It appears that nothing comes easily, Shen Jingyun remarked. Zhou Yuqin sighed. The higher the position, the greater the number of subordinates, and consequently, the pressure on the leader increases. It is an unavoidable reality. Chapter 193. Stock market windfall. Following the successful launch of Leisure Elimination, the total downloads soon surpassed 500 million, nearly capturing half of the global smartphone user base. The revenue for Yuechen Gaming Company also escalated, rising from 7 million to 15 million, before stabilizing around 10 million in the subsequent days. A game generating 10 million daily with maintenance costs less than 1/10 of large-scale online games is a testament to the seismic impact it has brought to the gaming industry. The greatest regret belongs to Orange Company, which failed to operate this game. Their released game was utterly overwhelmed by Leisure Elimination, resulting in significant dissatisfaction among Orange's smartphone customers. The frustration of not being able to play a game that others enjoy on their phones is palpable. Faced with this predicament, Orange Company had no choice but to approach Yuechen Gaming Company, hoping to secure the rights to operate Leisure Elimination. Zhou Yuqin, recognizing the importance of maintaining a good relationship, especially since he would frequently use Orange's smartphone platform in the future, could hardly refuse. Moreover, the clientele who can afford Orange smartphones are typically affluent individuals, representing the primary demographic for in-game purchases, thus benefiting Leisure Elimination without any drawbacks. As for the inability to synchronize between mobile and computer platforms, that was of no concern to Zhou Yuqin. General Zhou, it has come to my attention that nearly all major gaming companies across the nation are focusing their research on Leisure Elimination, with 6 or 7 companies already developing similar games. I estimate that within 2 months, we will see the launch of elimination games that may pose a challenge to Leisure Elimination, Zheng Tong said, handing Zhou Yuqin a chart with a worried expression. Zhou Yuqin glanced at the chart, which listed the names of 7 gaming companies alongside the titles of the games they were developing. Old Zheng, where did you obtain this information? Having worked in the gaming industry for over 20 years, I have friends in various companies. Furthermore, this is not confidential information. It can be easily acquired. No need to rush or feel anxious. Once gaming habits are established, they are notoriously difficult to change. The popularity of Leisure Elimination has reached a level that cannot be easily shaken by other elimination games. As long as we remain steady and avoid any missteps, our foundation will remain secure. Understood. Rest assured, I will ensure the effective operation of Leisure Elimination. Additionally, regarding the development of Plants vs. Zombies, Temple Run, and Honor of Kings, the team has reported that the first 2 games are progressing well, but Honor of Kings poses some complications. If it becomes a major hit, our servers may not be able to support its operations, Zheng Tong elaborated. I never intended to operate Honor of Kings independently. Old Zhou, in any industry, operating solo rarely leads to favorable outcomes. My plan is to entrust Honor of Kings to a gaming operator while we focus on addressing technical issues. Once 4G networks become prevalent, we can transition it to mobile platforms. Believe me, once Honor of Kings launches, there will be 2 possible outcomes. It will either flop completely or soar to unprecedented heights, becoming the most popular game in the nation, perhaps without exception. Zheng Tong expressed his astonishment. General Zhou, you hold it in such high regard? Zhou Yuqin smiled, of course. In its most prosperous year, Honor of Kings achieved a net profit exceeding 15 billion, truly astonishing. Should Zhou Yuqin replicate his past successes, financial security will no longer be a concern for him. After Zheng Tong departed, Zhou Yuqin opened his stock trading software and checked his account, including Dongxi Network Company. The figures in his account had swelled to an astonishing 12,847 billion. It was Wednesday, and less than 2 days remained until the anticipated plunge of Wulianya. At this moment, the stock market index had surged to 5,500 points, charging relentlessly towards 6,000. Upon analyzing Wulianya's trajectory, Zhou Yuqin surmised that its decline would coincide with the market crash. Yet, he was not entirely certain. Looking at the current situation, it was approximately an 80 to 90% certainty. Thursday was expected to be a day of soaring stocks, but Zhou Yuqin was reluctant to take the risk. He feared that following a surge, a retreating sentiment might emerge, leaving him with billions in stocks that no one would be willing to purchase. Thus, Zhou Yuqin resolved to initiate a complete liquidation immediately. Without regard for the potential impact of his decision on the market, he placed all his stocks for sale and subsequently contacted Chen Dahua, Zhang Wei, and Zhuang Wenbin to inform them of his intention to sell his shares. 2 weeks prior, Zhou Yuqin had only mentioned his stock purchases to the three of them. Whether they had shared this information with others was beyond his concern. Among the three, Zhuang Wenbin discreetly amassed wealth, keeping silent while his wife invested 4 million with 5 times leverage, ultimately reaping a profit of 14 million. Chen Dahua withdrew his entire savings of 180,000, also utilizing 5 times leverage, and by now had earned 680,000, enabling him to purchase a home without issue. He only shared this matter with Wu Liang. Later, Wu Liang called Zhou Yuqin to be cautious. The young man only used a threefold leverage with a principal of 5 million, earning over 11 million. Zhang Wei, on the other hand, was well informed of the situation. The companies Zhou Yuqin had written about had long spread throughout the police department. At least 80% of the personnel, from Deputy Director Zhu Jiang to ordinary officers, had invested in the stocks. Upon receiving the news that Zhou Yuqin intended to sell his shares, Zhang Wei immediately contacted all departments within the police department, and everyone began to take action. Old Zhang, the stocks have been sold, came Xia Yao's voice, tinged with a hint of tears over the phone. Zhang Wei was startled and quickly inquired, Xia Yao, what's wrong? Didn't we make money? I'm just so happy, sob. Zhang Wei sighed in relief and chuckled. You cried when we were broke, and now you're crying from joy after making money. I'm truly impressed. So, how much did we actually earn? Xia Yao replied, 620,000. What? Zhang Wei exclaimed, are you mistaken? Didn't we only invest 380,000? In reality, even that amount had been cobbled together by borrowing 240,000 from relatives and friends. Xia Yao explained, I felt it was a rare opportunity, so I applied for threefold leverage with the securities company, allowing us to operate with over 1 million. That is fantastic. Zhang Wei exclaimed, wife, you're truly remarkable. Xia Yao continued, after repaying the loans and mortgage, we will still have 120,000 left. Old Zhang, we finally have a house that truly belongs to us. Zhang Wei felt the burden on his shoulders lighten significantly, saying, indeed, we have finally crawled out of the pit. Just then, a cheer erupted in the various offices of the police department. It was evident that everyone had successfully sold their stocks and made a considerable profit. Chapter 194. Earned 5.8 billion in Shun Qinggong's office. Zhu Jiang, who had recently been promoted to the position of director of the police department, reported to him with a smile, Old Shun, I have some good news. Shin Chenggang raised an eyebrow and asked, with that smile of yours, did you strike it rich? Zhu Jiang gave a thumbs up and praised, old leader. You are truly astute. Did you really strike it rich? Shin Chenggang was intrigued and blurted, stocks? Zhu Jiang affirmed, exactly. I invested 300,000. Do you know how much I earned? Shin Chenggang retorted, stop with the riddles. I'm not falling for that. If you're capable, hold your tongue and don't tell me. Zhu Jiang complained, your biggest flaw is your lack of zest for life. I started with 300,000 and made 180,000, which I sold this afternoon. Shin Chenggang inquired, did Xiaozhou tell you to sell? Zhu Jiang nodded, indeed. Xiaozhou informed Zhang Wei that stocks were to be sold today. I was already apprehensive, but once Xiaozhou mentioned it, I immediately called my wife and sold all my stocks. Shin Chenggang asked, did everyone make a profit and exit? Zhu Jiang confirmed, yes. Zhang Wei made the most. You know his family situation. His wife was determined, raising 380,000 and leveraging threefold, earning 620,000. Now, all his problems are resolved. When I saw him earlier, his eyes were red. He probably cried in secret. Shin Chenggang exhaled, that's good. I was worried Xiaozhou might lead you all astray. It seems he truly has a knack for this. Zhu Jiang remarked, not just a knack. He told Zhang Wei that there's a high chance of a spike tomorrow. But after such a spike, there's also a risk of being trapped, which is why he chose to sell today. If the market does indeed rise as he predicted, he would be a stock market savant. I can't help but wonder how much your future son-in-law will earn, Shin Chenggang mused. I'd bet he's leveraged as well, likely earning at least 2 to 3 billion. Shin Chenggang quipped, it seems you're nearly lost in thoughts of wealth. Zhu Jiang laughed, don't be ridiculous. If your future son-in-law earns several billion, that's equivalent to your daughter and granddaughter earning several billion. I doubt you wouldn't be pleased. Shin Chenggang replied, that's not quite the same. All right, I have a meeting to attend, so you should leave. As Zhu Jiang reached the door, he suddenly turned back and said, Old Shun, when you see Xiaozhou, don't forget to express our gratitude on behalf of all the staff at the police department. Shin Chenggang scolded, are you done yet? Zhu Jiang laughed heartily and left. Once he departed, a slight smile crept onto Shin Chenggang's face. He felt a sense of joy knowing that his son-in-law could help his colleagues earn some legitimate extra income. However, he wondered if the young man had informed Shi too. At that moment, Shin Jingyun was on a call with Shin Shiyan. Zhou Yuqin was certainly capable of notifying others and would not forget about Shin Shiyan. However, he did not speak directly to Shin Shiyan since they were in a creditor-debtor relationship. Zhou Yuqin advised Shin Shiyan to sell his stocks, if they soared tomorrow? The latter would undoubtedly blame him. Therefore, Zhou Yuqin called Shen Jingyun, informing her that the stock market might experience a significant decline either the day after or the following Monday, urging her to advise Shen Shiyan to secure his profits. Compared to her seemingly unreliable brother, Shen Jingyun naturally placed more trust in Zhou Yuqin. She quickly dialed Shen Shiyan's number and informed him of the potential market downer. Sister, this is Zhou Yuqin's judgment, right? Whose judgment doesn't he matter? What matters is that you don't get stuck in it. Rest assured, I'm no fool. Today, I've already exited half of my stocks, and that half has returned to break even. Tomorrow, I'll exit the other half, and everything will be fine. That is wonderful. Sure too. I didn't expect you to be so adept in the stock market. Of course, my experience at the investment firm hasn't been for naught. It's a pity, Zhou Yuqin, that conservative. Lend me a bit more money. Otherwise, I could earn even more. Being conservative is wise. The stock market is fraught with risks. Prudent investment is essential. That's not caution. That's simply being timid. In stock trading, aside from having a keen eye, it's even more critical to be bold and dare to seek opportunities amidst risks. Sister, let us go to our parents' place for dinner tomorrow afternoon. Be sure to bring Zhou Yuqin along. Are you trying to show off in front of him? He is my creditor. How could I dare to act boastfully? I'll prove my capabilities through facts to give him confidence, then ask to borrow some money. Haven't you earned quite a bit? Just a mere 100 million. In the capital market, that's nothing significant. Sister, just remember to invite him along, and we'll discuss the details later. After saying this, Shen Shiyan abruptly ended the call. Shen Jingyun set down her phone, and Zhou Yuqin's earlier words suddenly echoed in her mind. For Shen Shiyan at this moment, what he truly needed was not a resounding success, but a profound failure. Only through experiencing failure would he come to understand the true meaning of respect. From just a few of Shen Shiyan's remarks, Shen Jingyun could discern that her brother seemed intoxicated by victory, dismissing even 100 million as inconsequential. His audacity was indeed boundless. What Shen Jingyun did not realize was that her husband was the one with the greatest audacity of all. With a capital of 1.44 billion and a leverage of 5 times, along with his previous investments in Dongxi Network Company, Zhou Yuqin has amassed a staggering profit of 5.8 billion in this stock market venture. His current funds have reached an impressive 6.3 billion, placing him comfortably within the top 20 richest individuals in Yunhai. Hey, Lao Zhou, let us go out for some skewers tonight, my treat, Wu Liang exclaimed loudly over the phone. Having earned over 10 million, he not only recouped his previous losses in the stock market, but also made a handsome profit of 7 to 8 million, which bolstered his confidence immensely. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. You must be out of your mind. As a hotel mogul, why would you choose to eat street barbecue instead of dining at your own establishment? Wu Liang retorted. I've made over 10 million. I can eat wherever I please, and no one can tell me otherwise. Stop talking nonsense. Are you in or not? Zhou Yuqin replied. All right, I'll join you. I'm willing to risk my life for a gentleman. Wu Liang continued. Remember the chubby barbecue place next to Yunhai University that we frequently visited? It's still there. Really? That place is still around? Zhou Yuqin said, astonished. Wu Liang laughed. They've upgraded. They now occupy 2 floors. During summer, it's a street barbecue stand, and in winter, it transforms into a hot pot restaurant. They're thriving. Sounds good. I'll be there before 6 this evening, Zhou Yuqin confirmed. Chapter 195. Do you need a warm bed? After concluding his call with Wu Liang, Zhou Yuqin informed Shen Jingyun and then drove to pick up little Yaya. The greatest advantage of her kindergarten was the absence of a summer break, only a winter holiday. Although the tuition was quite steep, it was exceedingly accommodating for busy parents without elder relatives to care for their children. Upon returning home, Zhou Yuqin encouraged little Yaya to play with her toys while he busied himself in the kitchen. By the time Shen Jingyun returned, he had prepared 2 dishes and a soup, setting them on the table. I thought I told you not to cook, Shen Jingyun remarked. I enjoy cooking for my 2 lovely ladies, he replied. Your daughter's sweet tongue must be inherited from you. Aren't you going to reward me for this? Without hesitation, Shen Jingyun wrapped her arms around Zhou Yuqin's neck and planted a kiss on his cheek. Not so fast, Zhou Yuqin said, pulling her into an embrace and giving her a long French kiss. Only when they heard little Yaya's footsteps approaching from the bedroom did he release her. Had this been before, Shen Jingyun would have blushed furiously. Now, however, she seemed accustomed to it, merely rolling her eyes playfully before going to hug their child. As Zhou Yuqin changed his shoes, he said, Dear, if you can't finish your meal, feel free to invite that comrade Shen Shiyan over to help out. Shen Jingyun replied, I've already spoken to him. He'll be here shortly. Zhou Yuqin inquired, That guy must have made quite a fortune, hasn't he? Over 100 million, Shen Jingyun confirmed. But he has no intention of stopping. He claims to have discovered another lucrative opportunity. Zhou Yuqin raised an eyebrow. What opportunity? Recently, Zhou Yuqin had been closely monitoring various markets, including gold, oil, and currency exchange rates, due to his investments in the stock market. As fluctuations in these markets could influence the stock market, he could not discern what profitable opportunity Shen Shiyan had found. He only mentioned the gold futures market. Shen Jingyun said. Zhou Yuchen raised his brow. That kid has some acumen. In the short term, gold should experience a rise, though not significantly. And it is easily influenced by the capital markets of the lighthouse country. Even with my considerable investment prowess, predicting the future remains quite challenging. Shen Jingyun asked. Do you think gold futures are worth pursuing? Zhou Yuchen shook his head. In the short term, gold prices are likely to rise. But the extent of the increase and the turning point are beyond my limited information. Your brother could make a little profit with ultra-short-term investments. But anything long-term is a different story. Confused, Shen Jingyun asked, then why don't you invest? Zhou Yuchen replied. Without at least an 80 certainty and a minimum 20 return, I absolutely will not act. Frequent exposure to risk will inevitably lead to losses. You should advise Shiyan to establish a sense of financial boundaries and avoid reckless gambles. At the very least, he should save some money for his livelihood. Shen Jingyun nodded. You make a valid point. Zhou Yuchen smiled. The words of a super-rich individual often hold wisdom. Take care, my dear. Papa, come back early, little Yaya called out. Zhou Yuchen gestured an okay sign. No problem. Opting not to drive, Zhou Yuchen rode a bicycle to Yunhai University. The benefit of cycling is avoiding traffic jams. Sure enough, after a 45-minute ride, he encountered 3 sections of road congested with vehicles. Although they were still creeping forward, their speed was akin to that of a snail. Upon arriving at the chubby barbecue restaurant, Zhou Yuchen found Wu Liang and Chun Dahua already seated at a roadside table. The trio was similarly attired in t-shirts, baggy shorts, and sandals. Our fortune god has arrived. Welcome, Zhou Kaishin. Wu Liang and Chun Dahua immediately rose to entertain him. Zhou Yuchen laughed. Since I'm the fortune god, shouldn't you bow before me? Wu Liang quipped. 3 bows, and I'll light incense for you, how about that? Zhou Yuchen raised an eyebrow. If you dare to bow, I shall gladly accept. Wu Liang chuckled. Dahua, did you see that? Some people become bolder as they age. Shen Dahua remarked. If you don't want to profit alongside Zhou Kaishin, you can continue to mock him. Here, I only speak well of Zhou Kaishin. There won't be a single bad word. Wu Liang pointed at Shen Dahua and laughed. So you're the one who is truly shameless. Shen Dahua patted Wu Liang on the shoulder. Bro, you're a bit late to the game. The 3 broke into laughter, reminiscing about their youthful days. Perhaps due to their early arrival, the other tables were still empty. The chubby owner prepared the food swiftly, and within 15 minutes, everything was ready. Looking at the plate containing at least 30 skewers of kidneys, Zhou Yuchen asked, who ordered this? Shen Dahua, with a look of disdain, replied, of course. It was the kidney-loving Mr. Wu Liang. Zhou Yuchen placed the plate of kidneys in front of Wu Liang, saying, I'm currently training. I don't need this to boost my vigor. Shen Dahua picked up a lamb skewer, saying, I only have one girlfriend to manage, so I don't need this either. Wu Liang retorted, you two think you're above this? You can't stop bragging, can you? Zhou Yuchen sighed. Summer insects cannot discuss ice. Just eat your fill, don't worry about us. Wu Liang shrugged, fine, I'll eat enough for all of us. Shen Dahua declared. No matter what, today marks a day of great victory. Come on, Zhou Kaishin, let us toast to you for giving us a second chance at life. Wu Liang echoed. I feel the same. The last debacle in the gold futures market left me embarrassed in front of my father, but now I can finally sing a victory tune. Cheers. Cheers. Zhou Yuchen raised his glass of draft beer, clinking it with the 2. All 3 down half a liter of beer in one go. Wu Liang picked up a kidney skewer, took a bite, and asked, Old Zhou, honestly, how much did you earn? Zhou Yuchen smiled. Guess. Shen Dahua extended a hand, declaring, at least this much. Wu Liang's eyes nearly bulged out as he exclaimed, 500 million? Get lost. Shen Dahua retorted, over 10 billion, with a 5-fold leverage, yielding 500 million. What on earth were you thinking? Wu Liang incredulously replied, that amounts to 50 billion, doesn't it? Zhou Yuchen nodded and said, Dahua has calculated accurately. Indeed, it has generated over 50 billion. Coughing, Wu Liang nearly choked, hastily drinking some water to swallow it down. Lao Zhou, do you need a warm bed? I'm not afraid of the cold. It's absolutely fine, he said. Lao Zhou doesn't need you, Chun Dahua chuckled. Once the news is out, forget about those beauties. Even the starlets from the entertainment industry will be clamoring to keep Lao Zhou warm. Chapter 196. The issue of changing the child's surname, Zhou Yuchen remarked. I have 2 beauties at home, one older and one younger. That's more than enough. I don't need so many. Wu Liang said, dude, you're now wealthier than my father. If he ever claims I'm not ambitious, I'll just present you as evidence. After a lifetime in the hotel industry, he hasn't earned as much as we brothers Zhou. Shen Dahua asked, Lao Zhou, with all this money, haven't you considered buying a few sports cars for fun? Wu Liang's eyes lit up at the mention. Zhou Yuchen shook his head, saying, I don't fancy sports cars. Wu Liang inquired, then what do you like? Zhou Yuqing replied, I enjoy reading. Clap, clap. Both Wu Liang and Chen Dahua smacked their foreheads in disbelief. Lao Zhou, you truly lack any zest for life. Wu Liang teased. Suddenly shifting gears, he added, but I genuinely admire you. Come, let us toast. They clinked glasses and enjoyed skewers while engaging in idle chatter, relishing the moment. As time passed, more patrons filled the fatty barbecue restaurant. 2 hours later, Wu Liang was the first to succumb, leaning against Zhou Yuqing and falling into a deep slumber. Chen Dahua, his face flushed from drinking, pointed at Wu Liang and laughed heartily. Wu Liang, you're the vice president of a hotel. Isn't your tolerance a bit too weak? How embarrassing. Wu Liang, still somewhat conscious, muttered, you're the one who's embarrassing. Zhou Yuqing asked, Dahua, how did you get here? Chen Dahua pulled out his phone. I drove. I'll just get a designated driver. Wu Liang is in my charge. After making the call, Zhou Yuqing gave Chen Dahua a thumbs up. You used to have the worst alcohol tolerance. I didn't expect you to be the best now. Chen Dahua sighed. What can I say? Life demands it. By the way, Lao Zhou, have you heard? Sun Zhong is no longer the secretary to the tax commissioner. Zhou Yuqing nodded. I've heard. Chen Dahua continued. Last week, he got drunk and called me all night, claiming it's because of you that he was removed from his position. Zhou Yuqing chuckled. He refuses to take responsibility and shifts the blame to others. This Sun Zhong is simply laughable. If I were the leader, I wouldn't choose him as my secretary. Just considering his lack of tact would lead to countless troubles. Chen Dahua agreed. Exactly. Sun Zhong mentioned that your girlfriend is the daughter of a high-ranking official, also working at the tax bureau. Is that true? Zhou Yuqing did not shy away. It's true. Her name is Shun Jingyun. Her father has just been promoted to the 6th rank in Yunhai. We have a daughter named Xiaoya, which is also the origin of the name for our game company. Chen Dahua nodded eagerly. That is quite detailed. My goodness, Lao Zhou. You now possess both wealth and influence. I'll be counting on you to look out for us in the future. Zhou Yuqing laughed. Look out for you? Do you think this is the underworld? After a while, the designated driver arrived. Zhou Yuqing and Chen Dahua helped Wu Liang into the car. As they departed, Zhou Yuqing was about to ride his bicycle home when the owner of the fatty barbecue restaurant chased after him, calling out, Brother, you haven't paid yet. Zhou Yuqing paused, quickly apologizing. Sorry, I thought those two took care of it. Searching his pockets, he found only a credit card and 10 yuan in cash, feeling dismayed. Just as he was about to call Chen Dahua, the owner said, I can accept card payments here. Zhou Yuqing exclaimed with joy, That's wonderful. After settling the bill, Zhou Yuqing rode home, grumbling, These two really are unreliable. Achoo. In the taxi, Chen Dahua sneezed, wondering which rascal was cursing him. Upon returning home, Zhou Yuqing found Xiaoya just falling asleep. Shen Jingyun said, Tomorrow afternoon, Shi Yin is inviting us to my parents' place for dinner. Zhou Yuqing was taken aback. Can he cook? Shen Jingyun sighed. He hired a 5-star chef. He said the dishes would be delivered after they're prepared at the hotel. Zhou Yuqing chuckled. Your brother really knows how to stir things up. Shen Jingyun asked, Do you have time? Zhou Yuqing replied, Even if I didn't I'd have to go. He still owes me 50 million. No, 65 million. Shen Jingyun, initially intending to mention that Shun Shi Yin was planning to borrow another 100 million to buy gold futures, closed her mouth upon hearing his words, saying, You too can sort out your matters. Zhou Yuqing added, Dear, tomorrow I'd like to discuss with your father the matter of changing Xiaoya's surname. What do you think? He had previously mentioned establishing a trust fund for Xiaoya, initially set at 100 million, but now that Zhou Yuqing had money, he planned to raise it to 1 billion. Expecting to have to persuade Shen Jingyun, he was surprised when she readily agreed. No need to discuss with my father. Xiaoya is under my name. We can go directly to the Civil Affairs Bureau to change it. Zhou Yuqing, filled with joy, asked, You agreed? Shen Jingyun smiled. I agreed. Zhou Yuqing lifted her in excitement, exclaiming, Wife, I love you to bits. Shen Jingyun wriggled out of his embrace, pinching her nose. How much have you drunk? You smell like beer. Zhou Yuqing sniffed and chuckled. I'll go take a shower right away. 20 minutes later, after Zhou Yuqing emerged from the bathroom, he found Shen Jingyun in her study, working on Harry Potter. He poured a glass of water in the kitchen and brought it to her, asking, Wife, when will the first part be finished? Shen Jingyun replied, Today. What? Zhou Yuqing was taken aback. So soon? Shen Jingyun paused her typing and turned to him. I finished the first draft a while ago. I had my mom help me refine it, and now I'm on the second round. Zhou Yuqing gave her a thumbs up. Impressive. Shen Jingyun continued. My mom said Harry Potter is a novel with strong Western characteristics and should ideally be translated into English for publication in the West first. What do you think? Zhou Yuqing praised. A great professor indeed. Your insight is spot on. I was inspired by a Western fantasy novel to create this story, and my thoughts align perfectly with Aunt Dai's, first abroad, then at home. Shen Jingyun looked at Zhou Yuqing and said, The issue is, where do we find a translator? My English skills are only sufficient for everyday conversation. I surely can't manage written translation. Chapter 197. I want to buy a villa. Zhou Yuqin spread his hands and remarked, "Don't count on me. I'm even less capable. The publishers within the country possess top-tier translators, and Aunt Dai will undoubtedly help you find a reliable one. Money is not the issue. The translation must be precise, providing readers with an immersive experience, convincing them that by following the book's content, they too can become magicians." Shen Jingyan replied, "Your expectations are rather high." Zhou Yuqin countered, "If expectations were low, how could Harry Potter become a bestseller in the West? My dear, I have a premonition that this book may elevate you to the status of the world's most renowned female author." Shen Jingyan smiled gently, saying, "Such dreams I have long ceased to entertain." After a brief conversation, Zhou Yuqin excused himself, softly closing the door behind him. Shen Jingyan glanced back, a faint smile gracing her lips. Since their return from Zhenjiang, their bond had grown closer. Aside from the final step, they had engaged in all the activities that a married couple could partake in. Just moments ago, Zhou Yuqin had clearly wished to express affection. But upon noticing her sole focus on writing, he had quietly relinquished the notion. This was precisely what Shen Jingyan cherished about Zhou Yuqin, his unwavering respect for her. The following morning, after completing his workout, Zhou Yuqin was about to return home to prepare breakfast when he was called by Zhao Shenghua. "Are you planning to settle in Yindu?" "Why? Ian Zhang has been transferred to Yindu, and I no longer have any family in Yinhai. The children are worried, and they will come to pick me up today." "Then why did you choose to stay in Yinhai before?" "I am a native of Yinhai and have worked here for most of my life. Naturally, I did not wish to move elsewhere. Previously, I had Ian Zhang," which reassured the children. "Now that he is leaving, I too must follow." "What will happen to your house here?" "They will come to move my belongings this afternoon, and then the house will be sold. In truth, it is my daughter's house. I am merely a temporary occupant." "Why not sell the house to me then?" "To avoid the hassle? Don't you already own a property? Why buy another?" "I plan to purchase it for my parents. They are reluctant to live with us young folks, fearing they might disrupt our lives, so I thought it best to buy another unit in the same community. Last week, I checked with the agent and discovered that there are no other properties for sale in our community. Yours is likely the only one available. Since you wish to buy, when my daughter arrives, I shall have her sell it to you at a lower price. Please, let us stick to market value. I do not wish to take advantage of you, just as you do not wish to take advantage of me. We should proceed fairly." "Very well, as you wish. Mr. Zhao, I wish you good health and a carefree life in Yindu. And I wish you success in your ventures, and may you soon marry a beautiful wife." They both shared a hearty laugh. Upon returning home, Zhou Yuqin immediately set about preparing breakfast. Soon, the meal was ready, and Shen Jingyun emerged from the bedroom with little Yaya. During breakfast, Zhou Yuqin informed Shen Jingyun of his intention to purchase Mr. Zhao's house. "What is your budget?" she inquired. After sipping his milk, Zhou Yuqin replied, "I visited Zhangxiao last week and assessed that Mr. Zhao's property is approximately 42 million yuan. The key issue is that it is listed but not sold. As long as it does not exceed 45 million, I will purchase it. Didn't you previously mention that Mr. Zhao's home is quite elegantly decorated? I fear that Zhou Qing may not appreciate it. Are you planning to renovate?" Zhou Yuqin replied without hesitation, "Indeed, the elegant decor may not suit someone like Zhou Qing, but it is perfect for my parents. My purpose in buying the house is to provide them with a place to stay in Yunhai. Zhou Qing's preferences are irrelevant." Shen Jingyun couldn't help but chuckle. "If Zhou Qing hears you say this, she will surely be upset. That is of no concern. I have already decided that the house will be under my parents' name. Once Yia graduates from kindergarten, I will gift this current home to Zhou Qing, and we shall purchase a villa." Shen Jingyun shot him a look, saying, "Annie was right. You are simply burning money. My dear, do you know why billionaires insist on living in grand villas?" Before Shen Jingyun could respond, Zhou Yuqin continued, "Firstly, for privacy. Once one becomes wealthy, many will seek to know you. Continuing to reside in a particular community would likely drive the property management and security teams into a frenzy. Secondly, for safety. A grand villa offers more rooms, allowing space for drivers, bodyguards, caretakers, and the like. Even in the event of an attack, one can effectively counter." Shen Jingyan laughed. "So, you believe you can become a billionaire?" Zhou Yuqin stated confidently, "Acquiring a fortune in the hundreds of billions is not difficult. It can be achieved in 2 to 3 years. My requirements for a villa are modest, a prime location, a minimum area of 5,000 square meters, and most importantly, a large lawn. During our leisure time, we can enjoy painting, playing soccer, and having barbecues on the lawn." Little Yaya's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Daddy, I love the big lawn." Zhou Yuqin gently stroked the little girl's hair, assuring her, "Sweetheart, I promise you will soon have a large lawn to play on." Yaya beamed with joy. Shen Jingyun furrowed her brow slightly. "Do you know how much such a villa would cost in Yunhai?" Zhou Yuqin chuckled. It's certainly 1T exceed 1 billion. Upon hearing this, Shen Jingyun was rendered speechless. Indeed, aside from a few unsellable garden villas, there had been no villas in Yunhai exceeding 1 billion to date. After dropping Yeya off at kindergarten, Zhou Yuchen visited both the Kunping mobile battery manufacturing plant and the Yuechen gaming company. The development of high-capacity mobile batteries had entered its final stages, expected to be completed within a week. Once the first battery was produced, further safety and stability tests would follow. As for the fast-charging technology, it had already been resolved last week. Theoretically, there were no issues. Experiments could only commence once the battery was successfully produced. During this time, Kunping Group had applied for over 30 patent technologies with domestic and international patent review departments, of which 12 had been approved, while the remaining 18 required more time. Zhou Yuchen merely reviewed the experimental progress, confirmed everything was in order, and then departed. However, he spent a longer duration at Yuechen Gaming Company. 3 game development teams were busy working on Plants vs. Zombies, Temple Run, and Honor of Kings. Zhou Yuchen knew he needed to stay closely involved in the early stages to address any arising issues promptly and provide directional guidance, ensuring that these 3 games, which had previously been immensely popular, did not deviate from their essence. Chapter 198. Discussions on buying a house. In addition to these 3 games, Zhou Yuchen had also tasked Hua Haiyang with leading a team of 60 to continue developing Casual Match 3, aiming to increase the number of levels from 2,000 to 6,000 within a year. To achieve this goal, Zhou Yuchen appointed Hua Haiyang as the general manager of Casual Match 3, overseeing game development, repairs, back-end operations, and raised his monthly salary by 15,000, causing Zhou Yu to feel envious. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Zhou Yuchen drove to Mr. Zhao's home and met his daughter, Zhao Xian. Zhao Xian, now in her mid-40s, possesses a piercing gaze and an imposing presence. If one were to encapsulate her essence in a single phrase, it would be that she stands as a woman of exceptional prowess, rivaling her male counterparts, a clear indication of her status as a business elite. Mr. Zhou, I have heard much about you from my father. I am sincerely grateful for your guidance in helping him practice martial arts, and for facilitating my rebellious son's training at the Yunhai military district, Zhao Xian remarked. Her tone, though courteous, resonated with a commanding authority that made refusal seem unthinkable. A figure reminiscent of Empress Wu Zetian, Zhou Yuchen silently acknowledged her presence with admiration before responding. Ms. Zhao, you need not be so formal. I understand your time is precious, so I shall be direct. I trust Mr. Zhao has conveyed my interest in purchasing this property. What are your thoughts on this matter? Zhao Xian, appreciating Zhou Yuchen's composed demeanor, replied, a month ago, the 9th floor of this building sold for 39 million. Given the current market conditions and the scarcity of resources, my asking price of 40 million should not be unreasonable. Additionally, you will be responsible for the transfer fees and other associated costs. Let us refrain from discussing that. Zhou Yuchen interjected, we have established our terms this morning, and I would prefer not to let trivial financial matters jeopardize our rapport. Very well, I will remain silent, Zhao Shengwu conceded. Witnessing her typically domineering father so readily acquiesce to Zhou Yuchen's authority sparked a flicker of surprise in Zhao Xian's eyes. Zhou Yuchen continued, Ms. Zhao, the market value for your property could easily range between 42 to 45 million. If you were to wait another 2 years, it could potentially reach 60 to 70 million. Are you certain you wish to sell it to me for 40 million? Zhao Xian greatly admired Zhou Yuchen's candor, stating, if granted 2 years, I am confident I could elevate this 40 million to 80 million. Or even 100 million. Zhou Yuchen smiled, understood. If you trust me, I can have my colleague assist with the necessary procedures. That would be acceptable, Zhao Xian replied. Earlier that morning, Zhou Yuchen had briefed Zhang Xia about the situation. The relevant agreements had already been prepared, and upon Zhou Yuchen's call, she arrived in a mere 15 minutes. Upon seeing Zhao Xian, Zhang Xia's eyes widened in astonishment as she exclaimed, Are you the esteemed Zhao from Xingyue Electric Company? Zhao Xian nodded. Indeed, I am Zhao Xian. Zhang Xia extended her hand, brimming with excitement. It is an honor to meet you, Ms. Zhao. I am Zhang Xia, an ardent admirer of yours. Xingyue Electric Company, the largest appliance manufacturer in Xia country, was founded by Zhao Xian during the nation's economic opening. Over 2 decades, it transformed from a modest seller of electric kettles into a colossal enterprise valued at over 300 billion, dominating 30% of the domestic market and exporting globally to Europe and America, a remarkable achievement. Zhou Yuchen had previously sensed a familiarity with Zhao Xian, and Zhang Xia's words finally illuminated the connection. It was no wonder she was indifferent to the millions at stake. For a magnate like Zhao Xian, time was the most valuable currency. Surprised to encounter a fan, Zhao Xian's demeanor softened considerably as she shook Zhang Xia's hand, smiling warmly. Hello, Zhang Xia. I appreciate your assistance. Zhang Xia hurriedly replied, it is my privilege. Zhou Yuchen cleared his throat. Zhao Xia, Ms. Zhao has limited time. It would be prudent to expedite the process. Of course, Zhang Xia responded, retrieving the 2 copies of the property sale agreement she had prepared earlier, presenting one to Zhou Yuchen and the other to Zhao Xian. After a brief review, Zhao Xian signed her name. Noticing Zhou Yuchen had not signed, Zhang Xia inquired, is something amiss? I wish to have the property registered under my parents' names. Ms. Zhao, how long will you be in Yunhai? Zhou Yuchen asked. I shall depart this afternoon, but I will leave my identification documents with the branch manager of Xingyue Group to handle the transfer, Zhao Xian replied. That is splendid. I will provide you with the payment, and tomorrow I will have my parents come by, Zhou Yuchen affirmed. Zhao Xian nodded, that works. From his bag, Zhou Yuchen produced a check for 40 million from Xia Country Commercial Bank, stating, Ms. Zhao, here is the sum, kindly accept it. Zhao Xian received the check. Glancing at it in astonishment, what is your occupation? To be able to present 40 million at once is no feat for an ordinary young man. Curiosity about Zhou Yuchen's background flickered in her eyes. Zhou Yuchen chuckled, I have recently embarked on an entrepreneurial journey, establishing a gaming company and a mobile battery manufacturing firm. Zhao Shengguo remarked, Zhao Xian, young Zhou surpasses you by leagues. In merely 3 months, he has transformed from a penniless individual to a billionaire, a remarkable feat, Zhou Yuchen. With a hint of exasperation, replied, Mr. Zhao, if you must praise me, I would appreciate a more measured choice of words. While I may have been financially challenged, I was not destitute. As for being labeled a billionaire, such a term feels like an affront to my aspirations. I cannot accept that moniker. Their laughter echoed in the room, and Zhao Xian couldn't help but smile at Zhou Yuchen's spirited retort. She discerned that the reason her father regarded Zhou Yuchen with such respect was not merely due to the young man's evident talent and abilities, but also because Zhou treated him as a genuine friend. This realization fostered a sense of fondness for Zhou Yuchen in Zhao Xian's heart. Zhang Min interjected, if that is the case, I must swiftly visit the Yunhai real estate office to retrieve the documents requiring signatures from Ms. Zhao. I will drive you there. Zhou Yuchen offered. No need, my car is parked below. Ms. Zhao, I am a tremendous admirer of yours. Could you please sign my notebook? Zhang Xia inquired eagerly. Zhao Xian smiled, of course. Chapter 199. Zhao Xian's admiration. Zhang Xia quickly handed her pen and notebook to Zhao Xian, who wrote the words work diligently. Forge ahead before signing her name. Thank you, Ms. Zhao. Zhang Xia beamed as she secured her notebook, leaving in high spirits. Zhou Yuchen addressed Zhao Shenghua and Zhao Xian. Is there anything else I can assist you with? Nothing to tidy up, Zhao Shenghua indicated, motioning to a box on the table. Xiao Zhou, in recognition of our acquaintance, allow me to present you with 2 bottles of our exclusive liquor. Exclusive liquor? Zhou Yuchen approached the table, retrieving a bottle devoid of labels. Mr. Zhao, this liquor is a rare treasure, and even wealth cannot procure it. However, I find myself at a loss for a suitable gift in return. Zhao Shenghua chuckled. The gift of Tai Chi 13 forms is the finest present you could offer me. Health is truly invaluable. Then I shall graciously accept, Zhou Yuchen replied. Zhao Xian found Zhou Yuchen to be an intriguing individual, prompting her to engage him in conversation. Initially, her tone carried an undertone of evaluation, but she soon found herself captivated by his insights. With the advantage of past memories, Zhou Yuchen's foresight regarding future business trends was unparalleled, particularly in the realm of technology. 100 Zhaozins could not match the acumen of Zhou Yuchen. Ultimately, Zhao Xian became a mere listener, occasionally interjecting her thoughts, while Zhou Yuchen dominated the discourse with his knowledge. Until Zhang Min returned with the relevant paperwork, Zhao Xian was momentarily lost in thought. She was astonished to realize that the two had conversed for 2 hours without her noticing the passage of time. After signing, Zhao Xian exclaimed, as the ancients say, a single conversation can surpass 10 years of study. Xiao Zhou, today you have bestowed upon me this profound experience for the first time. Zhou Yuchen chuckled, Sister Xian. What I just shared were merely my musings born of boredom. If they can offer you even a hint of inspiration, that would be splendid. Throughout their conversation, the formalities of Mr. Zhao and Mr. Zhou had transformed into a sibling-like camaraderie. Zhao Xian remarked, your musings are not far-fetched. They hold the potential to become reality. Xiao Zhou, would you consider working at Xingyue Group? I could offer you shares and appoint you as vice president. Zhou Yuchen replied, thank you for your esteem, but I am already overwhelmed with my own company and cannot take on another role. Zhao Shenghua interjected, Sister Xian, my precious daughter will soon finish school, so I must take my leave. Zhang Min added, let's head down together. Zhao Zong, the property transfer paperwork will be completed by tomorrow morning, so you need not worry. Zhao Xian waved her hand dismissively, saying, there's nothing to worry about. I'll see you both off. Personally escorting them to the elevator, she then returned. What do you think? My friendship with such a young talent is quite remarkable, isn't it? Zhao Shengwa said with pride. Remarkable is an understatement. This Xiao Zhou possesses exceptional abilities, talent, character, wisdom, insight, and a grand perspective. His future is undoubtedly limitless. At this point, Zhao Exine hesitated. A trace of bitterness crossing her lips. Father, do you realize? Seeing Xiao Zhou speak with such confidence and brilliance makes me feel utterly inadequate. How is it that, as a parent of a young adult in their 20s, the child I raised differs so greatly from him? Zhao Shen will console her. As long as that young man hones his skills in the military for a few years, I believe he will not fall short compared to Xiao Zhou. Zhao Exine rolled her eyes. Father, do you truly believe that? Zhao Shengwa chuckled awkwardly. Zhou Yuqin carefully placed the 2 bottles of premium liquor gifted by Zhao Shengwa into the trunk, then turned to Zhang Min and inquired, Zhang Min, is Sister Exine genuinely your idol, or were you merely trying to ingratiate yourself? Without hesitation, Zhang Min responded, of course, she is my idol. Zhao Zong epitomizes the strong woman. I have admired her since my sophomore year. No, admired is an understatement. I truly revere her. Zhou Yuqin shrugged, very well. I will bring my parents to the shop tomorrow, around 10 o'clock. After we finalize the paperwork, I will settle the agency fee with you. Zhang Min replied, no. You reached a private agreement regarding the transaction, which is entirely different from the previous property. I am merely helping as a friend. Accepting money would imply you think little of me. Recognizing Zhang Min's sincerity and that she was not merely being polite, Zhou Yuqin said, all right, I will accept your kindness. He continued, Zhang Min, your social skills are impressive. Have you considered seeking a different job? Zhang Min sighed. It's not that simple. Zhou Yuqin smiled. Is it that your expectations are too high? Zhang Min explained. As a small intermediary, I can earn at least 200,000 to 300,000 a year. While at a larger company, I would only make 12,000 to 13,000 at most. The key is that my time would be restricted, and I'd be subject to supervision. Zhou Yuqin countered, the real estate industry cannot remain prosperous forever if you do not seize the opportunity to enhance your skills during your prime years. Changing careers in 12 to 13 years, when the market has declined, may become quite difficult. A hint of bitterness appeared on Zhang Min's face as she admitted, if you had said this to me 2 weeks ago, I would have dismissed it. Now, I realize you are correct. I indeed need to find a legitimate job. Zhou Yuqin asked, what prompted such a significant change? Zhang Min confessed, my boyfriend of 4 years cheated on me, claiming I was unambitious and unable to keep pace with his progress. It's laughable when I think about it. He only recently started working and was earning far less than I was. This past year, after he received a promotion and tripled his salary, he began to look down on me. Later, I discovered he had attached himself to the daughter of a vice president. Zhou Yuqin reassured her. Recognizing a person's true nature before marriage is undoubtedly a blessing. Zhang Min paused, recalling Zhou Yuqin's experiences from 5 years prior. In that regard, I am indeed better off than you. At least that man did not land me in jail. Zhou Yuqin rolled his eyes, exasperated. Your words are rather cutting. Zhang Min, I have acquired a mobile phone battery manufacturing plant, and I expect to begin mass production of the latest battery model in about a month. If you're interested, I could offer you the position of deputy supervisor in the sales department, with a monthly salary of at least 20,000, plus 5 social insurances and a housing fund, with bonuses additional. Zhang Min, astonished, replied, old classmate, you can't be serious. Zhou Yuqin affirmed, I am not jesting. You possess the education, eloquence, and capability that are naturally suited for sales. There's no rush for your response. Take your time to consider it at home. Zhang Min understood the rarity of such an opportunity and nodded, saying, I will. Chapter 200. The admiration of others. Zhou Yuqin glanced at his watch and said, I must take my leave. I have to pick up my precious daughter. See you tomorrow. With that, he hurried into his car and drove out of the community, heading straight to the kindergarten. Despite his haste, he arrived 10 minutes later than usual. Little Yaya pouted, having not spoken a word from the classroom to the school gate, clearly expressing her discontent. Zhou Yuqin lifted little Yaya into his arms and said, all right, today it's my fault for not arriving on time to pick you up. How about this? Whatever you want, Daddy will buy it for you as an apology, okay? Little Yaya's eyes lit up as she immediately exclaimed, I want ice cream. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. Isn't that something Mommy forbids you from having? Little Yaya wriggled and began to plead, Daddy, my dear Daddy, please let me have just one. All my classmates have had some, and I don't even know what it tastes like. Zhou Yuqin relented, fine, but you mustn't tell Mommy. Understood. Daddy, I love you to bits. Little Yaya rejoiced, hugging Zhou Yuqin's head and showering him with kisses, making him laugh heartily. Once they were in the car, Zhou Yuqin took little Yaya to an upscale ice cream shop. Little Yaya chose a strawberry ice cream, while Zhou Yuqin opted for a mango flavor. They sat by the window, indulging in their delightful treats. Daddy, can I swap with you? Little Yaya asked eagerly halfway through. Zhou Yuqin agreed, and she beamed with joy. After finishing their ice cream, Zhou Yuqin took little Ye back to the community, where they played on the swings while waiting for Shen Jingyan. Tonight, Shen Shiyin was hosting a gathering at home, which would likely involve drinking, so Shen Jingyan insisted that Zhou Yuqin refrain from driving and offered to pick them up instead. While little Ye swung back and forth, Zhou Yuqin called his father, Zhou Qingjian, reminding him to bring his mother to handle the property transfer paperwork the following day. Upon learning that the property was priced at 40 million, Zhou Qingjian was taken aback, exclaiming, "You need to return that house immediately. Your mother and I cannot afford it." Zhou Yuqin remained calm. "Dad, I've already paid 40 million. How do you propose I return it?" Zhou Qingjian replied, "That's not right. Didn't you say the house was for your sister? How did it suddenly become for your mother and me?" Zhou Yuqin explained that the house's decor was somewhat antiquated and ill-suited for Zhou Qing. "In a couple of years, I plan to purchase a villa in Yunhai. By then, this apartment will be transferred to Zhou Qing's name, and she can renovate it as she pleases." Zhou Qingjian exclaimed, "You intend to buy a villa? Have you lost your mind?" Zhou Yuqin replied, "Father, once my net worth reaches hundreds of billions, residing in a bustling neighborhood will no longer be appropriate. Often, the ultra-wealthy have no choice but to inhabit standalone villas." Zhou Qingjian found his son's words amusing, remarking, "Your bravado seems to be growing." Zhou Yuqin casually stated, "Recently, the stock market has surged, and I made 5.8 billion. With my two companies, I'm not far from 100 billion. By the end of the year, I will undoubtedly become a centibillionaire." Zhou Qingjian could hardly believe his ears, asking, "Really?" Zhou Yuqin affirmed, "More genuine than pearls." Zhou Qingjian seemed to be processing this astonishing news and, after a moment, said, "Tomorrow, I'll take your mother over. If you're deceiving me, don't blame me for getting rough with you." Zhou Yuqin chuckled, "No problem. I have an appointment with my classmate in real estate before 10 in the morning." Zhou Qingjian acknowledged, "Understood." At the office of the education department in Zhenjiang, Zhou Qingjian put away his phone, still in a daze. His son had earned 5.8 billion, an amount that far exceeded his comprehension. "Old Zhou, you're not buying another house, are you?" asked the curious deputy section chief, Gui Yunshin, seated opposite him. Zhou Qingjian snapped back to reality, noticing that several colleagues were staring at him in shock. He had just mentioned 4 million and a villa on the phone, which had startled everyone. He sighed, "It's not me buying a house. It's my son who spent 40 million in Yunhai to purchase a home for the two of us." 40 million? Gui Yunshin gasped, "Is that true?" Zhou Qingjian felt an overwhelming sense of pride, though his face displayed a bitter expression as he said, "What would I gain by lying to you? He earns a bit and spends extravagantly. This kid is driving me up the wall." Gui Yunshin, of similar age, retorted, "We're taking out a loan for our kids to buy houses, yet your son is spending his money to buy you and your wife a home. And you're upset about it. Old Zhou, what gives you the right to be angry?" "Exactly. If I had a child like that, I'd be willing to live 10 years less," another colleague chimed in. "He just bought you a spacious apartment in Gueha, and now another in Yunhai. How do you educate your son? I'm envious to the point of despair." Just then, the director of the education department, Cui Yuan, walked in, asking, "What's all this commotion about?" Zhou Qingjian stood up, saying, "My apologies, Director Cui. I received a call regarding a family matter, which led to this stir." Cui Yuan chuckled. "Now I'm even more interested." Gui Yunshin explained, "Director, old Zhou's son spent 40 million in Yunhai to buy them a spacious apartment, and we're all quite astonished." Cui Yuan exclaimed, "A 40 million apartment? Old Zhou, your son is impressive." Zhou Qingjian replied, "He is just lucky and earned a bit of money." Director Cui, "I'd like to request a day off tomorrow to go to Yunhai for the transfer procedures." Cui Yuan said, "No problem. However, let us agree that you must invite us to Yunhai to see your new apartment when you have the chance. We'd love to have our eyes opened." Zhou Qingjian smiled, "Absolutely." Upon returning home, Zhou Qingjian shared the news with Su Xiaowan. Before she could respond, Zhou Qing pouted and expressed strong discontent towards Zhou Yuqin. Upon learning that Zhou Yuqin intended to gift her his apartment, Zhou Qing's expression brightened, and she praised him profusely, leaving Zhou Qingjian and Su Xiaowan speechless. Meanwhile, Shen Jingyan drove Zhou Yuqin and little Ye to the government housing complex. Given Zhou Qinggang's current rank, he could easily request a larger house. However, the elderly couple had grown accustomed to their current residence and had no intention of moving. As they exited the car, the trio was immediately captivated by a sleek red sports car parked downstairs. Zhou Yuqin remarked, "That's a Lamborghini Huracan, probably bought by your brother." Shen Jingyun, unfamiliar with cars, inquired, "How much does such a vehicle cost?" Zhou Yuqin replied, "After taxes and fees, roughly 30 million. 30 million? Shen Jingyun gasped. How could he afford such an expensive car with his earnings? Little Ye chimed in, "Mom, I think that car is beautiful, though it's a bit low." Zhou Yuqin laughed. "Sweetheart, if you like it, we could buy one for our family. How about that?" Little Ye shook her head. "I prefer bigger cars. I want to be able to sleep inside." Zhou Yuqin affectionately patted her cheek, You're absolutely adorable. At that moment, Shun Chenggang returned home from work. Upon seeing the ostentatious sports car, his brow furrowed. Shin Jingyan asked, Dad, which of us do you think would like such a fast car with almost no safety? Shin Chenggang's gaze sharpened. Sure to? Shin Jingyan nodded. I suspect it's him. Shin Chenggang scolded. That rascal, once he makes a bit of money, he forgets his roots. Zhou Yuqin interjected. Uncle Shun, it's normal for young people to fancy sports cars. Shin Chenggang raised an eyebrow. You earn even more? Why don't you buy one? Zhou Yuqin shrugged. Perhaps I have an older mindset. I prefer larger, sturdier vehicles. Shun Jingyan playfully nudged him. Are you implying that my mindset is also old? Zhou Yuqin quickly replied. Not at all. My dear, in my eyes, you will always be synonymous with youth and beauty, akin to an ageless beauty. Shin Jingyan chuckled, playfully retorting, you are the true ancient one. Watching the two flirt with each other, Shin Chenggang's expression softened considerably. As a father, nothing brings more joy than witnessing his daughter's happiness. In the past few years, while Shun Jingyun had smiled brightly in front of her parents, Shin Chenggang, being perceptive, could see the underlying bitterness in her smile. However, ever since Zhou Yuqin entered her life, Shin Jingyun had noticeably brightened, her laughter becoming more cheerful, which greatly pleased Shin Chenggang. Grandpa, what's an ancient beauty? Little Yaya asked with wide, curious eyes. Shin Chenggang shot a stern look at the couple, picked up little Yaya, and said, that ancient beauty isn't a good thing. Don't listen to your parents' nonsense. Grandpa bought a few goldfish. Let us go see them. Shall we? Little Yaya happily exclaimed. Okay. Ignoring Zhou Yuqin and Shin Jingyun, the elder and the child headed upstairs. Zhou Yuqin and Shin Jingyun exchanged a glance, both smiling faintly. Upon entering the house, Shin Chenggang led Xiaya to admire the goldfish swimming in the bathtub. He completely disregarded Shin Shiyan, who had come over to greet him, leaving Shin Shiyan utterly perplexed, unable to fathom what had provoked such indifference. When he noticed Zhou Yuqin and Shin Jingyun arriving, Shin Shiyan quickly inquired, Sister, what's wrong with Dad? Shin Jingyun smiled and replied, Is the red sports car parked downstairs yours? Shin Shiyan, brimming with pride, declared, Indeed. I sold all my stocks this morning and went straight to the Lamborghini dealership this afternoon to pick up this beauty. What do you think? Handsome, right? If you like it, I could get one for you too. With that, he cast a glance at Zhou Yuqin. Zhou Yuqin understood that Shun Shiyan was insinuating his reluctance to spend money on Shun Jingyun's behalf, and he inwardly thought, how juvenile. Nonetheless, it was commendable that Shun Shiyan, after earning money, thought of buying a car for his sister. Shun Jingyun responded, All right, when I want a sports car in the future, I will come to you. Your brother-in-law mentioned that your car is called the Lamborghini Lightning, worth a staggering 30 million. Is that true? Hearing his daughter's words, Shin Chenggang's ears perked up. Daiwan, who had just emerged from the kitchen, gasped, 30 million? Is that car really worth that much? Shin Shiyan became even more boastful, stating, to be precise, it is 35 million. Fool. Zhou Yuqin discerned that although Shin Shiyan was quite intelligent, his emotional intelligence was alarmingly low. Not only did he fail to grasp the reason for Shun Chenggang's displeasure, but he also flaunted his newly purchased sports car in front of everyone, leaving them speechless. Shin Chenggang coldly remarked, Shin Shiyan, return the car tomorrow. Shin Shiyan, taken aback, asked why. Shin Jingyun, concerned about a potential conflict between father and son, slapped Shin Shiyan on the head and said, Dad is a senior official in the Yunhai city government, and you're parading around in a sports car worth over 30 million. If someone with ill intentions reports you, not only will Dad face scrutiny from the disciplinary committee, but our entire family will become a laughingstock online, subject to ridicule and scorn. Shin Shiyan shouted, Why should I? I earned this money through my own efforts. What does it have to do with Dad? Shun Jingyun countered, The issue is, can you explain yourself clearly? If something goes wrong, what channel will you use to clarify? Who will listen? Shin Shiyan was momentarily dumbfounded and said, What should I do then? I've already bought the car. I can't just return it. Daiwan insisted, Sure to. This matter is extremely serious and concerns the future of the Shin family. No matter how much you lose or what method you use, you must get rid of the car. Shin Shiyan glanced at Shin Chenggang, who scolded, What are you looking at me for? Couldn't you have thought things through before buying the car? Shin Shiyan protested. Then why can some children of government officials drive sports cars? Shin Chenggang retorted, If they get caught, do you want to join them? Shin Shiyan was immediately rendered speechless. Shin Jingyun asked, Sure to. If you return the car, will you lose a lot of money? Shin Shiyan, with a forlorn expression, replied, At least 5 to 6 million. Shin Jingyun slapped her forehead in exasperation and said, I'm truly exasperated with you. How about I ask our department head to help? Zhou Yuqin calmly interjected. I think it's best not to let anyone know to avoid causing a stir. How about this? I find that car quite appealing, so just sell it to me. Shin Jingyun was taken aback. What do you need the car for? Zhou Yuqin smiled. When Zhou Qing gets her driver's license, I want to give her this car. Chapter 202. Shen Shiyan's arrogance. Shen Shiyan asked, how much will you offer? Zhou Yuqin raised an eyebrow and said, I'll give you 32 million. Transfer the car to me. What do you say? Shen Shiyan exclaimed. That means I'd be losing over 300,000. Zhou Yuqin, you're quite the businessman. Zhou Yuqin replied. There's a saying in Hong Kong cinema. When you're out there, you must acknowledge your mistakes and stand tall when facing consequences. You're studying finance, so you should understand this principle well. Don't be surprised by 300,000. Sometimes, a misjudgment can lead to losses of 3 billion. Shiyan, give me a clear answer. Will you sell or not? Shen Shiyan indignantly replied, I'll sell, but I need cash. Zhou Yuqin said, that's not feasible. You can afford a 32 million car, which means you've made a considerable profit in the stock market. I previously lent you 50 million, and according to our agreement, you were supposed to return 65 million. Now you only need to return 33 million. Shen Shiyan shook his head, saying, I only have a few million on hand. I can't pay you. Zhou Yuqin asked, where's your money? Shen Shiyan explained, after cashing out from the stock market, I leveraged 5 times to invest in gold futures, totaling 18 billion. Zhou Yuqin remarked, 18 billion must be all your funds, right? So how did you acquire the car downstairs? Shen Shiyan confidently stated, through commercial loans. Zhou Yuqin couldn't help but chuckle. So you're saying you're confident that the profits from gold futures will exceed the interest from commercial loans? But here's the question. Why the rush to buy a car? Why not use that 32 million in commercial loans to invest in gold futures? Once you sell the gold futures, it wouldn't be too late to buy the car, right? Shen Shiyan scoffed. What do you know? A car is a man's business card. In a few days, it's Yo-Yo's birthday, and everyone attending her party is affluent. Their vehicles are all top-tier luxury cars. If I don't want to lose face, I must arrive in a luxury car. Zhou Yuqin asked, Isn't my car suitable? Shen Shiyan disdainfully replied, a car worth just over 300,000 is hardly a luxury car. Don't be ridiculous. Well, that was a blow to his ego. Zhou Yuqin felt utterly speechless. Finally unable to contain his frustration, Shen Chenggang interjected, what do you consider a luxury car? Is it 100 million or 1 billion? I see it clearly now. You're getting a bit too conceited. You've made a little money and let it go to your head. Do you even remember your surname? Shen Jingyun chimed in. Dad, it's quite impressive that Shirtu has earned so much at his age. Shen Chenggang sneered. Without Xiao Zhou lending him 50 million, would he have made so much? Shen Shiyan pouted, ready to retort, but Daiwan silenced him with a look. Turning to Shen Chenggang, she said, Old Shun, regardless, Shirtu's investment success is undeniable. He made in 2 weeks what we could hardly earn in a lifetime. That is a fact. Yes, Shirtu's decision to buy the car was somewhat impulsive, but he has recognized the issue and agreed to sell the car to Xiao Zhou. If this were in the past, do you think Shirtu would have so readily agreed? Shen Jingyan concurred, Mom is right. Dad, Shirtu has indeed changed a lot. Hearing the words of the mother and daughter, Shen Chenggang sighed and said, pride comes before a fall. I fear his arrogance may lead to total loss. Shen Shiyan confidently declared, Dad, you needn't worry. I'm not a novice in the financial market. I know when to cut my losses. Zhou Yuqin cleared his throat and said, Uncle Shun, today old Zhao gifted me a bottle of wine, claiming it was a special supply. I've never seen anything like it. Could you take a look? Shen Chengang's eyes lit up, and he quickly asked, where's the wine? Shen Jingyun pointed to a bottle she had placed on the shoe rack and exclaimed, it can't be this, can it? Shen Chenggang swiftly picked up the wine bottle for examination, stating, special supply wine has no labels, only the weight indicated on the cap. Look, it says 12 Jin. Shen Shiyan was quite intrigued by the exclusive liquor and leaned in for a closer look, exclaiming, indeed, father. What rank must one attain to be allocated such a fine spirit? Shen Chenggang replied, at least a ministerial level or higher. Huh. Today we are fortunate to share in Xiao Zhou's generosity. Zhou Yuqin chuckled, Uncle Shun, it would be best for you to keep it for yourself and savor it slowly. I lack any discernment when it comes to liquor. To me, 100 yuan bottle tastes the same as one that costs 10. If you give it to me, it would simply be a waste. Shen Chenggang showed no hesitation, saying, very well, I shall store it away. Daiwan reproached him, you really have no shame. Shen Chenggang retorted confidently, he has taken my precious daughter. Is it wrong for me to accept a bottle of wine from him? Daiwan replied, all right. Just put it away. Half an hour later, dishes prepared by a 5-star hotel chef were delivered. The group gathered to dine. Shen Chenggang tasted a few dishes, shook his head, and remarked, this is not as delicious as what Xiao Zhou makes. Shen Shiyan, exasperated, said, Father, can you not be so critical? Daiwan added, indeed. Today's meal is a gesture of kindness from Shirtu, and you still find fault. How annoying. Shen Chenggang chuckled. All right, I shall refrain from speaking. Xiao Zhou, please propose a toast. Sure, Zhou Yuqin lifted his glass and proclaimed, I propose a toast to celebrate Comrade Shen Shiyan for splendidly winning his first battle back in Yanhai. May he build upon this foundation and achieve even greater victories in the future. Daiwan joyfully exclaimed, Xiaozhou truly knows how to speak. Cheers. Everyone raised their glasses and downed their drinks. Shen Shiyan, brimming with excitement, recounted his recent stock market exploits in vivid detail, lamenting, Zhou Yuqin. If only you could have lent me all the funds from the Turcoin, I could have earned at least an additional 1 or 2 billion. Zhou Yuqin smiled and replied, Actually, that 50 million was transferred from my account at the gaming company, not from Turcoin. Shen Shiyan slapped his thigh, then you are the one at a loss. Turcoin plummeted by 15% yesterday and another 7% today. You must have lost at least 50 to 60 million. Upon hearing this, Shen Qinggang, Daiwan, and Shen Jingyun all turned to Zhou Yuqin. With an air of calmness, Zhou Yuqin stated, Before Turcoin's price rises to $50,000, I will only buy and not sell. Shen Shiyan gasped, $50,000? Are you joking? Chapter 203. Did you earn over 5 billion? A glimmer of wisdom flickered in Zhou Yuqin's eyes as he asked, Shiyan, what do you believe is the essence of Turcoin? Shen Shiyan pondered for a moment and replied, A virtual currency that can replace the US dollar. Zhou Yuqin shook his head. It may not be that simple. Turcoin is likely a financial tool that the Lighthouse Nation intends to utilize in the future with the ultimate goal of addressing the collapse of the dollar. Shen Shiyan's eyes widened. Are you joking? Zhou Yuqin smiled. This is merely my speculation. To validate it, I wish to take a gamble. Shen Shiyan inquired. How do we wager? Zhou Yuqin explained. I will maintain my Turcoin holdings at approximately 1% of the total amount, neither too high nor too low, so as not to affect Turcoin's future development. If my speculation is correct, Turcoin's price will soar, potentially exceeding $50,000, thereby creating a significant impact on global finance. At that time, I can sell my Turcoin and earn over $100 billion. Of course, if I am mistaken and Turcoin is banned, I would only lose a few billion at most. Investing a few billion yuan to potentially gain $100 billion seems a prudent gamble to me. Shen Shiyan gazed incredulously at the composed Zhou Yuqin, saying, You truly are mad. Zhou Yuqin shrugged. Perhaps I am also a genius. As individuals engaged in financial investment, we must possess unwavering confidence in our judgment, even if it may be erroneous. And I trust my judgment. Shen Shiyan pressed. Then lend me a bit more money. Zhou Yuqin paused, bemused by Shen Shiyan's sudden request. The last time I lent you money was because I, like you, was optimistic about the stock market. However, this time I see no significant opportunities in gold futures, so I must decline. I will not lend you a single cent. Shen Shiyan scoffed. If you are so optimistic about the stock market, why not buy stocks? Zhou Yuqin was taken aback. I have, and I did so even earlier than you. Uncle Shen, didn't you inform him? Shen Qinggang replied, I am not a gossip. Why would I mention that? Zhou Yuqin turned to Shen Jingyun. Did you know? Shen Jingyun shook her head. Neither you nor father told me. How would I know? Zhou Yuqin smiled. I thought everyone was aware. Shen Qinggang remarked, Sure too. Do not think that earning $1 billion is impressive. This gentleman beside you is a master of financial investment. He provided us with 5 stocks from the police department, and the majority of the officers invested, resulting in substantial profits. Do you know how much he himself purchased? Shen Shiyan asked, How much? Shen Qinggang replied, 14 billion. 14 billion? Not only Shen Shiyan, but even Shen Jingyun appeared astonished. Shen Jingyun could not help but ask, Dear, have you already exited? Zhou Yuqin nodded. I exited yesterday afternoon. Shen Shiyan inquired. Then how much did you earn? Zhou Yuqin took a sip of tea and casually stated, Less than 60 billion. Shen Shiyan nearly choked on those words. Are you not exaggerating? Zhou Yuqin laughed. Like you, I also used 5 times leverage, bought earlier than you. So earning this amount should not be a challenge. Shen Shiyan stared blankly at Zhou Yuqin's calm demeanor, suddenly feeling rather inadequate. The man had earned nearly 60 billion, yet remained so low-key, while he himself was elated with his mere billion. In comparison, he felt utterly foolish. He turned to Shen Jingyun. Sister, your future husband is already a billionaire. Should I not be pleased? Shen Jingyun replied, I am very pleased. Shen Shiyan continued. But you seem a bit too composed, don't you think? Shen Jingyun gazed deeply at Shen Shiyan and said, What should I do then? Cry tears of joy. Shiyan, we pursue wealth to live better lives. Do not linger too long in the financial markets and become a slave to money, losing sight of what truly matters. Daiwan clapped her hands. That is well said. Zhou Yuqin remarked, Wife, I adore your carefree spirit. Hearing Zhou Yuqin call her wife in front of everyone, Shen Jingyun's face flushed, and she playfully scolded, Oh, stop it. Zhou Yuqin smiled and said, Uncle Shen, Aunt Dai, I wish to discuss something with you both. Shen Qinggang and Daiwan exchanged glances and asked in unison, What is it? Zhou Yuqin replied, I would like to change Xiaoya's name to Zhou Xinyue. Shin Chenggang waved his hand. This is a matter for you two to discuss. No need to inform us. Daiwan nodded, regardless of the surname. Xiaoye will always be my granddaughter. Zhou Yuchen raised his glass cheerfully, saying, Thank you, Uncle Shun. Thank you, Aunt Dai. Shin Chenggang and Daiwan both raised their glasses and clinked them with his. Daiwan took a sip of juice and inquired, Xiao Zhou, have you and Jingyan discussed your matters? Zhou Yuching replied, My intention is to obtain the marriage certificate and hold the wedding before the year ends. Of course, it also depends on Jingyun's wishes. Shun Jingyun interjected, Mom, could you please refrain from being so anxious? It's as if I would never find a husband. Daiwan responded, I worry that Xiao Zhou might be snatched away. By then, you won't find a place to cry. Zhou Yuching hastily assured, That is impossible. Aunt Dai, I swear that in this lifetime, Jingyun will be my only wife, and there will never be any third parties involved. Daiwan smiled and said, I believe you. Zhou Yuching continued, There is also something I need to address. I must visit Hong Kong soon to engage a reliable financial firm to establish a trust fund for Xiaoye. The initial plan was for 100 million, but unexpectedly, I now have over 6 billion in funds, so I intend to increase the limit to 1 billion, providing a security for Xiaoye's future. Shun Chenggang and Daiwan had yet to express their opinions when Shun Shiyan impatiently interjected, There is no need to rush on the trust fund matter. Just lend me that 1 billion. I guarantee to return 12 billion within a month. Zhou Yuching shook his head and replied, Both investment and entrepreneurship carry immense risks. No one can guarantee a win without losses. The purpose of establishing a trust fund for Xiaoye is to safeguard her future should I face failures in investment or business. Shiyan, I acknowledge your prowess as a top investor, yet you lack the temperament of one. It is simply impossible for me to entrust you with 1 billion for gold futures. Shun Shiyan retorted, You underestimate me. Chapter 204. The arrival of parents. Zhou Yuching fixed a deep gaze on him, stating, To earn respect, one must achieve results in the financial market. Tell me, what return do you anticipate from this gold futures investment? Are you aiming for short-term or long-term gains? Shin Shiyan confidently replied, 30%, within 3 months. Zhou Yuching furrowed his brow, saying, The gold futures market is vast. Even Western financial conglomerates cannot create significant fluctuations. On what grounds do you believe you can achieve a 30% return in 3 months? As a financial investment master, Zhou Yuching stood at the pinnacle of the industry. And if he could only gauge the super short-term trends of gold, Shun Shiyan was even less capable. Zhou Yuching pondered, wondering what gave him such confidence. Shun Shiyan's expression turned serious as he explained, The financial firm I previously worked for conducted a risk assessment and professional judgment on gold futures, and their results align with my own. Zhou Yuching remained silent for a moment before saying, If you can achieve a 20% return in 3 months, it would indicate your abilities surpass mine. I can invest 1 billion for you to assemble your own team. Shin Shiyan's eyes sparkled with excitement, asking, Are you serious? Zhou Yuching nodded, affirming, Of course. I possess over 6 billion in funds. Allocating 1 billion for Xiaoye and 1 billion for you poses no issue. Shiyan, I must be frank. I do not hold high hopes for your project, but I hope you can prove me wrong with the final results. Shin Shiyan raised his glass, brimming with confidence, and declared, You shall see. Zhou Yuching smiled, clinking glasses with him and downing the contents in one go. Shin Chenggang and Daiwan exchanged glances, saying nothing, allowing the two to wager. With Zhou Yuching present, even if Shun Shiyan lost, there would be no serious repercussions. Daiwan subconsciously hoped to witness Shun Shiyan's defeat, as she perceived her son as lacking a healthy respect for the market. If even Zhou Yuching could not guarantee success and had made preparations for Xiaoye, how could Shin Shiyan possess such unfounded confidence? Daiwan believed that only through a painful lesson could Shun Shiyan be transformed. After enjoying a hearty meal, Zhou Yuching and his family returned home. On the way, Shin Jingyun asked, When will you go to Hong Kong? Within half a month. I need to finalize this before the successful development of the phone battery, Zhou Yuching replied. Suddenly, he had a thought and asked, Wife, have you ever been to Hong Kong? Shin Jingyun shook her head, saying no. Zhou Yuching proposed, Could you take a leave of absence so we can take Xiaoye to Hong Kong for a few days? Shin Jingyun appeared somewhat tempted, responding, Then you need to confirm a specific date, and I will ask my supervisor for leave. It should be fine. Zhou Yuching snapped his fingers, saying, Great. Having listened to their conversation, Xiaoye perked up, asking, Daddy, what kind of place is Hong Kong? Is it fun? Zhou Yuching replied, It is not only fun but also filled with delicious food. Xiaoye exclaimed joyfully, That's wonderful. I want to go to Hong Kong. Shin Jingyun, driving ahead, glanced at her father and daughter through the rearview mirror, a hint of a happy smile gracing her lips. The following morning, Zhou Yuching dropped Xiaoye off at school before hastily heading to the highway exit. Zhou Qing was focused on practicing driving and did not accompany them. In an era without navigation, Zhou Yuqing worried that his parents might struggle to find the place, so he came along. After waiting for about 20 minutes, Zhou Qingjian's car slowly emerged from the highway, coming into view. Zhou Yuqing waved to the vehicle, confirming that his father had seen him before he climbed into the car, escorting them to Lijiang Garden. Half an hour later, Zhou Yuqing parked in front of Zhang Xia's real estate agency. Zhou Qingjian and Su Xiuwan exited the vehicle. Zhou Yuqing, anxious to avoid any grievances from Su Xiuwan, quickly remarked, "The time is right. We must hurry to handle the transfer procedures. You have brought your documents, right?" Su Xiuwan, seemingly aware of Zhou Yuqing's apprehensions, shot him a glare, stating, "They're all in my bag." Zhou Yuqing chuckled, "Then let us proceed." Upon entering the office and meeting Zhang Xia, Zhou Yuqing introduced, "Mom and Dad, this is my university classmate Zhang Xia. You will be following her guidance from here on." "Hello, Uncle and Aunt," Zhang Xia greeted politely. Su Xiuwan replied, "Zhang, we will trouble you today." Zhang Xia smiled. "It's no trouble. It will only take 2 hours." Zhou Yuqing added, "Zhang Xia, I need to make a trip to the bank shortly. I will entrust my parents to you. After the transfer is complete, please take them to Longhu Hotel. I have reserved a table there for us to have a meal together." Zhang Xia asked, "The hotel owned by the Wu family?" Zhou Yuqing nodded, "Yes." Zhang Xia affirmed, "No problem. Uncle, Aunt, let us set off." "All right." Zhou Qingjian and Su Xiuwan followed Zhang Xia to the housing authority, while Zhou Yuqing headed to Xiaogua Commercial Bank. This time, Chen Xingyang personally attended to Zhou Yuqing. "Xiao Zhou, you are truly impressive. I now regret not having joined Dehua to trade stocks with you," he remarked. Zhou Yuqing smiled, responding, "Uncle Chen, you flatter me. I merely had good fortune." Observing that Zhou Yuqing had not changed his demeanor despite amassing over 50 billion, maintaining his previous humility and composure, Chen Xingyang held him in even higher regard, remarking, "Your greatest flaw is your excessive modesty. Dehua has benefited greatly from your influence this time, amassing a significant fortune." Chen Dehua remarked, "Lao Zhou, I am planning to purchase a property next week. What do you think?" Without hesitation, Zhou Yuqing replied, "Of course, it's a splendid idea. If you have the means, you might as well acquire several in prime locations. I predict that the real estate prices in Yunhai City will experience a substantial increase in the coming years. The more desirable the location, the faster the appreciation." Chen Dehua raised an eyebrow and inquired, "Are you suggesting that I should pay only the down payment and buy as many as I can? Then, after 2 years of skyrocketing prices, I can sell them?" Zhou Yuqing nodded affirmatively. Chen Dehua then asked, "Aren't you considering purchasing any?" Zhou Yuqing chuckled, "That depends on luck. If a suitable community arises, I might directly buy several buildings. While I do not intend to delve deeply into the real estate sector, it does not preclude me from amassing a portfolio of properties in luxurious areas of major cities. Eventually, I would only need to pay the down payment and settle the bank loan over a few years, effortlessly reaping profits in the tens or even hundreds of millions." Chen Dehua gave a thumbs up, exclaiming, "That's quite bold. Lao Zhou, I shall heed your advice and buy several properties. But I must insist that if I struggle to repay the loan, you must assist me." Zhou Yuqing replied, "No problem." Chapter 205. Repayment. Seeing the camaraderie between his son and Zhou Yuqing, Chen Xingyang was pleased and asked, "Xiao Zhou, how do you plan to manage this capital?" Zhou Yuqing responded, "I need to take 10 billion to Hong Kong soon to set up a trust fund for my precious daughter. The remaining funds will be temporarily deposited in the bank. After some time, I intend to establish an investment company." Chen Xingyang gestured towards Chen Dehua and suggested, "How about letting this young man be your client manager?" Without a moment's thought, Chen Dehua replied, "I refuse." Chen Xingyang furrowed his brow, questioning, "Why not?" Chen Dehua explained, "If I become Lao Zhou's client manager, I would feel diminished whenever I meet him. How could I boast about my exploits while dining out?" Chen Xingyang immediately grasped Chen Dehua's intention, realizing he wished to keep their brotherly bond free from business entanglements. When did this lad become so astute? Chen Xingyang silently praised him and said, "Then it's up to you." Zhou Yuqing smiled, "Uncle Chen, please just find me a client manager. I need access to these funds at any time. I will not make any investments." Chen Xingyang nodded, "Very well." Soon, Zhou Yuqing met his client manager, Ling Yan. Ling Yan was a stunning beauty in her late 20s, tall with an exquisite demeanor. While she may not surpass Shen Jingyan in beauty, she certainly scored above 90. "Mr. Zhou, hello. Here is my business card. Should you require anything, feel free to call me. I will be at your service 24 hours a day." Clients like Zhou Yuqing, with fortunes in the billions, typically do not fall into the hands of ordinary staff. If not for Ling Yan being the niece of Chen Qinyang's current wife, it would have been improbable for Chen Qinyang to introduce Zhou Yuqing to her. Noticing Ling Yan appeared somewhat nervous, Zhou Yuqing reassured her, "No need to be anxious. Miss Ling, please assist me in repaying the 10 billion loan along with interest to the bank. Do not touch the remaining funds. I have other plans for them." "Understood. I will handle it immediately." After Ling Yin Air departed, Chen Dehua cautioned, Lao Zhou, Ling Yin Air is my cousin. You must not harbor any ill intentions towards her. Zhou Yuchen shot him a glance. In this world, apart from my wife, no other woman captures my attention. Chen Dehua chuckled. When will you introduce us to your esteemed leader? Zhou Yuchen replied, you will meet her at noon today. Yesterday, I purchased a property for my parents at Lijiang Garden, and Zhang Xia is currently assisting them with the transfer. I asked Wu Liang to reserve a table at Longhu Hotel for a meal with Zhang Xia, and my wife will also be there. Are you free to join us? Not a chance. Chen Dehua shrugged. I have to work. Chen Qinyang interjected. Dehua, I have approved your leave. You need not come in this afternoon. Chen Dehua laughed. Dad, aren't you abusing your power? What do you mean by abusing power? Chen Qinyang retorted, Mr. Zhou Yuchun is our bank's most important client. As a representative, you accompanying him for a meal is certainly official business. After 2 years in the banking system, how can you still be so rigid? Chen Dehua reluctantly conceded. All right, I admit it. Compared to you, I do appear somewhat naive. Zhou Yuchun patted his shoulder. In the banking system, there are countless clever individuals who know how to navigate the waters. Yet it is often the honest and straightforward ones who instill genuine trust in clients. I believe the phrase great wisdom appears like folly aptly describes the banking sector. After pondering for a moment, Chen Dehua asked, are you complimenting me or criticizing me? Zhou Yuchen chuckled, if you cannot even decipher my words. I am truly in awe of you. Ling Yin Air's efficiency was remarkable. Within just 10 minutes, she completed Zhou Yuchen's repayment procedure. Zhou Yuchen expressed his gratitude, bid farewell to Chen Qinyang, and departed with Chen Dehua. Once they left, Ling Yin Air asked, Uncle, who is this Zhou Yuchen? Why is he so wealthy? During the repayment process, Ling Yin Air was astounded to discover that Zhou Yuchen's account held over 60 billion, nearly causing her to faint. Chen Qinyang explained, he is Dehua's classmate, without any significant background. Through sheer effort, he earned nearly 100 billion xia yuan in less than 4 months. He is a true financial genius. The mobile games you young people enjoy, such as Angry Birds, were developed by his company, Yuchen Games. Ling Yin Air covered her mouth, incredulous. He earned nearly 100 billion in less than 4 months? That is simply remarkable. Chen Qinyang advised, so you must seize this opportunity to cultivate a good relationship with him. Zhou Yuchen's future is limitless. Ling Yin Air inquired, Uncle, I noticed Mr. Zhou and Dehua share a strong bond. Why not let Dehua serve as his client manager? Chen Qinyang chuckled. Dehua wishes to keep his friendship with Zhou Yuchen free from any business entanglements. He is quite astute to maintain such a friendship. Ling Yin Air nodded, her eyes revealing a hint of intrigue. After leaving Xiagua Commercial Bank, Zhou Yuchen and Chen Dehua drove directly to Longhu Hotel. Upon arriving at noon, as Zhou Yuchen stepped out of the car, Chen Dehua seized his arm, pointing at a woman ahead, exclaiming, Lao Zhou, look, a stunning beauty. Zhou Yuchen glanced over and immediately recognized the stunning beauty as his wife, Xin Jingyun. How did you discern her beauty? Zhou Yuchen asked. Just a fleeting glance allowed me to see her face. Goodness, I swear, I have never encountered a woman so beautiful, Chen Dehua responded. Is that true? I must see just how beautiful she is, Zhou Yuchen declared, sprinting towards her. Chen Dehua, left bewildered, thought to himself, has this fellow become so arrogant after acquiring wealth? Just then, an even more astonishing event unfolded. After catching up to the beauty, Zhou Yuchen boldly wrapped his arm around her shoulder and leaned in to plant a kiss on her cheek. What the heck? Lao Zhou, what are you doing? Chen Dehua shouted, rushing forward. He was apprehensive that the beautiful woman might report him, mistaking Zhou Yuchen for a rogue. Admittedly, Zhou Yuchen's demeanor did indeed resemble that of a scoundrel. Before he could approach them, Chen Dehua noticed that the stunning woman had linked her arm with Zhou Yuchen's, and they both turned to smile at him. In an instant, Chen Dehua realized that the two were acquainted. Chapter 206, Plagiarism of Ideas. Old Zhou. Are you pulling my leg? Zhou Yuchen chuckled. Allow me to introduce you. This is my wife, Xin Jingyun. My dear, this is my close friend from the dormitory, Chen Dehua. Chen Dehua promptly greeted her. Sister-in-law, nice to meet you. Xin Jingyun's lips curled into a slight smile as she replied, hello. I've often heard my husband speak of his 2 brothers, one named Chen Dehua and the other Wu Liang. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. Chen Dehua scratched the back of his head and laughed. I hope I haven't disappointed you too much. Xin Jingyun shook her head and said, not at all. You match my expectations. However, to be completely honest, I find you far more handsome than my husband. Zhou Yuchen, feeling disgruntled, retorted, wife. What kind of eyesight do you have? Chen Dehua chimed in. I think sister-in-law's judgment is quite good. She sees accurately. Zhou Yuchen scoffed. You truly have no self-awareness. As the three continued their conversation, they entered the hotel lobby. Wu Liang had been waiting inside and immediately approached them. Wow, old Chen. Please tell me this celestial beauty is not your girlfriend. Wu Liang exclaimed dramatically. In truth, it was no surprise that Chen Dehua, and Wu Liang were astonished. Shen Jingyun was undeniably stunning today. She wore a form-fitting purple gown that perfectly accentuated her alluring curves, as if the dress had been tailor-made for her. Her long, lustrous black hair cascaded gracefully over her shoulders, and her exquisite features resembled a masterfully crafted work of art, breathtakingly beautiful. Most captivating were her gentle, yet cool eyes, radiating both warmth and an air of aloofness and pride. Coupled with her noble and elegant demeanor, she could only be described as a beauty capable of captivating nations. Zhou Yuqing chuckled. Correct answer. This is my wife, Shen Jingyun. Shen Jingyun greeted Wu Liang. Hello. Wu Liang slapped his forehead and joked, I'm feeling quite unwell now. What kind of eyesight do you have to choose him? Zhou Yuqing laughed. My wife possesses discerning eyes, Wu Liang. Have my parents and Zhang Xiao arrived? Wu Liang replied. They've been here for half an hour. Come, let me take you to them. Soon enough, the four made their way to the peony hall on the second floor. Zhou Qingjian, Su Xiuwan, and Zhang Xia immediately stood up. Uncle, Aunt, I sincerely apologize for our tardiness, Shen Jingyun said as she took Su Xiuwan's hand. Su Xiuwan smiled. Jingyun, we will be in Yanhai for the next few days, so there will be plenty of opportunities to meet. You need not come all this way. What if it disrupts your work? Shen Jingyun replied. Our workplace can be extremely busy or quite idle. It won't affect my duties. Zhou Yuqing added, wife. That beautiful woman is my classmate, Zhang Xia. She assisted in handling the housing matters today. Shen Jingyun turned to Zhang Xia, smiling. I've known Zhang Xia for quite some time. She introduced me to the apartment in the Mingda community. Zhou Yuqing expressed his surprise. What a coincidence. Zhang Xia giggled. Indeed, it is fate. A girl like Jingyun is unforgettable once met, regardless of gender. I remember vividly when she first came to my shop with a child, and I wondered which fortunate man could marry such an exquisite goddess and have a child with her. I never imagined that this lucky man would be you. Zhou Yuqing laughed heartily. What can I say? I am simply too charming. Ugh, both Wu Liang and Chun Dahua groaned in unison. Laughter erupted in the private room. Soon, the food and drinks were served, and everyone began to eat. After several rounds of drinks and dishes, Wu Liang suddenly asked, Old Zhou, how is your game Leisure Elimination performing? Zhou Yuqing replied, it's doing well. Leisure Elimination has reached 300 million downloads worldwide, with about 300,000 people willing to spend money on in-game purchases, which is merely 1,000th of the total. A significant portion of these players are from Europe and America. Even so, it generates around 10 million in daily revenue, making it a formidable presence in the gaming industry of Xia country. Many advertisers have already reached out to the company. After discussions with Zheng and others, we've decided to offer 3 advertising slots, each with a maximum duration of 15 seconds to avoid upsetting the players. Wu Liang continued, Old Chun, I heard something that I think you should know. Zhou Yuqing inquired, what is it? Wu Liang explained, last night, a group from Hello Game Company was at the hotel drinking, and as I passed by their private room, I overheard them mentioning Leisure Elimination. It seems that Hello Game Company is also set to release a similar game on the platform. They explicitly stated that it was designed referencing Leisure Elimination. Upon hearing this news, Zhou Yuqing's brow furrowed. There are 5 download platforms for games in Xia country, and Hello Communications platform is one of them. The other 4 platforms agreed to provide downloads for Leisure Elimination, but Hello's platform had categorically refused without hesitation, no matter how much Zheng and others tried to persuade them. Now, Zhou Yuqing understood. It seemed that Hello Communication intended to release a similar game. The problem is that Leisure Elimination had only been online for less than 2 weeks. How could they possibly have developed a matching elimination game so quickly? There could only be one explanation. During the development period at Yuechen Game Company, Hello Communication had learned about his concept. Shen Jingyun gently patted his hand, bringing Zhou Yuqing back to reality. Noticing everyone was looking at him, he quickly apologized. Sorry, I was lost in thought for a moment. Chen Dahua remarked, Old Zhou, if Hello Game Company truly releases an elimination game, won't that have a significant impact on you? Zhou Yuqing nodded. Indeed, it will have a tremendous impact. After Leisure Elimination launched, I anticipated that other game companies would scramble to imitate it, but it would take at least 2 to 3 months for them to release anything. By that time, Leisure Elimination would have garnered countless loyal fans, making its position difficult to shake. Never did I expect that less than half a month later, Hello Game Company would launch an elimination game. Shen Jingyun, puzzled, asked, is game development really that easy? They succeeded in just half a month? Zhou Yuqing replied, plagiarism. They must have stolen my idea in advance. Chen Dahua indignantly exclaimed. Even Hello Game Company, the leading domestic gaming firm, resorts to plagiarism. How shameless. Chapter 207, Stock Market Crash. Zhou Yuqing stated, there's nothing to be done. Elimination games are too easy to imitate, even if they didn't know the substantive content beforehand. As long as someone provides a simple explanation and they change the skin, it becomes quite easy to develop. Shen Dahua questioned, so what should we do? Should we sue them? Zhou Yuqin smiled and said, we possess no evidence. Suing them would bear no fruit. However, Hello Game Company has miscalculated a crucial aspect. This game's success hinges not on domestic players, but rather on international ones. While domestic gamers are quite willing to spend on large-scale online games, those inclined to invest in casual games are far fewer. Over 80% of the revenue from casual Match 3 derives from foreign players. Shun Jingyun inquired, what if Hello Game Company were to launch the game internationally? Zhou Yuqin displayed a disdainful expression and remarked, Hello is quite renowned domestically, but who knows them abroad? After 7 years of existence, they have yet to develop a single blockbuster game that has gained traction internationally, confining themselves to domestic play. I feel embarrassed for them. The reason casual Match 3 became a sensation on foreign platforms is due to the influence of titles like Fruit Ninja and Angry Birds, with no standout games to their name internationally. The majority of players haven't even heard of Hello. If they were to release a game similar to casual Match 3, it would undoubtedly end in failure. Shen Jingyan shot him a glance and said, if you wish to boast about yourself, just say it outright. Why beat around the bush? Zhou Yuqin chuckled. I am merely speaking the truth. As they dined, the stock market in Xia country underwent a dramatic reversal, akin to a waterfall cascading from 5,800 points to 5,000, only to rebound to 5,100. Countless investors were left bewildered. By the time Zhou Yuqin and his companions had finished their meal, the market plummeted once more, piercing through 5,000 points to land at 4,800. Opening at 5,414 points, it closed at 4,803, a staggering drop of 113 points. Over 3,000 companies fell by 20%, hitting their limits, while the majority experienced declines exceeding 10%. In the final 15 minutes, investors scrambled to sell their stocks. Except for a few fortunate individuals who managed to escape unscathed, over 95% of investors found themselves trapped. Zhou Yuqin's earlier speculation proved accurate. The stock price of Wuliangya plummeted on the same day that Xia country's stock market crashed. However, this no longer held any relevance for Zhou Yuqin. After dining at Longhu Hotel, Shun Jingyan headed to work, while Zhou Yuqin drove Zhang Xia back to Li River Garden, with Zhou Qingjian and Su Xiaowan following in their vehicle. The elderly couple had completed their paperwork, but had yet to see the new home they had acquired. On the way, Zhang Xia asked, are you still serious about what you said yesterday? Zhou Yuqin raised an eyebrow. Have you made up your mind? Zhang Xia nodded. After over 2 years in real estate, I'm feeling a bit weary. A change in work environment might be beneficial for me. Zhou Yuqin smiled. It will certainly be a good thing. Sales is the most challenging field and the one that cultivates exceptional talent. You can look up the top 100 wealthiest individuals in Xia country. At least half have experience in sales. Zhang Xia chuckled. I wouldn't dare to compare myself to those tycoons. Boss Zhou, when can I report to your company? Zhou Yuqin pondered. How about next Monday? Use these couple of days to sort out your affairs. Zhang Xia replied, no problem. Upon arriving at Li River Garden, Zhou Yuqin dropped off Zhang Xia and then took his parents to their new home. After a tour around the living room and various rooms, Su Xiaowan remarked, I feel the decoration of this house is far superior to our place in Zhenjiang. Zhou Yuqin replied, this was designed and decorated by old Zhao himself. He pays great attention to detail. The only downside is that it feels a bit antiquated. Zhou Qingjian added, I quite like it. Su Xiaowan shot him an exasperated look. Who wouldn't like a house worth over 40 million? Zhou Yuqin continued, Mom, Dad, take a look and see if anything is missing. Tomorrow is Saturday. I will take you shopping to get everything you need. For the next couple of nights, you can stay at my place. Su Xiaowan nodded, sounds good. Speaking of which, we haven't visited your home yet. Zhou Yuqin suggested, let us go now and then pick up Xiaoya from kindergarten. Su Xiaowan's eyes sparkled. Have your dad prepare the meal at home. I'll go with you to the kindergarten. Zhou Qingjian protested, why should you go to the kindergarten? Su Xiaowan replied, if you agree to be the chef at home from now on, we can switch roles. Zhou Qingjian rolled his eyes in frustration. You've been using this to intimidate me for a lifetime. Su Xiaowan triumphantly declared, whoever does more work at home is the boss. Old Zhou, remember that. Zhou Qingjian was left speechless. Zhou Yuqin then took his parents to his home. The elderly couple admired the house, praising it profusely. Zhou Yuqin took out ingredients for the afternoon meal from the fridge, saying, Dad, could you please tidy up? Mom and I will go pick up the child. Zhou Qingjian waved his hand, resigned, go ahead. Seeing his father's discontented expression, Zhou Yuqin smiled faintly and retrieved a bottle of wine from the shelf. Dad, I want tea let you work for nothing. Do you know what this is? Zhou Qingjian examined the bottle closely. Why is there no label? Zhou Yuqin explained. The Zhao elder, who sold me the house, is my good friend. This is a special wine he gifted me, of which there are only 2 bottles. I gave one to Jingyun's father, and this is the other. Zhou Qingjian exclaimed. Is this the kind of special wine that only officials at the ministerial level can drink? Zhou Yuchen nodded. Indeed. Zhou Qingjin inquired, is this Zhao elder very impressive? Zhou Yuchen responded, a retired lieutenant general. One son is a major general, and another is a deputy director of the state, who recently transferred to Yindu. Zhou Qingjin's eyes widened in astonishment. How did you come to know such a remarkable person? Zhou Yuchen shrugged. Perhaps it was just fate. Dad, do you want this wine or not? Zhou Qingjin replied without hesitation. Of course. I've never had special wine in my life. I must try it. Zhou Yuchen said, I'm not particularly interested in it. You should take it home and savor it slowly. Chapter 208. Zhou Qingjin's thoughts. Half an hour later, Zhou Yuchen arrived at the kindergarten with Su Xiaowan. When Xiaoya saw Zhou Yuchen come to pick her up, she exclaimed Grandma, and rushed over. Su Xiaowan embraced her, asking, Sweetheart, did you miss Grandma? Xiaoya looked up and kissed Su Xiaowan on the cheek, saying, Super miss. Grandma, can you buy me a treat? Su Xiaowan paused. What do you want to eat? Xiaoya's eyes sparkled. Ice cream. Without hesitation, Su Xiaowan replied, No problem. Xiaoya cheered, Long live Grandma. Zhou Yuchen interjected, Xiaoya, you just had ice cream yesterday. Is it really necessary again today? Xiaoya countered, Dad, you had dinner yesterday. Why are you eating again today? Zhou Yuchen chuckled. Where did you learn to talk like that? Xiaoya replied, I want to tell you. Grandma, my dad seems to disagree about getting ice cream. Before Su Xiaowan could respond, Zhou Yuchen said, All right. Stop playing the pity card. I'll take you both there right now. Yay. Xiaoya was beaming with joy as Su Xiaowan gently tapped the little one's nose, exclaiming, What a clever little sprite you are. Upon their return home, Shen Jingyun had just finished her workday. Zhou Yuchen entered the kitchen and prepared a feast of 6 dishes and a soup. After dinner, Su Xiaowan and Shen Jingyun headed to their new home to tidy up and assess what was needed for tomorrow's shopping. Meanwhile, Zhou Qingjin and his son Zhou Yuchen watched little Xiaoya play on the slide with other children in the community. Dad, next Monday, Jingyun and I will take Xiaoya to the police department to change her name, Zhou Yuchen announced. Zhou Qingjin raised an eyebrow, asking, Did Jingyun's parents agree? Zhou Yuchen nodded. For such a significant matter, I certainly sought their consent. Zhou Qingjin expressed his delight, saying, That's wonderful. Zhou Yuchen continued, after changing Xiaoya's name. I plan to take both mother and daughter to Hong Kong. We'll spend a few days there for leisure, allowing the little one to broaden her horizons. And I intend to establish a trust fund for her. This way, even if my entrepreneurial endeavors fail, she will not lack financial support in the future. Zhou Qingjin waved his hand dismissively, saying, You can handle these matters as you see fit. Your mother and I are not knowledgeable in such affairs. At this point, Zhou Qingjin abruptly changed the subject. Xiaochen, your grandfather celebrated his 80th birthday last week. Zhou Yuchen interrupted, Dad, the only connection I have with the Zhou family is through my aunt. As for the others, I truly wish to sever all ties. Zhou Qingjin's expression darkened. Your grandfather deeply regrets the events of the past. Zhou Yuchen responded coolly, whether he regrets it or not, I have no desire to see him in my lifetime. It is said that adversity reveals true feelings. During my most challenging times, they not only offered no assistance, but also stabbed me in the back. Such relatives are not worth having. Dad, you should show filial piety to the old man Zhou. I do not oppose this, for he has given you life. However, it is utterly impossible for me to reconcile with him. Zhou Qingjin fell into silence, recognizing the resoluteness in Zhou Yuchen's tone. He reflected that, in this matter, anyone in his position would likely be unable to forgive the Zhou family. Yet, a flicker of hope lingered in Zhou Qingjin's heart, as he wished for harmony between his father and son. Alas, it seemed that hope would remain just that, an unattainable dream. Zhou Yuchen glanced at Zhou Qingjin and inquired, How are my aunt and uncle? My cousin should have graduated by now, right? Zhou Qingjin returned to reality and replied, Your uncle has started a renovation team, tirelessly seeking work. Although it is somewhat arduous, he earns around 200,000 to 300,000 a year, and with your aunt's shop, they are living better than your mother and I. As for your cousin, he has already entered the workforce, employed at a foreign enterprise in Pengcheng. Zhou Yuchen nodded. That's good to hear. I still remember when Grandma fell ill, it was only my aunt who visited her weekly, while the others did not even show their faces throughout the year, fearing you would entrust Grandma's care to them. Dad, you owe nothing to the Zhou family, but you owe much to my mother. Not every daughter-in-law is as selfless as she has been in caring for the elderly for so many years. Zhou Qingjin chuckled and scolded gently. Are you giving me a lesson? Zhou Yuchen fixed his intense gaze on Zhou Qingjin, his expression grave, in matters concerning the Zhou family. I genuinely wish to impart some wisdom to you, lest you become too indulgent and create discord between my mother and me over those ungrateful individuals. If such a day were to come, my siblings and I would undoubtedly side with our mother. There is a saying, no one knows a child better than their father, which can equally be reversed. No one knows a father better than his child. Zhou Qingjin was known for his integrity and sincerity, embodying the virtues of an ancient gentleman. However, He harbored a significant flaw. He was strict with himself, yet lenient with others. While this notion is commendable, excessive leniency can lead to misjudgment. If Zhou Yuqin had encountered similar circumstances, he would have long since severed ties with the Zhou family. Yet, Zhou Qingjian still hoped for reconciliation between his son and the Zhou family, which seemed nothing short of a farcical expectation. Understanding his father's mindset, Zhou Yuqin suspected that his father had likely discussed these sentiments with his mother, who had surely not reacted favorably. It was possible that the two had quarreled several times at home over this issue. Zhou Yuqin primarily sought to remind his father not to let the Zhou family disrupt their own household's harmony. Unable to withstand Zhou Yuqin's piercing gaze, Zhou Qingjian turned his head away, saying, "Are you trying to challenge me? Do you dare to warn me?" Zhou Yuqin withdrew his gaze and promptly offered his father an escape. "I would never dare." Just then, his phone rang. Upon checking, he saw it was a call from Zheng Tong. "Dad, please keep an eye on Xiaoya. I need to take this call." "Go ahead." As Zhou Yuqin walked away, Zhou Qingjian sighed deeply, thinking to himself that this stubborn boy was growing up. "Old Zheng, what's the matter?" "Zhou, hello. The Hello Game Company has announced that their game, Super Match, will launch tomorrow night at 8 on 3 major mobile gaming platforms. Our investigation reveals that they began developing Super Match a month ago, likely having plagiarized our concept. Old Zheng, as long as their game differs from ours, we have no recourse against them. By the way, you mentioned that Super Match is only launching on mobile platforms. What about the PC version? Not too clear." Chapter 209. The 100 million card. Zhou Yuqin smiled slightly, understood. The Hello Game Company must have been aware of our casual match games concept, but did not realize that we are launching on both mobile and PC platforms simultaneously. Assuming we would follow the pattern of our previous 2 games and only develop mobile versions. This caught them off guard. To quickly capture the market, they had no choice but to launch the mobile version of Super Match first and then connect it to the PC version. That seems plausible. Zhou, how should we respond? Strength lies in strength. The gentle breeze caresses the mountaintop. They may be bold, but we stand firm and resolute. Our advantages are apparent, and the threat they pose is minimal. Old Zheng, have you noticed that very few domestic players are willing to spend money on in-game items, with the majority being international players? Today, I had someone compile the statistics. Since our launch, international players have contributed approximately 78% of our total revenue. Have you considered a solution? Zhou, what solutions could there be? Advertising. Didn't you mention that many advertisers are eager to collaborate with us? Why not adopt a CPC advertising model? The CPC advertising model charges based on the number of clicks an advertisement receives. The higher the click rate, the more the advertising company pays. CPC advertising has long been technically successful, with no issues. While many foreign games employ this model, it seems it has never been utilized in the domestic gaming industry. I propose we create a small window on the item page, allowing players to exchange advertisements for various items. This way, advertisers achieve their promotional goals, players obtain items without spending, and we, along with the operators, earn revenue through ad clicks, achieving a trifecta of benefits. During lunch, upon learning that the Hello Game Company would be releasing a match elimination game, Zhou Yuqin began contemplating potential solutions. If leisure elimination were truly able to adopt a CPC advertising charging model, even if half of the players were to be lured away by competitors, it is believed that the monthly revenue of the Moonlight Game Company would remain unaffected. Mr. Zhou, I will promptly reach out to various game operators. If all goes well, they should agree. If negotiations become difficult, we may need to make some concessions. My bottom line is that I can offer them an 8% share of the advertising revenue. Very well. Hello, the R&D department of the game company, where over 300 programmers are diligently fine-tuning Super Match. He Changsheng sits at the front, his expression as dark as the depths of a lake. Zheng Tong's sources were indeed correct. Over a month ago, He Changsheng sent someone to acquire the concept for leisure elimination. Although it was not a formal proposal, the gameplay details were already understood. After discussions with the core team, they resolved to develop a new mobile game based on this unprecedented gaming model. Thanks to the company's formidable R&D capabilities, within just a month, they birthed Super Match. What took He Changsheng by surprise was Zhou Yuqin's decision to launch both the PC and mobile versions simultaneously, utilizing a free download with in-app purchases model. This maneuver left He Changsheng bewildered. He quickly sought out the head of the R&D department, Fang Qingxian, to inquire whether Super Match could also launch in both modes like leisure elimination. Fang Qingxian confirmed that it could, but it would require considerable time. When they were developing Super Match, they never considered a PC version. To fully synchronize both versions would take at least 2 months. 2 months was far too long for He Changsheng to wait. Reluctantly, he decided to launch the mobile version first to capture the gaming audience, leaving the PC version for a later date. Old Fang, how are things? There are no issues on any front regarding the game. However, due to the tight timeline, The details may not be as polished as in leisure elimination. It is an unavoidable circumstance. Our mobile game has failed 5 times already. This is our final opportunity. If we cannot achieve results by the beginning of next month, both of us, along with a few other leaders, will be dismissed. Relying solely on Supermatch will not suffice to compete with leisure elimination. We could organize a promotional event. The marketing department has already initiated plans. Any player who downloads Supermatch will receive a 50% discount card for purchasing any game developed by our company. Upon hearing this, Fang Qingxian fell silent. Domestic players willing to spend money on games are indifferent to such trivial discounts. Those who are reluctant to spend would not buy even at 20%. This bundling strategy is essentially ineffective for them. The following morning, Shun Shiyan called Zhou Yuchen, requesting him to bring relevant documents to transfer the ownership of the sports car. Zhou Yuchen informed Shin Jingyun, who replied, "You go ahead. I will take uncle and aunt to Xingyuan Mall for shopping. We will probably have lunch there." Zhou Yuchen nodded, retrieving a credit card from his pocket, stating, "The password is your birthday. Feel free to use it for amounts under 100 million. Shin Jingyun took the credit card, glanced at it, and asked, "Is this a gift for me?" Zhou Yuchen replied, "Indeed." Shin Jingyun teased, "Aren't you afraid I might spend it all and then break up with you?" Zhou Yuchen chuckled, "That would only indicate your foolishness. To forsake a future worth hundreds of billions for a mere 100 million. Shun Jingyun remarked, "Darling, I thought you would be wary of all women, including me, after being hurt by Su Xiaoya. But it seems you have not learned from past lessons." Zhou Yuchen wrapped his arms around Shin Jingyun's slender waist and kissed her lips, saying, "After my release, I read numerous psychology books. I discerned what kind of person you are from the moment we met. My dear, you will never escape my grasp." Having acquired the ability to gauge loyalty, Zhou Yuchen had already assessed Shin Jingyun's fidelity. Previously at 92, it had now risen to 95, indicating an unwavering commitment. Zhou Yuchen understood well that in this materialistic society, to have a wife who would stand by him through thick and thin, especially one of celestial beauty, was remarkably rare. In his previous life, after achieving entrepreneurial success, Zhou Yuchen indulged in several years of extravagant living, experiencing various beauties and pleasures, which ultimately felt meaningless. In this life, he yearned to cherish a simple existence with Shun Jingyun, eschewing all frivolities. Chapter 210. The transfer debacle. Shin Jingyun cherished Zhou Yuchen's affection, wrapping her arms around his neck and playfully saying, "Do you think you are the Buddha? I tell you, if one day you change your heart and betray us, even if you offer me 100 billion or 1,000 billion, I will leave you without hesitation." Zhou Yuchen reassured her, "Trust me, that day will never come." They gazed deeply into each other's eyes, unknowingly leaning in for a kiss. Just then, Su Xiaowan, who had intended to prepare breakfast, stumbled upon the affectionate scene in the kitchen and hurriedly retreated, accidentally knocking over a chair. Hearing the chair crash, Shun Jingyun quickly pushed Zhou Yuchen away and entered the living room. Finding Su Xiaowan propping the chair back up, her face tinged with embarrassment. Realizing that her future mother-in-law had witnessed the earlier moment, her cheeks flushed. "Auntie, are you all right?" Su Xiaowan waved her hands in dismissal. "I'm fine. You two carry on." Zhou Yuchen, unashamed, teased, "Mom, your timing couldn't be worse." "Auntie, I will check on Xiaoya." At Zhou Yuchen's unabashed remark, Shin Jingyun's face turned even redder as she quickly dashed into Xiaoya's bedroom. Once Shin Jingyun left, Su Xiaowan pulled Zhou Yuchen into the kitchen, asking, "When do you plan to propose to Jingyun?" Zhou Yuchen smiled. "Before the Spring Festival." Su Xiaowan replied, "You said it. I will hold you to it." Zhou Yuchen assured her, "Rest assured, I will ensure Jingyun becomes your daughter-in-law soon." After breakfast, Zhou Yuchen drove directly to the vehicle management office. Upon arrival, he waited for a full 20 minutes before Shin Shiyan finally arrived, accompanied by a young man of similar age, handsome and possessing a certain air of arrogance. "Shiyan, is this your future brother-in-law?" The young man sized Zhou Yuchen up, smirking, revealing a hint of disdain in his gaze. "He seems quite ordinary." Zhou Yuchen did not even glance at him, focusing instead on Shun Shiyan, coldly asking, "Did you bring the agreement?" "I did," Shin Shiyan replied, seemingly intimidated by Zhou Yuchen's demeanor, quickly retrieving 2 agreements from a file and handing them to him. One was the transfer agreement for the sports car, and the other was a new investment agreement. Zhou Yuchen reviewed them, confirming their accuracy before signing both documents. He then produced the previous investment agreement for 50 million and handed it to Shin Shiyan, stating, "Once the car transfer is complete, we are even." Shin Shiyan responded, "All right. Let me introduce you. This is Wang Xiaolong, the eldest son of President Wang Yin of Dingxing Group." Wang Xiaolong subtly displayed a hint of arrogance, a sentiment well justified. The Dingxing Group stands as the most renowned food and beverage company in the nation, and despite not being publicly traded, its most conservative valuation hovers around 150 billion. In the previous year's list of the wealthiest in Xiaogua, Wang Yin secured a place among the top 10 with personal assets amounting to 120 billion. Zhou Yuqin remarked nonchalantly, Mr. Wang Yin established the Dingxing Group at the tender age of 23, and after more than 30 years of development, it has become the most illustrious company in Xiaogua, with Mr. Wang himself now among the top 10 wealthiest. Therefore, I hold him in high regard. As for you, Mr. Wang Xiaolong, I'm afraid I am not familiar with your name. Wang Xiaolong's expression shifted, ire igniting within him. What do you mean by that? Zhou Yuqin continued to disregard him, stating, Shun Shiyan, I prefer not to waste my time on inconsequential individuals. You just kept me waiting for 20 minutes. And that delay has cost you 200 million. The 10 billion investment I initially promised has now been reduced to 8 billion. If this occurs again, your entire investment quota will be nullified. From the moment Wang Xiaolong spoke, Zhou Yuqin discerned that this young man had been deliberately summoned by Shun Shiyan to undermine him. With enmity established, Zhou Yuqin adopted an attitude that surpassed Wang Xiaolong's arrogance. It became a contest of who could outdo the other in audacity. Unsurprisingly, Wang Xiaolong erupted in fury. Is it just 10 billion? Who are you trying to intimidate? Finally, Zhou Yuqin regarded him directly and calmly responded, Can you truly produce 10 billion to aid Shun Shiyan in establishing an investment firm? If not, kindly refrain from speaking. Pretentiousness without strength only invites disdain. Wang Xiaolong retorted, My father has over 100 billion. Zhou Yuqin shot back, Of that 100 billion, how much truly belongs to you? 1 billion? 10 billion? Or can you not even produce 1 billion? Wang Xiaolong was momentarily rendered speechless. Zhou Yuqin turned to Shun Shiyan, advising, If you intend to start a business, seek out individuals in the marketplace who can genuinely assist you. Associating with a wealthy heir who lacks substance is of no value. Shun Shiyan, unable to tolerate Zhou Yuqin's haughty demeanor, exclaimed, Zhou Yuqin, I see now. You were merely playing a role in front of my family. This is your true nature. Zhou Yuqin rose and asked, Shun Shiyan, what was your purpose in bringing Wang Xiaolong here? Is he capable of facilitating the transfer? Or is this merely to assert dominance over me? Wang Xiaolong interjected, The vehicle registration office is not yours to command. I can come and go as I please. Zhou Yuqin ignored his remarks and coldly addressed Shun Shiyan. Since he is of no concern to me, let us expedite the transfer. I have other matters to attend to. Shun Shiyan gritted his teeth, saying, Just wait. I will inform my parents about your behavior today, so they can see what kind of person their future son-in-law truly is. Zhou Yuqin replied, Suit yourself. Half an hour later, the red Lamborghini became Zhou Yuqin's vehicle. Shun Shiyan appeared reluctant, wanting to say something, but the words caught in his throat. Zhou Yuqin had initially intended to lend the Lamborghini to him, but upon witnessing Shun Shiyan's antics, he felt no obligation. Retrieving the keys from Shun Shiyan, Zhou Yuqin parked the sports car in a location conveniently captured by the cameras, then entered his own vehicle without uttering a word to Shun Shiyan and drove away. Shun Shiyan's face flushed with anger, feeling humiliated before Wang Xiaolong. Equally, Wang Xiaolong felt his pride shattered, particularly by Zhou Yuqin's scornful words, which pierced his heart like a sharp pin, causing him considerable discomfort. Chapter 211, A Clash of Titan Stone. Is this your brother-in-law? He is simply insufferable. In Yanhai, suitors for your sister could line up for 10 kilometers. How could she choose someone like him? Shun Shiyan replied indignantly, This guy is a master of pretense. He presented himself as courteous and composed in front of my family. Yet in reality, he is so arrogant. My sister must be unaware of his true nature, which is why she has taken a liking to him. Wang Xiaolong inquired, What do you plan to do? Shun Shiyan declared, I will tell on him. Tonight, I will confront my parents and expose his facade. Wang Xiaolong snapped his fingers, saying, That's the way to go. As long as your parents disapprove, he cannot become your brother-in-law. Precisely. Shun Shiyan turned to Wang Xiaolong, asking, By the way, how is your investment in gold futures coming along? Wang Xiaolong's face stiffened as he sheepishly replied, My father has been quite strict with me lately. He even suspended my credit card. Shun Shiyan sensed trouble and directly asked, Just tell me how much you can actually contribute. Wang Xiaolong held up 3 fingers, saying, At most, this much. Shun Shiyan questioned, 300 million? Wang Xiaolong corrected him, 3 million. Shun Shiyan rolled his eyes in exasperation, retorting, 3 million is barely enough to fill a gap. As he observed Wang Xiaolong's apologetic demeanor, Shun Shiyan suddenly recalled Zhou Yuqin's words. If you wish to start a business, seek out individuals in the marketplace who can genuinely assist you. Associating with a wealthy heir who lacks substance is of no value. It appeared that these wealthy heirs were indeed unreliable. They boasted grandly. Yet when it came time for serious endeavors, they faltered. If he aimed to raise substantial funds, relying on them would likely be futile. Unbeknownst to Shun Shiyan, Wang Xiaolong was not devoid of funds. He simply was unwilling to part with them. Despite his lack of academic prowess, He understood the considerable risks associated with futures and stocks. Given Shun Shiyan's inexperience, Wang Xiaolong would not foolishly hand over $1 billion for him to manage. If losses ensued, Wang Xiaolong would find no solace. Zhou Yuqin drove to Xingyuan Mall, called Shun Jingyuan, and soon found her and his mother on the 3rd floor. "Where are my dad and Xiaoya?" Su Xiaowan, seated on a maroon sofa, replied. "They are on the 2nd floor riding the little train. He has poor judgment and tends to ramble. I doubt he has any help with shopping." Zhou Yuqin rubbed his nose, saying, in that regard, "I seem to have inherited my father's traits." Su Xiaowan advised, "You should go find them. Your father tends to be a bit dazed. I worry he won't take good care of Xiaoya." Zhou Yuqin responded, "I need to discuss something with Jingyun first. I'll be right down." Shun Jingyun asked, "What is it?" Zhou Yuqin briefly recounted the conflict with Shun Shiyan during the vehicle transfer, stating, "I suspect he will speak ill of me in front of your parents." Shun Jingyun smiled and said, "Wang Xiaolong is a classmate and close friend of my brother. While neither performed exceptionally in school, they were quite the troublemakers. However, their personalities are entirely different. Shiyan may seem clever but is quite stubborn, while Wang Xiaolong appears carefree yet is actually very shrewd. Associating with him will only lead to Shiyan's detriment." Zhou Yuqin remarked, "I suspect he intends to extract funds from Wang Xiaolong for investments." Shun Jingyun replied, "Shiyan's intentions want to escape Wang Xiaolong's notice. In the end, Wang Xiaolong will likely give him a mere pittance, just enough to maintain their relationship." Zhou Yuqin gave a thumbs up to Shun Jingyun, exclaiming, "My dear wife, you are simply brilliant. I must regard you with newfound admiration." Su Xiaowan also wore a look of appreciation. From her words, it was evident that this future daughter-in-law of hers was indeed a woman of remarkable intelligence. After finishing lunch, Zhou Yuqin chose not to linger in the mall, but instead took little Yaya to the Elfin amusement park for an afternoon of fun. They returned home together only at 7 in the evening, just in time for dinner. By the time they arrived home, it was already 10 o'clock at night. After soothing Yaya to sleep, Shun Jingyun entered Zhou Yuqin's study with a glass of water in hand. Upon hearing the familiar footsteps, Zhou Yuqin turned his chair, arms wide open. Shun Jingyun placed the teacup on the table and naturally settled onto his lap. This intimate posture had become a cherished habit for the two of them. "What about your sports car?" "I didn't see it," she inquired. "It's still at the vehicle management office. I intended to have Shiyan drive it, but unexpectedly, that rascal caused a fuss, so I apologize for that." "You guessed it right. That little brat went to complain to my parents this afternoon." "What was your parents' reaction?" "My father is no fool. How could he be deceived by Shiyan? He merely asked, 'What were you doing with Wang Xiaolong?' When Shiyan claimed it was a coincidence. My father instantly recognized the lie and gave Shiyan a severe scolding. In the end, Shiyan left in a huff without even having dinner. As long as they don't come after me, I'm fine. My parents are not that naive." "Honey, Super Match from Hello Game Company launched tonight. How's the feedback?" Zhou Yuqin was taken aback and chuckled. "Even you know about Super Match. It seems Hello Game Company's promotional efforts have been quite effective." "Not really. I only started paying attention after Wu Liang mentioned it yesterday." "Thank you for your concern, my dear wife." Zhou Yuqin kissed Shun Jingyun on the cheek, then gestured to the computer, saying, "I perused 3 gaming forums. Half the posts were positive, while the other half were negative." Shun Jingyun furrowed her brows slightly. "So, their game isn't performing poorly?" Zhou Yuqin shook his head. "The positive posts are likely fabricated by Hello's promotional team. I intentionally posted a few negative reviews, but they were swiftly deleted." Shun Jingyun remarked, "How shameless of them." Zhou Yuqin replied, "One cannot be too harsh on them. In this era, a great product can still falter without substantial promotion. A new product struggles to stand out among similar offerings. However, it is a double-edged sword. If the product is lacking, no amount of marketing can salvage it. The issue with Super Match is that its quality pales in comparison to Casual Match, despite their similarities. As a player, one would naturally feel quite dissatisfied." "So, Super Match doesn't pose a significant threat to you?" Shun Jingyun inquired. Zhou Yuqin affirmed. "The heads of various departments at Yueqing Game Company have remained at the office to monitor the situation post-launch. Just now, Zheng Tong texted me, simply stating, Super Match is not to be feared." Chapter 212. A subtle shift. Shun Jingyun curiously asked, "What was your response?" Zhou Yuqin said, "I replied with 3 words. Got it." Shun Jingyun laughed. "Honey, you're quite the relaxed president." Zhou Yuqin raised an eyebrow. "I am training them to handle matters independently. When the new game launches next year, I plan to distribute 20% of the shares to all employees of the game company, allowing them to manage it autonomously. Once they achieve results, I'll increase their share by 10%. Shun Jingyun pressed down on his wandering hand beneath her clothing, saying, "Are you really that generous?" Zhou Yuqin chuckled. "You can't catch a wolf without letting go of the child. They say employees should share the company's fate. How can they do that? The best approach is to link the company's success to each individual. If the company thrives, so do they. If the company fails, everyone suffers." Only then can they transform from passive participants into proactive workers. Shun Jingyun gave him a thumbs up. Impressive. The two indulged in a tender moment until Shun Jingyun blushed, feeling that things might escalate, and hurriedly exited Zhou Yuchen's study. The following day, all the items purchased by Su Xiaowan and Shun Jingyun, including beds, furniture, and kitchen supplies, were delivered, and they spent the entire morning arranging everything. Zhou Yuchen, however, did not partake in this chaos. Instead, he took a taxi to the vehicle management office to retrieve his sports car. After lunch, Zhou Qingjian returned to Zhenjiang with Su Xiaowan. At the headquarters of Hello Game Company, He Changxing stared at the 24-hour data report for Supermatch, his face darkening with frustration. With 13 million downloads, the numbers were commendable within the domestic gaming industry. However, the conversion rate was abysmal. Out of those 13 million downloads, merely a couple of thousand had purchased in-game items, resulting in a paltry revenue of 14,000 yuan, hardly enough to cover operational costs. Most alarming was the players' scathing reviews, accusing the game of plagiarizing the concept of casual match while failing to deliver on any front. Poor graphics, unreasonable item settings, low playability, they spared no harsh words. He Changxing furiously tore the report into shreds and tossed it into the trash. Just then, his phone rang. It was a call from Ma Xinqing, the president of Hello Group. He Changxing's expression changed drastically as he hurriedly answered the call. Has the data come in? Yes, it has. What's the situation? He Changxing stammered through an explanation. But Ma Xinqing grew impatient, saying, He Changxing, I've given you many chances. If you cannot deliver results in mobile gaming, then step aside for someone more capable. With that, Ma Xinqing hung up. He Changxing slumped in his chair, his face ashen. It's over. In a cafe in Yunhai, Zheng Tong and Fang Qingxian sat across from each other. They were old friends, having once worked together at the same game company, and shared a strong bond. Old Fang, tell me honestly, did your team plagiarize the concept of super match from our casual match? Fang Qingxian stirred his coffee with a spoon and replied, I don't know. Zheng Tong chuckled, what? Are you afraid I'll record this? Fang Qingxian sighed. At this point, what is there to be afraid of? I received the concept for super match over a month ago and thought it had great potential. It was only when casual match was released that I sensed something was amiss. I suspect He Changxing bribed someone in your company to learn the key selling points of casual match, which led to the creation of this game. Zheng Tong nodded. I suspected as much. Old Fang, you were too hasty. If super match had been executed well, it could have carved out a niche in the puzzle game market. A trace of bitterness crossed Fang Qingxian's face as he replied, It's not that I'm anxious. It's that He Changxing is too impatient. Now I'm merely a nominal head of the development department. All the work related to Supermatch is being handled by He Changxing. Zheng Tong suddenly realized and said, I knew it. With your meticulous work ethic, how could you possibly produce a game of such poor quality as Supermatch? Fang Qingxian raised an eyebrow and retorted, What do you mean? Did you summon me just to belittle me? To flaunt the power of your success? Zheng Tong chuckled. First of all, the successful one is President Zhou, not me. Secondly, I have no leisure to criticize you. Old Fang, I am well aware of your capabilities. Have you ever considered changing your work environment? Fang Qingxian instantly grasped Zheng Tong's intent and inquired, You wish to recruit me to your Yuechen gaming company? Zheng Tong shook his head. Not just you, but your entire team as well. I have inquired and discovered that your development team's average monthly salary is only 12,000. And even the team leaders earn merely 15,000, which is less than the salary of our most ordinary programmer. I find it perplexing that Hello Gaming Company, which earns billions annually from online games, is so miserly. Fang Qingxian asked, What is your current salary as CEO? Zheng Tong shrugged, I have no idea. Fang Qingxian responded with dissatisfaction, Then don't bother telling me. Zheng Tong clarified, I genuinely do not know. According to the HR salary scale, my monthly salary is 50,000. However, at Yuechen Gaming Company, bonuses far exceed salaries. For instance, the game Leisurely Elimination generates around 200 million a month, which means my monthly bonus should be over 200,000. To make a horse run faster, the first thing to do is ensure it is well fed. Zhou Yuchen understood the meaning of this phrase very well. Thus, he made a decision to allocate 10% of the monthly profit as rewards based on all employees' ranks. Zheng Tong, being the highest ranked, could receive around 1%, while the lowest ranked employee could obtain 0.05. Even so, they would still earn over 10,000. Fang Qingxian's eyes widened in astonishment. Is President Zhou really so generous? Zheng Tong replied proudly, This is nothing. President Zhou has already discussed with me and HR. Once the company is on the right track, he will distribute 20 to 30% of shares to all employees. As long as you are with the company for a day, you will earn a day's worth of shares. Old Fang, although Hello Gaming Company is our predecessor, our potential far exceeds theirs. I believe that with you and your team, we can achieve even greater glory than before. Chapter 213. The perfect assist. Fang Qingxian lifted his coffee cup, took a sip, and gazed through the window at the night sky. The weather tonight was rather dismal, with dark clouds looming, suggesting an impending downpour. Does President Zhou know you're trying to recruit me? I've informed him. What positions and benefits will he offer us? President Zhou intends to offer you a level 14 salary, equivalent to the department heads. The others will receive salaries similar to the development team. Additionally, he will draft a large-scale online game proposal for you and your team to develop and operate. The development team at Yuechen Gaming Company consists mainly of novices lacking experience in large-scale online games, and they desperately need seasoned professionals like you to guide them. I will consider it thoroughly and get back to you in a few days. Just as he finished speaking, Fang Qingxian's phone rang. Upon checking, he saw it was a call from Yi Changsheng. Fang Qingxian gestured for Zheng Tong to be quiet before answering the call. Old Fang, where are you? I'm out having coffee with friends. Mr. Ma called me, and tomorrow I need to handle my resignation. Fang Qingxian's expression changed. What about me? The HR department sent over the dismissal list. Aside from me, there are 4 others, and you are being demoted. Demoted? Huh. I developed 2 blockbuster online games for the company, generating 30 to 40 billion annually. Just because I Haven T succeeded in mobile games, they want to demote me? That is utterly unfair. Fang Qingxian was acutely aware that if not for his standing within the development team, management would likely have dismissed him outright. Fearing his departure would incite dissatisfaction among the others. Mr. Ma needed to answer to the board, and we were the most suitable scapegoats. Few companies other than Yuechen Gaming Company could develop blockbuster mobile games. While others remained unscathed, we were being pushed out. What kind of logic is that? We VE decided to go to the Hello Communications Group headquarters tomorrow to confront Mr. Ma together. Are you coming? Fang Qingxian raised an eyebrow, finally grasping the intent behind Yi Changsheng's call. It turned out he intended to use him as a pawn. Even at this stage, the old fox was still trying to manipulate him, truly incorrigible. Fang Qingxian sighed. I won't be going. I've outgrown the impetuousness of youth. If they wish to demote me, so be it. The salary they provide is at least enough to support my family. Old Fang, you can't be serious? I still have friends to entertain. If there's nothing else, let us end it here. After hanging up, Fang Qingxian sent a text to his apprentice in the development department to inquire about his demotion status. Soon, his apprentice replied that Fang Qingxian had been demoted from level 16 to level 13. Goodness, a 3-level drop, and my annual salary decreased by over 100,000. They are clearly forcing me to resign. Truly, fortune favors me. Zheng Tong had not anticipated that Hello Communications Group would provide such a perfect assist. Old Fang, do not hesitate any longer. Come with me to Yuechen Gaming Company. Fang Qingxian asked, how many people do you need? Zheng Tong replied, as long as it doesn't exceed 200, it's fine. Fang Qingxian nodded, understood. Once I resolve my resignation, I will contact you. Zheng Tong raised his coffee cup. Welcome aboard. Fang Qingxian lifted his cup as well. Thank you. The two exchanged knowing smiles. Upon receiving Zheng Tong's call, Zhou Yuchen's face broke into a radiant smile. The arrival of Fang Qingxian and his team was undoubtedly an extraordinary boon for Yuechen Gaming Company. What Zhou Yuchen needed most at this moment was not money, but rather talented professionals in the gaming industry. With Fang Qingxian's involvement, he could effortlessly introduce the explosive national sensation war elite into this world, allowing the slogan winner, chicken dinner to resonate here. With both Honor of Kings and War Elite, 2 of the most popular games from the previous generation, Yuechen Gaming Company would have enough content to thrive for a decade. Thunder rumbled, and countless bolts of lightning sliced through the night sky as heavy rain began to pour. Little Yaya seemed frightened by the thunder and began to cry. Zhou Yuchen swiftly dashed from his study into the little girl's bedroom. By the time Shen Jingyun entered, Zhou Yuchen had already lifted little Yaya into his arms. Don't be afraid, my dear, Daddy is here. Little Yaya, with tear-filled eyes, said, Daddy, I'm scared. Zhou Yuchen kissed her forehead. Daddy isn't going anywhere. I'll stay right by your side to protect you, alright? Little Yaya nodded. Okay. Daddy, can you hold me like this forever? Zhou Yuchen chuckled. Of course. Now sleep. In a little while, the thunder will stop. Little Yaya nestled her head into Zhou Yuchen's embrace and closed her eyes. Zhou Yuchen gently patted Xiaoya's back while meandering through the bedroom. Shen Jingyun extended her arms and softly said, Give her to me. Zhou Yuchen shook his head, replying, No need. You carry on with your tasks. I will manage her. Shen Jingyun remarked. Once she falls asleep, just place her on the bed. Zhou Yuchen suggested. Let us wait until this thunderstorm passes. Summer thunderstorms appear and vanish swiftly. In just half an hour, the torrential rain outside had diminished to a light drizzle. The thunder faded away, and the lightning sporadically flickered on the distant horizon. Zhou Yuchen gently laid the little girl on the bed. She turned over, smacked her lips, and drifted off to sleep. Zhou Yuchen did not leave. Instead, he quietly lay beside her. Only when Shun Jingyun returned to the bedroom after finishing her tasks did Zhou Yuqin rise. "My dear, you've worked hard," she said. "Now that you know I've worked hard, will you not grant me a little reward?" Shun Jingyun shot him a playful glare, stood on her toes, and planted a kiss on Zhou Yuqin's lips. "Not enough?" he responded, lifting Shun Jingyun and gently placing her on the bed. They shared a tender moment for a while before Zhou Yuqin finally released her. Shun Jingyun, her cheeks flushed, adjusted her sleepwear and playfully scolded, "You hurt me." Zhou Yuqin replied softly, "Let me massage it for you." Shun Jingyun rolled her eyes, saying, "As if that would help." Zhou Yuqin chuckled and kissed her forehead, saying, "Good night." "Good night," she replied. Chapter 214. Preparations. Back in his study, Zhou Yuqin searched online for family trust groups in Hong Kong. He and Shun Jingyun had already discussed their plans. They would rename Xiaoya the following day, fly to Hong Kong at 5 p.m. the day after, meet with the trust group on Wednesday, and enjoy a few days in Hong Kong before returning home on Sunday night. Shun Jingyun had already spoken to Shun Chungang regarding their travel documents, ensuring that assistance would be provided to expedite the process. Thus, Zhou Yuqin needed to find a suitable trust group to avoid any last-minute chaos. Whether in his past life or this one, Hong Kong has always been one of Asia's financial hubs, home to numerous billionaires, with over 100 boasting fortunes in the billions. Consequently, many banks have established family trust groups. For Zhou Yuqin, the paramount concern regarding a trust fund is the security of the capital rather than high returns. Therefore, he sought a more conservative trust group. After about half an hour of searching, he found a promising option, Yoxin Group. Yoxin Group is the largest fund trust company in Hong Kong, established for a decade, backed by three major shareholders, Yoxin Bank, Xiaogua Commercial Bank, and Ingu Zheda Bank. Almost all of the top 10 billionaires in Hong Kong conduct their fund trust business through Yoxin Group. Its primary advantage lies in the backing of three banks, ensuring absolute security for the funds, although its returns rank among the lowest in the industry, with management fees among the highest. Over the past 3 years, Yoxin Group's average return has barely exceeded management fees by less than 1%, significantly below the average of other trust groups. Nevertheless, Zhou Yuqin favored this approach. As he had stated, he prioritized safety over high yields. After confirming Yoxin Group, Zhou Yuqin researched several local high-end travel agencies, selecting one capable of providing customized tours, and promptly called them. "Hello, this is Xiang Zhuiyue from Huagang Travel Company. How may I assist you?" Her voice was sweet, laden with charm. Though Zhou Yuqin understood only 60% of what she said. Furrowing his brow, he replied, "I am not very familiar with Cantonese. Do you speak Mandarin or English?" Upon hearing this, she immediately switched to standard Mandarin, saying, "Hello, sir, I am Xiang Zhuiyue from Huagang Travel Group. If you wish to travel to Hong Kong, my team and I can provide you with 24-hour service." Zhou Yuqin introduced himself. "I am Zhou Yuqin, and I reside in Yunhai. In a few days, I will need to travel to Hong Kong. I saw your introduction that mentioned customized tours. Is that correct?" Xiang Zhuiyue affirmed, "Yes, Mr. Zhou. We offer the highest level of service and can tailor everything according to your requirements." Zhou Yuqin continued, "If all goes as planned, our family of 3 will depart Yunhai at 5 p.m. on Tuesday and arrive at Hong Kong International Airport at 8 p.m. We will return to Yunhai on Sunday afternoon. I need you to arrange for a driver for the duration of our stay, as well as a tour guide and an assistant to provide service." Without hesitation, Xiang Zhuiyue replied, "No problem at all. Do you have any special requests regarding accommodation?" Zhou Yuqin stated, "Ideally, a top-tier hotel suite with a private swimming pool, along with exquisite dining options. My daughter is not yet 4 years old, so please recommend a few child-friendly places. Money is not a concern. The quality of the food is paramount. Do not try to pass off expensive yet tasteless dishes." Recognizing the potential of a significant client, Xiang Zhuiyue responded, "Hong Kong has several seaside hotels, the most renowned being the Li Mei Hotel, which overlooks Victoria Harbor. Each room from the 57th to the 62nd floor spans over 150 square meters and features a private swimming pool on the balcony. However, the price is quite steep, starting at a minimum of 60,000 HKD per night." Zhou Yuqin replied nonchalantly, "As I mentioned, money is not an issue. I will provide you with an email address. Please prepare a detailed travel itinerary and a quotation for me to review." Xiang Zhuiyue acknowledged, "Understood. Sir, one last question. What is your maximum budget?" After a moment of contemplation, Zhou Yuqin answered, "Around 2 million Hong Kong dollars." Xiang Zhuiyue's breath quickened as she noted, "Mr. Zhou, you are indeed a person of considerable means. I will send the itinerary and quotation to your email as swiftly as possible." Zhou Yuqin responded, "Thank you for your assistance." Xiang Zhuiyue exhibited remarkable efficiency. Just 2 hours after their conversation, Zhou Yuqin received the travel itinerary and quotation in his inbox. The total cost was approximately 1.6 million. with accommodations at the 60th floor of the Li Mei Hotel, featuring high-end activities and no waiting in line. The culinary offerings included both lavish seafood feasts and delightful street food from Hong Kong, which pleased him immensely. Satisfied with Xiang Zhui's plan, he made minor adjustments and confirmed the arrangements. The two parties signed an electronic agreement, stipulating that Zhou Yuqin would need to deposit 500,000 Shiyuan into Huagang Travel Group's account the following day to secure the arrangements. The next morning, Zhou Yuqin erased the total expenditure from the document and printed the plan to show Shen Jingyun. After reviewing it, she remarked, "Darling, this must cost quite a bit, right?" Zhou Yuqin took a sip of milk and replied, "Not much." Shen Jingyun sensed he was not being entirely truthful, but chose not to press further, saying, "It doesn't matter. After all, you are the wealthy one paying." Zhou Yuqin chuckled, "Rest assured, my dear. Being with this wealthy man guarantees that you and our daughter will enjoy the best life has to offer." Xiaoya looked up seriously and said, "Daddy, Yeye likes delicious food. But doesn't he like spicy things?" Upon hearing this, Shen Jingyun nearly spat out her milk. She quickly covered her mouth, shaking with laughter. Zhou Yuqin also wore a perplexed expression and said, "Dad knows now. From now on, we'll enjoy the finest delicacies." Xiao Yeye nodded vigorously. Shen Jingyun had already taken leave from her work to accompany Zhou Yuqin in sending Xiao Yeye to school. Xiao Yeye was overjoyed. Sitting in Shen Jingyun's embrace along the way, her face beaming with delight. Upon arriving at the school, Zhou Yuqin briefed her homeroom teacher, Miao Yulan, on the situation. With parents frequently taking children on trips from kindergarten, Miao Yulan readily agreed without hesitation. After leaving the school, Zhou Yuqin and Shen Jingyun headed straight to the police department's household registration office, where they officially changed Xiao Yeye's name from Shen Xinyue to Zhou Xinyue, and even obtained her identity card. Chapter 215. Pretending to be drunk once the name change was settled, Shen Jingyun made a phone call, and shortly after, a middle-aged man descended from the second floor. "Miss Shen, I am Li.com. When did you arrive? Why didn't you notify me?" Upon hearing this nearly household name from his past life, Zhou Yuqin felt a jolt of shock. If it weren't for the stark difference between this Li Dakong's appearance and the one on television, he might have thought he had traversed into that very drama. Shen Jingyun handed her Zhou Yuqin's and Xiao Yeye's identity cards to Li Dakong and said with a smile, "Director Li, hello. Since there aren't many people today, I took the liberty of processing my child's ID myself. Could you please assist us in obtaining a Hong Kong travel permit?" Li Dakong glanced at the identity cards and turned to Zhou Yuqin, saying, "You must be Consultant Zhou, right? Your name resonates throughout our Yunhai police system." Zhou Yuqin was taken aback and replied, "What name do I have?" Li Dakong chuckled, "You have an alias known as Zhou the Stock God. Thanks to you, I made over 50,000 last time, which delighted my superior for several days." Zhou Yuqin smiled modestly and replied, "It was merely luck. Director Li, I hope to trouble you with this matter." Li Dakong assured him, "It's a trivial matter. Please follow me to the second floor. It should only take about half an hour." "All right." Zhou Yuqin and Shen Jingyun ascended to the second floor. Li Dakong personally poured them a cup of tea before getting to work. Half an hour later, the trio's Hong Kong travel permits were ready. Li Dakong personally escorted them out of the household registration office. "Director, who are these two?" a young officer inquired curiously. Li Dakong shot him a glance and replied, "Don't ask what you shouldn't." The young officer remarked, "That woman is truly stunning. In my entire life, I have never seen such a beautiful woman. I feel that even the stars pale in comparison." Li Dakong raised an eyebrow and responded, "Don't tell me you have any improper thoughts about her. Her surname is Shun. Think carefully about which high-ranking official above us shares that surname." After saying this, Li Dakong departed. The young officer pondered for a moment, suddenly widening his eyes and muttering, "No way. Could it be the highest-ranking one?" On the way home, Zhou Yuqin received a call from Zheng Tong, informing him that he had been in discussions with the game operator and over 20 advertising marketers. All parties agreed that acquiring game items through ad clicks was an excellent approach, and they would be signing a contract that afternoon. Zhou Yuqin was elated and praised Zheng Tong profusely over the phone, commending his work efficiency. Upon seeing Zhou Yuqin hang up, Shen Jingyun said, "If your company has matters to attend to, I can take a taxi back." Zhou Yuqin smiled and replied, "There's no issue at the moment. I need to sign the contract with the operator and advertisers this afternoon. As the head of the gaming company, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to remain absent." He added, "Dear, when Xiao Yeye finishes school, you might need to pick her up." Shen Jingyun replied, "No problem, but I don't understand. With ads being integrated into your game, aren't you concerned about player backlash?" Zhou Yuqin briefly explained his advertising model, saying, "Most domestic players are willing to spend money on large-scale online games, while very few indulge in casual online games. I believe that exchanging game items for ad clicks will likely attract their attention." Shen Jingyun contemplated this and remarked, "I'm not quite familiar with the psychology of male players, but I have considerable insight into female players. If it were me, I would certainly click on ads to earn a game item without spending money. She teased, I never expected you had a knack for being a shrewd businessman. Zhou Yuqin laughed. Given the lackluster performance of domestic players, I must explore other avenues. I hope this small idea brings me a significant surprise. That afternoon, Zhou Yuqin signed contracts with 6 representatives from mobile and PC game marketers and 22 advertisers. As the host, the leadership of Yueqin Gaming Company collectively attended a dinner that evening to express their sincerity. Zhou Yuqin toasted each individual, consuming a substantial amount of alcohol to show respect and elevate the atmosphere. By the end of the evening, Zhou Yuqin heroically succumbed to intoxication and was sent home by the company's driver. Knock, knock, knock. Shen Jingyan had just put Xiao Ye to bed when she heard a knock at the door. Approaching, she asked, Who is it? I am the driver from Yueqin Gaming Company. Mr. Zhou drank too much, and I brought him back. Please wait a moment. Shen Jingyun hurried to her bedroom to change, then opened the door. The driver assisted Shen Jingyun in helping Zhou Yuqin to the sofa before leaving. Husband, how much did you drink? Shen Jingyun chided lightly, turning to the kitchen to prepare a hangover soup for Zhou Yuqin. To her surprise, Zhou Yuqin suddenly opened his eyes, stood up from the sofa, and laughed. Only 3 Jin, it's nothing. Shen Jingyun exclaimed in surprise. So you were pretending to be drunk? Zhou Yuqin shrugged. The occasion was too grand. I couldn't afford to be sober. It was my first time drinking with clients, and I needed to set a standard, letting them know that 3 Jin of Baijiu is my limit. From now on, once I reach 3 Jin, I'll pretend to be asleep and go home. Shen Jingyan chuckled. You truly are cunning. However, I like it. At least I won't have to care for a drunken man in the future. Zhou Yuqin patted his belly. Enough about that. I need to expel the alcohol from my stomach and take a shower, lest I offend you. Just then, Xiao Ye's voice piped up. Daddy, I want to hear a story. Zhou Yuqin quickly replied. Wait 10 minutes. Daddy will be right there. Seeing Xiao Ye's demand, Zhou Yuqin hurriedly dashed into the bathroom, causing Shen Jingyun to burst into laughter, her heart brimming with happiness. In less than 10 minutes, Zhou Yuqin emerged from the shower. Having brushed his teeth, he walked into the bedroom and lay down beside Xiao Ye, gently asking, My dear, what story would you like to hear? Xiao Ye snuggled into his embrace and said, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Zhou Yuqin replied, All right. Once upon a time the story remained unfinished as Xiao Ye fell asleep. Shen Jingyun called Zhou Yuqin outside, saying, Darling, I would like to compile the stories you've told into a children's book. What do you think? Zhou Yuqin's eyes lit up as he replied, Of course. That is a splendid idea. As per our usual arrangement, I will draft the outlines of the stories in my mind, and you can handle the compilation. Chapter 216. Internal changes at Hello Game Company. In his previous life, Zhou Yuqin had indulged in numerous fairy tales during his childhood, such as 1001 Nights, Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, the complete Grimm's fairy tales, and classical fairy tales of the Summer Kingdom. Although many of these stories had faded from his memory, he confidently believed he could compile a book from them. Dear, have you found the teacher who will translate Harry Potter for you? Shen Jingyun inquired. My mother has enlisted a seasoned translator from Xiaohua Publishing House, she replied. After reading Harry Potter, he expressed his admiration and agreed to translate it into English for a fee of 4,000 yuan per 1,000 words. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. That price is rather steep. The first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, has a word count of 220,000. That amounts to a staggering 88 million yuan, which is undoubtedly a significant burden for the author. For context, Shen Jingyun's debut fantasy novel, Magical Girl, has only sold 200,000 copies, likely yielding less than 88 million in royalties. Shen Jingyun clarified, the translator, Chen Chu, is a top-tier figure in the translation industry. This rate is quite reasonable. More importantly, I have confidence in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I believe this book will surely succeed. Gently stroking Shen Jingyun's lustrous black hair, Zhou Yuqin said, You have faith in the book, while I have faith in you. My dear, I believe you will become the most formidable novelist in the world. A warmth enveloped Shen Jingyun's heart as she embraced Zhou Yuqin around the waist. Thank you, my love. The following day, Zhou Yuqin arrived at Yueqin Game Company and met with Zheng Tong. Smiling, he asked, How was last night? Did you drink too much? Zheng Tong grimaced. I threw up at the hotel. My head is still spinning. Mr. Zhou, your alcohol tolerance is remarkable. You managed to down 3 Jin before collapsing. Zhou Yuqin replied. I am a practitioner of martial arts. My physical constitution is somewhat superior to others. What about the clients? How did they fare? Zheng Tong proudly stated. Without exception, they were all incapacitated. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. That's good to hear. When can we implement the advertisements? Zheng Tong responded, in 3 days. The relevant software has been in use abroad for over a decade, so there are no difficulties. Zhou Yuqin nodded. That's reassuring. Old Zheng, how much revenue do you think this model can generate for us? After a moment of contemplation, Zheng Tong replied, I predict it will not fall short of foreign revenues. The effectiveness of this advertising click model depends on the conversion rate. If it performs well, all will be well. If not, we may face challenges. Therefore, I have selected over 20 products that are likely to yield results. Zhou Yuqin smiled. Well done. What is the situation with Fang Qingxian? Zheng Tong explained, yesterday. He Chongqing led a group to Hello Communications and caused quite a stir. Hello Communications acted very assertively. After a fruitless discussion, they ordered security to expel them. Ironically, Hello Communications' longtime rival, IQ Communications Group, extended an olive branch to He Chongqing and his team, including Old Fang. Just yesterday afternoon, the new head of Hello Game Company assumed office, gathered all mid and senior level staff for a meeting, and reprimanded each department before instituting salary cuts and fines. With the RD department facing the largest reductions, causing significant discontent among employees. This morning, I spoke with Old Fang. He has contacted dozens of highly capable core members from the RD department, and they all agree to jump ship to our company. However, this may offend Hello Communications, and we might find ourselves unable to use their game download platform in the future. Zhou Yuqin laughed. So what? There are plenty of PC gaming platforms. If they refuse to serve us, that's their loss. I have played Fang Qingxian's large-scale online game, and its quality is quite impressive. I am confident in his development of War Elite. Old Zheng, I hope that by the time I return from Hong Kong, everything will be settled. Zheng Tong assured him, rest assured. I will do my utmost. After patting Zheng Tong on the shoulder, Zhou Yuqin departed from Yueqing Game Company and headed straight to Kunpeng Mobile Battery Manufacturing Plant. Upon entering the laboratory and confirming the research progress was satisfactory, Zhou Yuqin felt relieved. He then toured the production line, where the Human Resources Department had already recruited 1,000 workers who were undergoing training, each displaying commendable diligence. After enjoying a meal at the factory, Zhou Yuqin left. At 5 in the afternoon, the family of 3 boarded a plane bound for Hong Kong. Mom, Dad, look. How beautiful. Little Yaya exclaimed. Her excitement palpable as it was her first flight. She pointed at the clouds bathed in the golden hues of the setting sun, her face alight with wonder. Zhou Yuqin popped a strawberry into the little girl's mouth, smiling. The sun is about to set, which is why the sky is so vividly red. As she savored the strawberry, little Yaya remarked, it's truly stunning. Zhou Yuqin smiled faintly, his gaze drifting to a young man in his 20s seated across from them, wearing glasses and sporting a face dotted with acne. Their family had boarded the plane rather late, almost being the last to do so. As they entered first class, most passengers turned to look at them. Zhou Yuqin was not so vain as to think they were admiring him. He understood that the attention was directed towards the breathtaking Shen Jingyun, with some passengers even displaying a rather foolish expression, only to be chastised by their female companions. There was no helping it. His wife was simply too beautiful. Not only men, but women too could not help but steal glances. Yet this young man remained absorbed in a book on chips, his eyes glued to the pages. Zhou Yuqin found himself sitting directly opposite him and noticed he was reading The Universal Chip by Professor Darles from the Lighthouse Nation. After the plane took off, Zhou Yuqin continued to observe him. For a solid 20 minutes, the young man remained engrossed in his reading, seemingly impervious to the distractions around him. However, his brow was furrowed, and he frequently scribbled notes, suggesting he was grappling with a perplexing issue. Familiar with the Universal Chip, Zhou Yuqin smiled and remarked, excuse me, are you studying chip technology? The young man finally lifted his gaze, glancing at Zhou Yuqin and then at the enchanting Shen Jingyun, his eyes revealing a hint of astonishment. I am studying radio technology. The reason I'm reading about chips is to develop drones. Zhou Yuqin was taken aback. You are developing drones? The young man nodded, yes. After graduating from university, I have been researching drones for 7 years now. Zhou Yuqin inquired, are you doing this as a startup or out of interest? The young man replied, I established a drone company in Sioux City. I am here seeking investment. But unfortunately, no one in Yunhai seems interested in drones. Chapter 217, Collaborative Research and Development. Immediately, Zhou Yuqin's mind conjured the name of a renowned drone company from his previous life, sparking his interest. What achievements have you made in these 7 years? The young man's face registered surprise. You are knowledgeable about drones? Zhou Yuqin chuckled. I know a thing or two. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Zhou Yuqin, the owner of Kunpeng Investment Company. The young man replied, I am Wei Nanbei, the owner of Longhun Drone Company. I've approached over 10 investment firms in Yunhai, but it seems your Kunpeng Investment Company hasn't crossed my radar. Zhou Yuqin candidly stated. It's no surprise you haven't heard of it. I haven't established it yet. Shen Jingyun, who was accompanying Zaiyu in admiring the scenery outside, nearly burst into laughter. This fellow truly is a character. Wei Nanbei displayed a hint of disappointment, letting out a soft "oh" before returning his attention to his book. Zhou Yuqin smiled, saying, I possess some knowledge regarding chip research and manufacturing. This book, The Universal Chip, Contains over 10 errors. You ought to be cautious. Wei Nanbei lifted his head again, handing the book back to Zhou Yuchen. Could you elucidate this issue for me? I can't seem to grasp it. Zhou Yuchen glanced at the page, returned the book to Wei Nanbei, and remarked, "It is incorrect." Wei Nanbei inquired, "Where is it wrong?" Zhou Yuchen succinctly explained the content of that page, prompting Wei Nanbei to nod frequently, even retrieving a notebook from his bag to jot down notes. "Did you comprehend it?" "I did. Mr. Zhou, your understanding of chips surpasses that of many professors. It's truly impressive. I have been studying chips for 4 to 5 years, so I possess a bit more knowledge." He continued, "Drones require numerous chips, including the main control chip, visual chip, gyroscopic microelectronic chip, global navigation system module, power management chip, wireless communication chip, and storage chip. I am curious, how many types of chips have you mastered?" Upon hearing Zhou Yuchen's words, Wei Nanbei immediately recognized that this individual, of similar age, was a remarkable figure. It is rare for someone to possess such extensive knowledge about drones. "We are independently developing the main control chip, which is the rotor support chip for flight control. For other auxiliary chips, we plan to outsource production." In his previous life, the globally best-selling Tianjiang drone had also only developed the main control chip, while all other chips were outsourced. The reason the Lighthouse Nation could not counter it was that Tianjiang Group possessed its core technology. All other auxiliary devices, including chips, could easily find substitutes. Even the Lighthouse Nation lacked the capacity to disrupt Tianjiang drone's supply chain. Zhou Yuchen inquired further. "I have always believed that the core technologies for drones consist of 5 elements: flight control technology, gimbal camera technology, image transmission technology, intelligent technology, and materials technology. How many patented technologies have you completed over the years? What standards can you achieve internationally?" Wei Nanbei's face reflected surprise as he replied, "You have researched drones?" Zhou Yuchen frowned. "You have yet to answer my question." Wei Nanbei responded proudly, "Aside from flight control technology, we have completed the other 4 core technologies, each at a world-class level, totaling 3,630 technological patents. Once we develop the flight control chip, we will be able to produce drones." Zhou Yuchen had originally intended to bring the Tianjiang drone into this world, but unexpectedly encountered someone akin to the founder of the Tianjiang Group, Wei Nanbei. He was further surprised by the rapid progress in drone development, which left him quite vexed. "Mr. Wei, you mentioned earlier that you were seeking investment in Hong Kong. Do you desperately need funds?" Wei Nanbei sighed and replied, "We have persisted for 7 years without achieving mass production. All those who supported us have gradually left. Everyone knows that chip research is a costly endeavor, and we have exhausted our resources." Zhou Yuchen's gaze flickered as he asked, "How much equity do you still hold in the company? What price do you intend to sell it for?" Wei Nanbei suddenly felt a glimmer of hope as he answered, "I still hold 62% of the shares and plan to sell 32% for 1 billion xia yuan, retaining 30% for myself. But I must maintain a veto power." Zhou Yuchen smiled, saying, "No wonder no one is investing in you. You valued Longhun Group at 33 billion xia yuan. Do you not find that excessively high?" Wei Nanbei replied, "I believe this price is reasonable. Just give me another year, and my Longhun drones will undoubtedly astonish the world, making a 10-fold increase in valuation possible." Zhou Yuchen shook his head. "Mr. Wei, to be frank, I have also been developing drones, and I have theoretically conceived the world's premier flight control chip. I was preparing to establish a drone company when I unexpectedly encountered you, the president of Longhun Drones. What a coincidence." If anyone else had said this, Wei Nanbei would have been skeptical. However, coming from Zhou Yuchen, he believed it. For Zhou had just demonstrated his substantial understanding of drones and far surpassed him in chip research. Wei Nanbei's expression grew serious as he remarked, "Mr. Zhou, it seems we may very well become competitors in the future." Zhou Yuchen replied, "Or possibly collaborators. I possess flight control chip technology and billions in funding. If paired with your other technologies, we could develop the world's top-tier drone in the shortest time." Wei Nanbei slapped his thigh, saying, "Exactly. Mr. Zhou, shall we collaborate?" Zhou Yuchen pondered for a moment and extended 3 fingers, stating, 3 conditions. First, I wish to personally verify the level of your technological patents. Second, I will invest 1 billion xia yuan in the flight control chip technology in exchange for at least 49% equity. Third, I dislike the name Longhun. It would be preferable to rename it Tianjiang, meaning boundless under heaven." Wei Nanbei frowned. "The first and third conditions pose no issues, but the second is unfeasible. I must retain 30% ownership." Zhou Yuchen chuckled. "Can't you find a way to buy back 17% from other investors?" Wei Nanbei pondered for a long time before responding, "I would like to see your flight control chip technology." Zhou Yuchen pointed to his head, saying, "It's all here. Once we reach an agreement, I assure you I will finalize the flight control chip within 3 months. If I fail, I will compensate you 500 million. Wei Nanbei extended his hand, declaring, "It's a deal." Zhou Yuchen shook his hand, affirming, "It's a deal." Chapter 218. Becoming Wei Nanbei's teacher. Wei Nanbei asked, "When will you visit our Longhan company?" Zhou Yuchen replied, "Next week. I will give you an email. Please send me the parameters of the drone-related equipment. Once confirmed, we will secure the shares from the other stakeholders, with the principle being that I will buy whatever they are willing to sell. Ideally, in the future, the Tianjiang Group will only have the two of us as shareholders." Wei Nanbei stated, "Mr. Zhou, the drone group I envision will not go public, and I must maintain control." Zhou Yuchen nodded, "Of course. I will not contest the management rights of the company, except under one circumstance." Wei Nanbei asked, "What circumstance?" Zhou Yuchen did not answer, but instead posed a question, "What is your perspective on the future of drones?" Wei Nanbei replied, "Aerial photography, disaster response, agricultural protection, environmental monitoring, and so forth." Zhou Yuchen added, "Including military applications, such as bombing and reconnaissance." Upon hearing this, Wei Nanbei's face turned pale. "Who exactly are you? What are your intentions?" Shen Jingyan also could not help but turned to look at Zhou Yuchen. Zhou Yuchen waved his hand. "Do not be alarmed. Let me ask you one more question. What weapons do you believe could change the rules of warfare in the next decade?" Wei Nanbei furrowed his brow. "Are you implying drones?" Zhou Yuchen nodded, extending 3 fingers. "I believe there are 3 types of weapons that could redefine modern warfare in the coming decade. Hypersonic missiles. Once this device is developed, no missile defense system will be able to withstand it. Aircraft carrier battle groups will become but live targets in its presence. Secondly, the electromagnetic pulse weapon can incapacitate all electrical equipment within several kilometers. What aircraft carrier, what supercruiser, once struck by an electromagnetic pulse weapon, they will immediately be reduced to mere scrap metal. Thirdly, consider the swarm of drones. Can you envision a future where a handful of soldiers control tens of thousands of drones armed with various explosives on the battlefield? Provided they possess sufficient resistance to interference, they could effortlessly annihilate an aircraft carrier battle group. As an expert in drone development, you should be well aware that such swarms are likely to materialize in the near future." Wei Nanbei's expression darkened significantly as he conceded, "I admit you are correct. Given some time, I could achieve this as well." "Mr. Zhou, what exactly are you trying to convey?" Zhou Yuchen responded, "Once we develop drones, I am nearly certain that the military will send representatives to acquire the relevant technology. At that time, what choice will you make?" Wei Nanbei opened his mouth, but uttered, "I do not know." Zhou Yuchen stated solemnly, "You must be aware. My intention in establishing a drone company, beyond financial gain, is to assist the military of Xia in developing the world's most formidable military drones, thereby breaking the decades-long military blockade imposed by the Lighthouse Nation on our country. Mr. Wei, as a citizen of Xia, do you not aspire to contribute to this beleaguered nation and its people?" Wei Nanbei answered without hesitation, "Of course I do." Zhou Yuchen continued, "That is splendid. Earlier, you inquired under what circumstances I would contest your control over the company. I can now provide you with an answer. It will be when you bow to foreign powers for the sake of the company's development. When you disregard national interests to sell drones in large quantities to hostile nations, and when you act as a traitor, forsaking our national dignity." Wei Nanbei abruptly stood up, exclaiming fiercely, "Do not speak any further. I, Wei Nanbei, am absolutely not that kind of person and would never engage in such actions." All the passengers in the cabin turned to look at him. A flight attendant approached, asking, "Sir, is there something the matter?" Realizing he had lost his composure, Wei Nanbei promptly sat down and fastened his seatbelt, apologizing, "I'm sorry, I was a bit too agitated just now." "No worries." The attendant replied with a slight smile before turning away. Zhou Yuchen remarked, "Mr. Wei, I am very pleased with your reaction. If you do not object, I would like to include this in our agreement when we collaborate." Wei Nanbei took a deep breath and responded, "That is acceptable. Mr. Zhou, I have many technical questions regarding chips that I would like to consult with you." Zhou Yuchen smiled, "Feel free to ask." Wei Nanbei took out his notebook and began to inquire about the difficulties and problems he encountered in chip development. Zhou Yuchen, without reservation, provided him with optimal solutions while also expanding on various topics. As the world's leading chip development expert, Zhou Yuchen found teaching Wei Nanbei to be entirely effortless, allowing him to indulge in the role of a teacher. However, he soon found himself regretting it, as Wei Nanbei's multitude of questions and his relentless pursuit of answers began to wear on his patience. Shen Jingyun, astute and perceptive, could easily discern Zhou Yuchen's predicament and chuckled inwardly, saying, "Darling, your precious daughter is upset." Zhou Yuchen turned to his daughter, asking, "Sweetheart, what is the matter?" Pouting, she replied, "Daddy, you only talk to uncle. You have not paid attention to me for quite some time." Upon hearing her words, Zhou Yuchen felt a wave of relief and quickly apologized. "I'm sorry, sweetheart. I was discussing some very profound topics with uncle and lost track of time." Wei Nanbei's face flushed with embarrassment as he said, I'm sorry. It seems I have interrupted your family. Zhou Yuqin chuckled, no problem. Once I return from my trip to the island, we can continue our discussions on chip development. Sounds good. Wei Nanbei replied as he tucked his notebook away and retrieved a toy airplane from his bag, saying, Little one, this is a drone I made for you. Little Yea's eyes sparkled with interest as she looked eagerly at Shen Jingyun. Shen Jingyun smiled. Take it, and quickly thank Uncle. Little Yea's face brightened as she accepted the drone, exclaiming, Thank you, Uncle. Wei Nanbei was charmed by the little girl's smile, saying, No need to mention it. Zhou Yuqin glanced at the toy drone and asked, Did you construct this using new materials? Wei Nanbei nodded, Indeed. Zhou Yuqin requested the toy drone from Little Ye for a closer inspection, stating, This is not merely a toy, but a miniature drone. Crafted from a combination of carbon fiber, aluminum alloy, and engineering plastics, achieving a balance of performance, lightweight design, high strength, and stability. Replicating this for medium to large drones should be feasible. Nanbei, you truly are impressive. Wei Nanbei gave a thumbs up, exclaiming, Brother Chun. You identified the unique aspects of my drone with just a glance. I am genuinely in awe of you. Chapter 219. A warm reception after more than an hour of discussion, their titles had shifted. Zhou Yuqin, 3 years younger than Wei Nanbei, surpassed him in knowledge and wisdom, leading Wei Nanbei to refer to him as brother. Wei Nanbei's earlier remarks were not mere pleasantries, but heartfelt sentiments. Zhou Yuqin's erudition and foresight had completely captivated Wei Nanbei. Throughout his life, Zhou Yuqin was undeniably the most remarkable individual Wei Nanbei had encountered, bar none. In truth, Shen Jingyun was also quite astonished by Zhou Yuqin's display of talent. Previously, Zhou Yuqin had been engrossed in books, lacking opportunities to showcase his abilities. Today, upon encountering true professionals, he radiated brilliance. Shen Jingyun noted that while Wei Nanbei lacked emotional intelligence, he possessed high intelligence, remarkable learning capability, and an innate pride befitting a genius. The fact that even such a person could be swayed speaks volumes about Zhou Yuqin's exceptional capabilities. At 9:10, the airplane gently descended onto the runway of Hong Kong International Airport. Exiting the cool cabin, Zhou Yuqin was immediately met by a wave of warm, slightly humid air, which felt somewhat uncomfortable. However, compared to Yunhai, it was significantly more bearable. Inside the terminal, Zhou Yuqin asked, Nanbei, are you truly not going to spend a few days in Hong Kong? Wei Nanbei shook his head, replying, I came to Hong Kong to seek investment. Now that I have found it, my mission here is complete. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. You are quite confident that I will invest in your company? Wei Nanbei replied with assurance. Of course. You are the most talented and discerning person I have ever met. Such individuals are precisely those who can recognize the developmental potential of our drone company. Brother Chin, I sincerely hope to collaborate with you. Zhou Yuqin extended his hand, stating, Very well, let us meet in Sioux City next week. Wei Nanbei shook Zhou Yuqin's hand, affirming, See you in Sioux City. After bidding farewell to Shen Jingyun and Little Ye, Wei Nanbei, carrying a backpack, hurriedly departed. With only an hour remaining until his flight back to Yunhai, he needed to seize the time to purchase a ticket. As he gazed at his departing figure, Zhou Yuqin chuckled, I have spent 4 years in Sioux City and had no idea there was a Dragon Soul drone group. How disappointing. Shen Jingyun replied. It's never too late to discover it now. Darling, do you have such faith in the drone market? Zhou Yuqin nodded affirmatively and said, Of course. As long as we excel in drone technology, generating profits in the tens of billions annually is certainly attainable. However, the most critical aspect is not merely the potential earnings, but the immense significance it holds for Xia country's technological and military landscape. Believe it or not, the day the Tianzhong drones become globally popular will coincide with the day the Lighthouse Nation cannot help but suppress them. Shen Jingyun exclaimed in surprise. If they will be suppressed by the Lighthouse Nation, why invest? Zhou Yuqin smiled and replied, Being suppressed indicates we've struck a nerve with the Lighthouse Nation, which is all the more reason to invest. Moreover, as long as we master the core technology of drones, even the Lighthouse Nation cannot hinder us. Shen Jingyun suddenly understood. No wonder you inquired about core technology on the plane. You were preparing for potential challenges ahead. Zhou Yuqin remarked, Without foresight, one is bound to face immediate troubles. It is far better to have a long-term perspective than to devise solutions only when difficulties arise. Little Ye chimed in, Daddy, Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we eat? Zhou Yuqin laughed. The world is vast, but our little girl's tummy is the most significant. Let's head to the hotel. Little Ye asked, What are we eating? Zhou Yuqin replied, A seafood feast. Little Ye's eyes lit up with joy as she exclaimed, That's wonderful. We're going to have a seafood feast. Shen Jingyun gently pinched her small nose and said, What a little glutton you are. Upon exiting the airport, Zhou Yuqin immediately noticed a brightly lit sign among the many welcome boards, prominently displaying his name in large characters. Are you from the Huagang travel agency? Zhou Yuqin inquired as he approached the young woman holding the sign. The young woman responded, Hello, Mr. Zhou. I am Xiang Zhuiyue, the one who contacted you. Zhou Yuqin exclaimed, Ah, so you are Miss Xiang. Are you in full charge of our itinerary? Xiang Zhuiyue nodded, affirming, Indeed. A middle-aged man in his 40s interjected, Mr. Zhou, I am your driver during your stay on the island, Lu Yuenda. You can call me Old Lu. Allow me to assist you with your luggage. Zhou Yuqin replied graciously, Thank you. He handed over his 2 suitcases to Lu Yuenda without hesitation. Xiang Zhuiyue glanced at Shen Jingyun and little Yeye, her eyes revealing admiration. Mr. Zhou, are these 2 your wife and daughter? Shen Jingyun smiled and extended her hand, saying, Miss Xiang, I will be relying on you from here on. Xiang Zhuiyue quickly shook her hand, responding, It is our duty. Mrs. Shen, the photo on your ID does not do you justice. It fails to capture even 1% of your true beauty. I am not exaggerating. You are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen, bar none. Shen Jingyun, accustomed to such compliments, felt pleased nonetheless and replied, You are quite beautiful yourself. Zhou Yuqin interjected, Miss Xiang, my daughter is a bit hungry. Let us hurry to the hotel. Xiang Zhuiyue agreed, Of course. Soon, the 5 of them arrived at the parking lot. Lu Yuenda hastened his steps to a black extended Rolls-Royce, placed the luggage in the trunk, and then promptly drove up to Zhou Yuqin. Meanwhile, 2 black SUVs appeared behind the Rolls-Royce. The doors opened, and 4 sturdy men wearing sunglasses stepped out. The leading man bowed slightly to Zhou Yuqin and stated, Mr. Zhou, I am Qin Fong from the Jindun Security Company. Your family's safety is my responsibility. Zhou Yuqin smiled, Thank you, as they settled into the Rolls-Royce. Little Yeye couldn't contain her excitement. Daddy, Mommy, this car is so big and beautiful. The Rolls-Royce was an impressive 88 meters long, with 4 rows of aviation seats. Spacious enough to accommodate 11 people, complete with a refrigerator and wine cabinet in the back. Although Shen Jingyun had seen Xiang Zhuiyue's proposal, she was astonished by the luxurious arrangements. She picked up little Yeye and said, Sit tight. We are heading to the hotel. Chapter 220. The ultra-luxurious hotel. Once Zhou Yuqin and Xiang Zhuiyue got into the car, Lu Yuenda slowly started the engine. An SUV led the way while another followed closely behind, safeguarding the Rolls-Royce in between. Xiang Zhuiyue informed, Mr. Zhou, Mrs. Shen, the refrigerator contains red wine, beverages, ice cream, and snacks. If the child is hungry, she can nibble on some snacks. Upon hearing this, little Yeye eagerly exclaimed, I want snacks and ice cream. Shen Jingyan replied, Snacks are fine, but no ice cream. Little Yeye pouted, casting a pitiful glance at Zhou Yuqin. Zhou Yuqin shrugged and said, Sweetheart, I'm of no help here. In our family, your mother is the boss. Observing the affluent Zhou Yuqin treating his wife and child with such kindness, Xiang Zhuiyue couldn't help but feel envious. Shen Jingyun opened the refrigerator, examined its contents, and retrieved a bun, asking, Is this the pineapple bun from the island? Xiang Zhuiyue nodded. Yes, there are 3 types of snacks in the fridge, all from the renowned Suji bakery on the island. I bought them this afternoon. They are safe to eat. Shen Jingyun said, You have gone to great lengths. Thank you. Xiang Zhuiyue smiled. Mrs. Shen, there is no need for thanks. It is our responsibility. Shen Jingyun wiped little Yeye's hands and handed her the pineapple bun. Little Yeye took a bite, her eyes narrowing with delight, clearly savoring the bun. By now, it was already 9 in the evening, and the streets of the island were bustling with people, radiating a lively atmosphere. Zhou Yuqin looked out the window at the towering skyscrapers, lost in thought. Compared to his previous life, this world as Hong Kong had never faced financial turmoil nor suffered from gang disturbances. Its financial and commercial sectors were thriving, ranking among the top 3 in Asia. However, through various online resources, Zhou Yuqin realized that Hong Kong's development seemed to have reached a plateau, with its technological research capabilities lagging considerably behind those of Xia country. Apart from real estate, most of Hong Kong's major conglomerates had shifted their investment projects abroad, leading to a significant decline in GDP growth compared to the past, diminishing its allure for talent, while property prices soared. Darling, what are you pondering? Shen Jingyun asked, handing Zhou Yuqin a bottle of watermelon juice. Zhou Yuqin accepted the juice, taking a sip that instantly refreshed him. I am contemplating whether to purchase a property in Hong Kong. What would you buy property for? For vacation? We might not even come once a year. Shen Jingyun expressed her clear disinterest in Hong Kong real estate. Xiang Zhuiyue chimed in with a smile. Hong Kong's property prices have been rising almost every year. Mr. Zhou could consider buying several properties for investment. Zhou Yuqin waved his hand dismissively. If I were to invest in real estate, it should be in the mainland, not Hong Kong. The property prices here are exorbitantly high, and the growth potential is limited. Meanwhile, the real estate market in the mainland is just beginning to take off, with prices significantly lower than those in Hong Kong, poised for exponential growth in the next decade. Miss Xiang, If you're interested, you might consider purchasing a few properties in first-tier cities like Yunhai or Yindu. Within 3 years, it should be no problem to see a doubling. Xiang Zhuiyue quietly noted Zhou Yuchen's words and replied, "Thank you for your guidance. I will give it careful consideration." "Mom, I want ice cream," Xiaoya said eagerly, her eyes fixed on the refrigerator after finishing her pineapple bun. Shen Jingyan replied, "You can have ice cream, but you must wait until after dinner." Xiaoya nodded vigorously and said, "Okay." An hour later, the car arrived at the Limei Hotel. Xiang Zhuiyue had already completed the check-in process and led the family of 3 directly to the elevator, ascending to the 60th floor. Upon opening room 6010, even Shen Jingyun was taken aback by the opulent decor. The living room spanned a generous 60 to 70 square meters, adorned with a sparkling crystal chandelier overhead and a luxurious wool carpet below. A 50-inch LCD television graced the wall, while the bed, sofa, chairs, and stools were all from top global brands, unmistakably valuable. What Shen Jingyun found most appealing was the enormous floor-to-ceiling window opposite, offering a breathtaking view of Victoria's nightscape. Truly a sight to behold. Xiaoya dashed to the window, her eyes wide with wonder, exclaiming, "Mom, Dad, come look. It's so beautiful outside." Zhou Yuchen lifted Xiaoya, smiling, "Darling, do you like it here?" Xiaoya nodded vigorously, saying, "I super like it." Shen Jingyun then inquired, "Honey, how much does this room cost for a night?" Zhou Yuchen replied, "Money is not a concern. What matters is that you both enjoy it. Now, let us go eat and then buy some swimsuits. There's a private pool outside where we can take a dip." 5 minutes later, the family, guided by Xiang Zhuiyue, arrived at a private dining room on the 6th floor. Shortly after, dishes including king crab, Australian lobster, and sea cucumber were served. There were dedicated staff members to peel shrimp and handle crab shells for the 3 of them. Shen Jingyun had never been treated to such service before, making her feel somewhat embarrassed. Zhou Yuchen said, "Miss Xiang, why don't you invite old Lu and the others to join us?" Xiang Zhuiyue was taken aback, replying, "Mr. Zhou, according to company policy, we are not permitted to dine with you." Zhou Yuchen raised an eyebrow and asked, "Which is more important, your company's rules or the client's request?" Xiang Zhuiyue answered, "Of course, the client's request is paramount." Shen Jingyun smiled and said, "Then it's settled. Let everyone join us. After all, we can't possibly finish all this." Xiang Zhuiyue looked troubled and replied, "Mr. Zhou, Ms. Shun, I sincerely appreciate your kindness. However, we have already dined and truly cannot eat another bite." Zhou Yuchen conceded, "All right, I want to put you in a difficult position. Miss Xiang, let us call it a night. You and everyone else may return and come back tomorrow morning at 7. Xiang Zhuiyue stood up, saying, "Understood. Mr. Zhou, Miss Shun, please feel free to call me anytime. I am available 24 hours a day." Zhou Yuchen nodded and said, "All right." After Xiang Zhuiyue left, Shen Jingyun turned to Zhou Yuchen, asking, "Isn't this a bit excessive?" Zhou Yuchen shrugged. "Would you believe me if I said I didn't expect it to be like this?" Shen Jingyun pressed. "Then tell me, how much have you spent these past few days?" Zhou Yuchen replied, "Around 160,000. Shen Jingyun gasped, "Are you insane? In Yunhai, 160,000 is enough to buy a 50-square-meter apartment in the 3rd ring." Zhou Yuchen chuckled, "Dear, I believe you should start preparing for the extravagant life of a wealthy wife." Shen Jingyun retorted, "You're just burning money." Zhou Yuchen said, "Regardless, we must maintain appearances. We cannot let the people of Hong Kong see us as a joke." Shen Jingyun remarked, "I am truly in awe of you." Chapter 221. The couple's aspirations. After enjoying a seafood feast, the family descended for a stroll and stopped by a nearby clothing store to purchase swimsuits and gear. Back in their room, they changed into their swimwear and headed to the outdoor pool. Shen Jingyun opted for the most conservative swimsuit, yet it still could not conceal her alluring figure and long, elegant legs. Noticing Zhou Yuchen's intense gaze upon her, Shen Jingyun felt a flush of embarrassment and teased, "Have you looked enough?" Zhou Yuchen swam beside her, chuckling, "I could never look enough in a lifetime." Shen Jingyun shot him a playful glare. "Oh, please." Despite her words, a sense of joy filled her heart. Women adorn themselves for those they cherish, especially when that person is the man she loves. The happiest was undoubtedly Xiaoya, who was experiencing the pool for the first time. Wearing a waterproof cap and a swim ring, her little legs splashed energetically in the water, sending droplets flying. Her laughter incessant. Shen Jingyun rested her head on Zhou Yuchen's shoulder, gazing at the excited little girl, her eyes filled with happiness. After more than half an hour of frolicking in the water, Shen Jingyun felt it was getting late and lifted Xiaoya out to rinse off. The room contained 2 bedrooms, and Xiaoya chose the master bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, perhaps due to her exhaustion. The little one fell into a deep sleep after lying on the bed for just 10 minutes. Shen Jingyun quietly slipped out of the bedroom, intending to apply a facial mask. She noticed Zhou Yuchen standing by the floor-to-ceiling window, holding a cup of coffee, seemingly admiring the night view, and approached him. The lights were dazzling. The view of Victoria Harbor at night was breathtakingly splendid. Although Yunhai is a first-tier city in summer country, with skyscrapers newer than those in Hong Kong, its nightscape pales in comparison. After standing for a while, Shen Jingyun turned to Zhou Yuqin and asked, "Dear, what are you thinking about?" Zhou Yuqin snapped back to reality, saying, "I was just contemplating the significance of my entrepreneurial endeavors. With my wealth, I could spend $1 million a day and still never exhaust it. Why do I continue to toil?" Shen Jingyun replied with a smile. Many of the world's wealthiest individuals face the same dilemma, having amassed enough to last several lifetimes. Yet how many have truly retired and rested entirely? Zhou Yuqin inquired. Then what drives them? Shen Jingyun explained. I believe some are blinded by wealth, endlessly pursuing riches to satisfy their sense of achievement. Others find joy in work, feeling distressed without it, and some strive to realize grand ideals. Dear, you previously mentioned 2 goals, to become the world's richest person and to leave a mark in the history textbooks of future Huaxia. Given your capabilities, the first goal should be achievable in your lifetime, while the second may require your utmost effort to attain. My suggestion is to regard the second goal as your ideal and pursue it diligently. Even if you do not succeed, you will not have wasted this life. Zhou Yuqin was profoundly moved, gazing intently at Shen Jingyun, saying, "Wife, you are absolutely right. Since heaven has granted me life, I must achieve greatness to honor it." At this point, Zhou Yuqin paused and suddenly chuckled. Am I being a bit too sentimental? Shen Jingyun nodded, a little indeed. Zhou Yuqin replied, Then let us be a bit more sentimental. What is your ideal? Shen Jingyun remarked, In my youth, I aspired to become a renowned singer, yet as I matured, I discovered the entertainment industry was rather unwholesome. Coupled with my parents' disapproval, I relinquished that dream. After giving birth to Xiaoya, I ceased contemplating my aspirations, focusing solely on raising her. When you inquire about my ideals now, to be honest, I am quite uncertain. Zhou Yuqin responded earnestly, There's no rush. Take your time to reflect. As you mentioned, once you ascertain your dreams, pursue them with fervor. Shen Jingyun continued, I have heard that many affluent individuals desire their wives to be content as affluent ladies at home. Now that your worth nears 100 billion, you could easily be deemed a top-tier tycoon, yet you allow me to venture into the public eye? Zhou Yuqin shook his head, stating, I have always regarded the term affluent lady as somewhat derogatory. My dear wife, I wish to assure you, regardless of the wealth I may accumulate in the future, you shall always be free. Whether you choose to stay at home or work outside, it is entirely your decision, without any need for my approval. Life is but a fleeting span of decades. One should live it to the fullest, lest one finds, in old age, that their experiences are painfully shallow, devoid of memorable moments. I hope that in the future, others will refer to you as Ms. Shen, rather than Mrs. Zhou. Shen Jingyun was deeply moved by Zhou Yuqin's words, replying, Thank you, my love. She then embraced him tightly, offering a tender kiss. The following morning, Zhou Yuqin awoke from a dream. Since he had begun practicing Tai Chi visualization, he had only experienced a few instances of restlessness that prevented him from attaining tranquility. Never having dreamt until last night, when he relived experiences from a past life, leaving him unsure of his identity across different realms. Noticing it was 5:30 in the morning, he quickly washed up, donned sports attire, and made his way to the gym on the 19th floor. By this time, several residents were already exercising, predominantly middle-aged individuals over 40. Only one exceptionally fit woman, approximately his age, was on a treadmill. Zhou Yuqin scanned the room and found all treadmills occupied except for the one adjacent to the woman. He approached it directly. As a master of martial arts, Zhou Yuqin's physical prowess stood at the pinnacle of human capability. For him, jogging merely served to stretch his muscles and invigorate his blood flow. Even running for 4 to 5 hours would not tire him. Thus, he set the incline to 15% and the speed to 4 minutes per kilometer, beginning his run. The woman beside him seemed to sense someone running nearby. She turned her head to Zhou Yuqin and noticed his treadmill settings, finding his speed considerably faster than her own, which surprised her. Chapter 222. Conflict with the wealthy second-generation. Zhou Yuqin caught her gaze and returned it momentarily, revealing a hint of admiration in his eyes. She possessed an exquisite oval face, her fair skin radiant despite the sweat, with elegantly arched brows and captivating eyes that sparkled like stars, albeit with a sharpness that conveyed an aloof demeanor. If Shen Jingyun's beauty were rated a perfect 10, this woman would easily score a 94 or 95. Zhou Yuqin nodded at her in greeting, only to be met with a cold smirk in return. Confused but undeterred, he noticed the treadmill had a screen and headphones and selected a few songs to listen to. After running for less than 10 minutes, a robust young man with a muscular build and piercing eyes tapped Zhou Yuqin's shoulder. Zhou Yuqin removed his headphones, stopped the treadmill, and inquired, Is there something you need? The young man raised an eyebrow, his expression shifting to one of surprise. Are you from the mainland? Although Zhou Yuchen did not comprehend Cantonese well, he understood the simple exchange, replying, Who are you? The young man gestured toward the attractive woman beside him, asking, Do you know her? Zhou Yuchen shook his head. I do not. The young man's demeanor softened considerably. I apologize, brother. I mistakenly thought you were pursuing Xiaomei. The lengthy dialogue left Zhou Yuchen perplexed, prompting him to ask in English, What exactly do you want? The young man responded in English, This beautiful lady is my longtime crush. Could you please vacate this treadmill for me? Zhou Yuchen glanced at the woman, who was still engrossed in her music, and surveyed the gym for an available treadmill, but found none. He replied, Speak to me again once you find another treadmill. I can offer you money. The young man said, pulling out a stack of Hong Kong dollars, 3,000 HKD. What do you think? Zhou Yuchen retorted, Do you think I am in need of money, residing in the same luxurious hotel? Irritated, the young man approached the treadmill and abruptly turned it off. The beautiful woman, noticing his actions, removed her headphones, asking, Huang Yang, what are you doing? The young man, identified as Huang Yang, replied dismissively, I was being polite with this mainlander. But if he won't listen, I will have to be more forceful. Zhou Yuchen may not have understood all the words, but he was acutely aware of the derogatory term mainlander and stepped off the treadmill to stand before Huang Yang, his gaze piercing and his aura exuding a formidable presence. A powerful, almost palpable energy radiated from him, akin to a surging tide, compelling Huang Yang to take 2 steps back, overwhelmed by an unexpected sense of intimidation. This man was anything but ordinary. His aura seemed even more powerful than that of his father. Huang Yang sensed he had bitten off more than he could chew. The beautiful woman's expression changed as she swiftly descended from the treadmill, addressing Zhou Yuchen in slightly halting Mandarin. Sir, my friend's temper is rather volatile. I apologize on his behalf. Zhou Yuchen replied coldly. He referred to me with the derogatory term mainlander, and I find it necessary to teach him the importance of respect. The beautiful woman said, Sir, my name is Gao Xiaomei, owner of the Li Mei Hotel. My friend Huang Yang did not intend to offend you. Please do not hold it against him. Surprised by her introduction, Zhou Yuchen realized that Li Mei Hotel was the most prestigious 5-star establishment on Hong Kong Island. Built a decade ago at a staggering cost of $2 billion USD. He had not expected such a remarkable hotel to be owned by a stunning woman under 30. However, recalling her surname, he deduced that she was likely the granddaughter of Gao Luan, the billionaire president of the Jinluan Real Estate Company, one of the 6 wealthiest tycoons in Hong Kong. Are you affiliated with your hotel? Does it take pleasure in insulting guests from the mainland? He asked, drawing the attention of several mainland guests exercising nearby, who turned to observe the unfolding scene. Gao Xiaomei hurriedly clarified, Sir, you have misunderstood. He is not affiliated with our hotel. Xiaomei Huang Yang seemed oblivious to the gravity of the situation. Startled by Zhou Yuchen's imposing presence, he had retreated 2 steps, feeling embarrassed, and abruptly interrupted Gao Xiaomei, declaring, There's no need to explain to this mainlander. I intend to teach him a lesson. Gao Xiaomei retorted sharply, Silence. Yet, the words had escaped her lips, and it was too late to retract them. Zhou Yuchen, unable to fully grasp Huang Yang's intent, sensed his remarks were far from complimentary. However, there were mainland guests present who could comprehend. A middle-aged man in his 40s, with a scowling demeanor, remarked, What era is this? To still hear the term mainlander is utterly absurd. This is a blatant disrespect towards us mainlanders. The Li Mei Hotel must apologize, otherwise, I will expose them. The crowd murmured in agreement. Gao Xiaomei felt overwhelmed. She was acutely aware that the guests who could afford to stay at her hotel were either wealthy or influential. A single misstep on her part could potentially provoke a boycott from mainland tycoons against the Li Mei Hotel. In that case, the hotel would face significant troubles, possibly even affecting Jialuan Real Estate's investments in the mainland. Taking a deep breath, Gao Xiaomei addressed the guests, esteemed patrons. I wish to clarify that our Li Mei Hotel harbors no contempt for mainland guests. My grandfather hailed from southern Hunan, and our Gao family is inherently mainlander. To disrespect mainlanders would be to disrespect ourselves. The misunderstanding arose from a disagreement between this guest and a friend of mine. I kindly ask for your patience. I assure you I will resolve this matter. A glimmer of appreciation flickered in Zhou Yuchen's eyes, yet his tone remained assertive. Ms. Gao, since this fellow is not affiliated with your hotel, kindly have him leave at once. I did not check into your esteemed establishment to be insulted by an irrelevant individual. Your security measures are woefully inadequate. Huang Yang shouted angrily. Hey, this is between you and me. Why drag Xiaomei into this? Are you even a man? Gao Xiaomei interjected. Huang Yang, I implore you to leave now, if you would. Huang Yang responded defiantly. No. Xiaomei, I will not bring you down with me. This matter must be clarified. Zhou Yuchen frowned. Could someone please translate for me? I genuinely cannot comprehend what he is saying. In Chapter 223, Teaching a Rich Second-Generation a Lesson, the middle-aged man translated Huangyang's earlier remarks to Zhou Yuchen. Zhou Yuchen scoffed. What is unclear about this? You wish to pursue Ms. Gao and, in doing so, attempted to commandeer my treadmill for your own running session. When I refused, you sought to create trouble for me. Am I correct, Mr. Huang? The middle-aged man, seemingly enthusiastic, translated Zhou Yuchen's words for Huangyang. Upon hearing this, Huangyang's expression soured. I have already stated I would pay 3,000 Hong Kong dollars for your treadmill's position. Zhou Yuchen dismissed him with disdain. The cost of my stay here is nearly 100,000. Who would quibble over your trifling 3,000? Gao Xiaomei interjected. Sir, please calm down. I will escort him out immediately. This incident arose due to my oversight, and I sincerely apologize. As she began to bow, Zhou Yuchen sidestepped, saying, There is a principle of accountability. You are not the one who owes an apology. This fellow disparaged me as a mainlander, and I cannot allow mainlanders to be shamed. Here's what we'll do. Since he appears to be physically fit, let us have him face me in a duel. If he wins, I shall not demand an apology, and this matter will be resolved. If he loses, however, he must bow and admit his fault, while vowing never to refer to any mainlander as mainlander again. The crowd erupted in approval. Huangyang, eager to teach Zhou Yuchen a lesson, readily accepted the challenge. They moved to the boxing practice area, facing each other. Gao Xiaomei provided them with gloves and protective gear, but Zhou Yuchen outright declined. Huangyang removed his t-shirt, revealing a chiseled physique, and provocatively gestured with his thumb downwards, an expression filled with challenge on his face. Zhou Yuchen stood with his hands behind his back, expressionless, exuding the aura of a martial arts master. The middle-aged man from the mainland, reveling in the excitement, laid out the rules and shouted, Action! Huangyang launched the first attack, advancing with swift karate-style footwork, delivering a side kick aimed at Zhou Yuchen's abdomen. Seeking death, Zhou Yuchen sidestepped, swiftly grasping Huangyang's ankle and giving it a gentle twist. A sharp crack resonated as Huangyang's ankle was dislocated. Ouch! Huangyang yelped, stumbling back 3 steps. His right leg dangling uselessly, utterly devoid of the strength to continue. Zhou Yuchen remarked coolly, You possess no skill whatsoever yet dare to challenge others. Fortuitously, you did not encounter a truly formidable martial artist. Otherwise, the grass on your grave would already be 3 feet high. Huangyang retorted vehemently, I will fight you. Dragging his injured right leg, Huangyang threw a punch at Zhou Yuchen. Another cry of agony echoed as Huangyang's right elbow joint was dislocated. Damn, the onlookers gasped. This rich second-generation scion had encountered a true expert. The youth displayed remarkable prowess, effortlessly dislocating his opponent's joints. I would wager that he is undoubtedly an exceptional martial artist. Witnessing Zhou Yuchen incapacitate Huangyang in under 10 seconds left everyone astounded. Zhou Yuchen remained expressionless. You have lost. Apologize. Huangyang, clutching his arm and gritting his teeth, replied, I refuse to concede. Zhou Yuchen responded, Refusal to concede is acceptable. However, such stubbornness is unbecoming of a man and contradicts your robust image. Engaging with you is the greatest affront to my honor. The gazes of others directed at Huangyang were rife with mockery and disdain. Having never before faced such humiliation publicly, Huangyang's face flushed crimson as he stood, momentarily at a loss. Gao Xiaomei sighed. Huangyang, losing a fight is inconsequential, but you cannot lose your dignity. Huangyang bit his lip and bowed to Zhou Yuchen. I apologize. I vow never to use the term mainlander to refer to any mainlander again. Zhou Yuchen nodded. I accept your apology. Huangyang bitterly asked, Am I free to leave now? Wait. Zhou Yuchen approached Huangyang, grasped his arm, and shook it gently. A series of sharp cracks